Tap. We got all week. We got Dusty filling.
No,
in
rest
for
of
us.
the time here at 610. New producer right here for you.
Hey, we got
Fake news.
JT hanging out a little bit.
You can be
He was
hired.
doing
You can be the full-time producer of this show for this week. But
Yeah,
I'm
let's
planning
just-
on firing you or finding a reason to fire you by Friday.
Wow.
Cody, you're an ass.
That's what you said.
Happy Monday. I have to hold the sign up. This is I quit my job because Cody taps an ass.
The sign is still out there.
Hey, we send you out with the sign.
Do I have to wear the Nutcracker costume in this heat? By the way, there's no air in this studio. This sucks.
Be a quick way for us to get sued as a show is we just sent you to the hospital with heat exhaustion.
I saw our intern, JT, who was board hopping the morning show today. He's sweating. Sweating.
Yeah, dude.
Like breaking a full
it's
sweat?
comfortable in here.
I'm already
Feels
pitting
great in
out.
here. Is
I'm
it
glad
really
I
hot in
wore
there?
these thigh-high shorts today, man, because there is definitely going to be some sweat dripping.
No, we're comfortable.
Wait, is it that hot in there?
Dude, it's brutal. You want to come in? You want to switch spots real quick?
He's just like, I mean, you do look hot.
He said 5 hours, and he feels like he's been in the Arizona sun.
Man.
It's up to you guys. Do you guys still know how to run the board?
It's been a bit, but yeah, we do.
I guarantee
don't
you
think
don't
so.
know how to run this board.
I'd screw it
We've
up.
done it before. It's been years. We've done it.
Yeah.
It would take some work. It takes some work.
I'd screw it up. I mean, we'd stay on the air, but it would be clunky. And
It feels
Not
like Jay
good.
Binkley's armpit in here.
we can pick on Binkley. What did he do? He's just
didn't-
catching strays.
Oh, now you want to be the nice guy? Binkley's fine, but I'm chopped liver.
Fair point. I take everything I say back. You can keep the job as long as you want, Dusty, you know?
Okay.
I was expecting when we came in today, though, Dusty, to hear from Cody complaining about trees in his fence
Nope,
in his
no
backyard.
trees.
Because, man,
Safe.
obviously on Friday, we all know the storms that came through the area, and there's still, I think, a small amount of people without power, which that's brutal for those of you that.
Yeah, 4 days later.
We were very fortunate, never lost power or whatever. I know plenty of people around the metro area did, but no trees in your fence? Your fence is upright?
Fence is upright.
Okay.
Apparently, all the trees that are going to fall through my fence, for now, have fallen through my fence, and we're square.
Yeah.
There were some, like, small branches, like anyone else's yard, but that was it. Problem solved. I feel maybe we finally are past this. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out how close you were to a nadir.
Well, the wind gusts in some areas were as high as a Category 1 hurricane based off just the wind gust, which is pretty wild to think about. It was over, 85, 88 miles an hour.
Would you chase a tornado?
Like full-blown chase, no. The closest I ever came doing that when I was working in Topeka, and it was a news talk station as well as we did a sports show, but it was a news talk station. And when there was bad weather, they do severe weather coverage, and our sports show got knocked off the air.
But that meant you were on severe weather coverage if you got knocked off the air?
We were supposed to go out and about and report. And so we went down south of Silver Lake. This is, again, south of Silver Lake, or west of Silver Lake, I guess it would have been, and Rossville. And there was one where we didn't actually see a tornado, but there was certainly very, very severe weather in
Justin
Walcott.
Rossville?
Not Justin Rossville.
Oh, okay.
Rossville, Silver Lake, we're on 24. Big rivalry.
I
out
would
there.
definitely chase a tornado, but I wouldn't
know what
want to
that
be the
is.
driver. I would just want to ride shotgun. You're not going to die.
Well,
I mean, probably.
Have you ever seen a tornado with the naked eye?
I have not.
Nope.
I have not.
So that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't want to get too close. It's like a relationship right now. I want to flirt, but I don't want to get all in.
Like, I want to see it. I just don't want to come in right at you.
It's about the hunt, not the kill.
I would like it to be going the other way for me whenever we see it.
you're
not
not
coming
supposed
my
to chase it to
direction.
where it's coming into your path. You don't want to be like that
Get in
idiot in the
front of
movie
storm.
Twister.
Yeah, you'll get out in front of the storm or whatever. Yeah, that's why they have training. It turns out these people are trained professionals that storm chase.
I haven't watched it in a long time. Does Twister hold up?
I still like it.
Yeah, one of the characters' name in it is Dusty.
Oh, is that why? Is that
He's
really why?
dead now, Philip Seymour Hoffman, but he took a hot dose.
I don't think we knew the reason.
Jeez.
No, that's how he died. Was I think it was heroin.
Yeah, he had some issues.
It was called Ace of Spades or
he
something
was
like that.
he was going through some things. and dealing with
Great
some
actor, gone too soon.
Of course.
Fantastic in Mission Impossible, the one where he's like the.
I just saw the new one.
Is it good?
It is.
Are you a Tom Cruise guy?
What does that mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't say Tom. I like the Mission Impossible movies.
Like as an actor, you don't have to. He's crazy, but you don't have to like him as a person. You can leave
I think he's a hell of an actor. He's a hell of an actor.
I think when it comes to athletes and movie stars, a lot of times I try to leave their personal stuff at the door.
better actor of our
kinda
lifetime.
hard otherwise.
Tom Cruise, Will Smith.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Does he have better movies?
I think so. So all the Mission Impossible movies, obviously Jerry Maguire's great. There's to me more Tom Cruise movies that I would go back and rewatch than Will Smith movies.
Risky Business, the train scene, do it for you?
I haven't seen that movie. In a
Eyes
really long
Wide
time.
Shut, all of it.
Eyes Wide
There you
Shut's
go,
where
just
you
for
can. Okay.
There you go.
All
They're just gonna
right.
go throwback, pull back.
Is
I
that
had
one where
a-
it's just like a big orgy?
Yes.
And they wore like a mask?
I had a
Interview with
teacher.
a vampire?
I had a teacher my sophomore year of high school suggest kids go see that.
Well, that's
That's
not-
kind of like your post-sex talk there. You could get into that.
Post-sex talk, we were like 16. I
Did
don't
you have the
think.
sex talk? 21?
No, I'm just saying, like, does that matter? We're 16 years old. I don't think a teacher should be suggesting a movie.
Yeah,
with
but people are
orgies
horny when
in
they're
it.
16.
It's like a softcore porn movie, is what Eyes Wide Shut.
You
Eyes
mean to
Wide
tell
Shut.
me you still had your V card when you were a sophomore?
No.
So
But-
you could see Eyes Wide Shut then.
I'm just saying the
Encourage-
teacher
you're
shouldn't
saying
suggest it.
encourage.
I'm not saying I couldn't see it. I'm saying a teacher shouldn't suggest that we see it.
Teachers made us read Huck Finn when we were like 12, and that book's racist.
913-586-7610. Jay Southland, teleservice text line. Definitely planned on starting the show this way. Definitely thought we would get into Tom Cruise and when Cody lost his virginity on the first 5 minutes
So
of,
we know.
of the show.
So this is weird. We don't know what
boy.
Cody got his wife for Mother's Day, but we know when he lost his V card. That's very interesting.
I didn't say exactly when. I just said it was before 16.
Well, it wasn't 12,
No, it was not.
unless you were just a slayer back then.
No.
All right, if you guys were listening to the show on Friday, you know we were actually starting the show talking about DeAndre Hopkins and where things were standing on the possibility of him coming to Kansas City. All the speculation by now is all over. We know he is going to be a member of the Tennessee Titans, signing a 2-year, $26 million contract with Tennessee. That was the first visit he took. If we back up a little bit, that was the one place he went right away for a visit. He went to New England for a visit. He had contracts in his back pocket. I thought he always knew he had deals there. He could wait this out and see if there was a chance Buffalo or Kansas City would come along. And turns out, based on reporting, maybe the offer was even upped in the last week or so. He ends up getting a multi-year deal. I still think Tennessee, if we're just really simplifying things, they were probably the only team that was willing to go multi-years and that kind of money. And so he took the best deal possible. And I think it's like we can oversimplify it, but that's it. It was about more money for DeAndre Hopkins. That's why he ends up as a member of the Tennessee Titans. They also, as a team, desperately needed him far more than any of these other teams based off of the lack of weapons in that passing game. They desperately needed to find somebody once they moved on from A.J. Brown 2 years ago or a year ago.
Well, but that's also this is why I guess I'm not fearful of this. If he's going to end up somewhere, and I wanted him to end up in KC. I understand. I thought he was going to end up in KC. I thought he knew this Titans number this entire time, and I think that was true. I think what happened is what you described is he knew the Titans number the entire time. He thought the Chiefs could get close to that number. Sweet. He had a range of where the Chiefs would be. Great. And then the Titans took their number even higher. And once they took their number higher, then the other two teams weren't going to be in consideration because the price difference is too great. And you can pretend, and you have to lie to yourself a little bit if you're DeAndre Hopkins and say, oh no, this is a good spot. Because Ryan Tannehill, by almost every metric, is still like kind of a league average quarterback. He's like 12 probably. He's not the worst quarterback. He's not the best quarterback. He's fine. And Vrabel is a really good coach. You and I both agree to that. And the division is very winnable. So you can like psych yourself into the reason why you're better. But if you're the Titans, you should have just paid A.J. Brown. What are you doing? You're going to get a 32-year-old or a 31-year-old wide receiver for a multi-year deal for $26 million more if he hits all of his incentives. And you could have just given A.J. Brown the money rather than do that. It doesn't make any sense if you're them.
That's why their GM at the time is no longer their GM.
Yeah.
the GM on his watch that traded away A.J. Brown is no longer the general manager of the Tennessee Titans. They have since gone in a different direction. I don't think it's a terrible contract for Tennessee considering where they're at as an organization. But to me, Cody, this is another wide receiver option this offseason in a roundabout way, whether it was not wanting to overpay, whether it was not wanting to pay what the top of the free agent market was, where the Chiefs have had multiple opportunities to better their wide receiver room. And I'm not saying it was strictly because of their belief in the wide receiver room, but I don't think it was also just strictly, hey, they didn't have any money because we know how the salary... No, but I think that pretending the money didn't matter. We know the salary cap game can be played. If the Chiefs felt, let's go back months ago, they felt like they had to have Juju Smith-Schuster, to me, they would have ponied up a few more bucks to get him because they offered a deal to Juju. It's not like they had no interest. They offered a deal to him. They decided not to go in that direction. He's also dealing with some knee injuries out there in New England, which is why they were looking at DeAndre Hopkins as well. Jacoby Myers ends up signing with the Raiders. They desperately thought Jacoby Myers was the guy they had to have. To me, they would have found a way to get that done. They didn't, you take a look, first round, They didn't spend it on a wide receiver. They waited the second round for a wide receiver. Here, DeAndre Hopkins, I don't think they were ever going to do 2 years for $26 million. But they have had multiple chances to, hey, if we felt like our wide receiver room is so bad, we have to go get this guy. To me, they would have gone and been able to do so. They weren't that desperate. They don't feel the desire to do that. They still feel good enough in their wide receiver room. I think that we can't just dismiss the fourth different wide receiver that they've had a chance to sign and they didn't actually accomplish it.
Yeah, but we could just say that that's because they don't have the money. They're always trying to find the cheap deal. They're always trying to find the discount. They can't find the discount because these guys are taking the check instead. Well, it is partially true. You're right. And that there is a way to finagle Cap to a certain point, but they also needed the Chris Jones deal to get done. And technically, cap-wise, it is true. They don't actually have the money.
Not as of July 17th at 10:11, but if Chris Jones signs in an hour from now, they could theoretically free up $15 million in a blink of an eye.
But I think that it's probably more 50-50 than you do, where 50% of this problem is the financial issue, and the other 50% is choosing not to be desperate. Now, I will say this, for as much as this is how you can choose to spin it however you want, not you, anybody. The fact that they have either offered or kicked numbers around or seriously entertained 4 different wide receivers so definitively tells you that they would rather their wide receiver unit improve than not improve from what their current state is. They're just choosing a lack of desperation. This is a similar conversation to what we had last year.
Exactly.
But they got halfway through the season last year and added a wide receiver. They looked at their unit, they got halfway through a year, and they saw value in another wide receiver and brought somebody else in. So they still aren't – they would rather their wide receiver unit be better. I don't know that can be argued anymore, and that they think there is definitive room for improvement, and then maybe it's not good enough makes it sound like they don't have any faith in their players. I don't think it's that they want less variance in what they're looking at.
Well, so – obviously, they would be better with DeAndre Hopkins on their roster. Every general manager is looking for ways to improve their roster. There's probably not a single GM in football that doesn't think their wide receiver room would be better with DeAndre Hopkins in it. So, of course, the difference is to what extent. Tennessee, desperate. They have, Treylon Burks, who couldn't stay healthy last year, was
the least desperate franchise in the NFL. They don't have to be desperate on anything.
But that's also part of the equation here. It's a combination of, I think, belief, but also desperation. You mentioned Kadarius Toney, the trade in season. Remember the day that they traded for him? You and I went back and forth on this, the day, within the first hour of the trade happening. That was, we thought more so, he ended up being more of an impact in the season. We thought that was a long-term move anyway. It wasn't like when the Chiefs traded for Kadarius Toney in the middle of last season, we said, oh man, they got to get someone to help this wide receiver room right now. No, we looked at the contract, we looked at the deal, the team control that they have, and it was a long-term play. A long-term play that's now present day. 2023, they think he's their number one wide receiver. That trade wasn't as much about helping them in 2022 as it was for helping them now in 2023.
The good news about all of this is DeAndre Hopkins went to a team that I just don't even take serious at all. They're an unserious team. From a stopping you from winning the Super Bowl standpoint, they can win the South. I don't think that that's impossible. Ryan Tannehill's a good enough quarterback that if the Jags just kind of stay where they are, they can win the South if they stay healthy and all these guys. They're Derrick Henry has a little bounce back year, and all of a sudden they got DeAndre Hopkins, and Vrabel is a very good coach. They need to improve on, but it's not impossible in that case. But we're not, I think we'll do this later. I'm not jumping them into the 5 teams that scare me the most in the AFC conversation.
They're not even favorites to win their division. They're 3-1 odds to win their division. The Jags are the favorites. Their win total is over under 7.5 wins. We can talk about whether or not you'd take the over under later, but that gives you an idea of where they're at. Yeah, this doesn't make them a contender. Nobody ever thought that was going to be the case, but it's a big upgrade for them, that wide receiver room. I think it is a very smart signing considering where they're at. My only question is Mike Vrabel, overall, they have a new GM. Mike Vrabel, you and I both think is one of the better coaches in the league, but he's kind of in a weird spot because of their quarterback situation. Yeah, they go out and get Will Levis as well. But where are they? They're in this no man's land. Again, if you're going to be an 8-win football team, that's the worst spot to be in.
But they firmly committed to Ryan Tannehill. The second you bring in DeAndre Hopkins, you're all about that.
That's what
Ryan
I'm saying.
Tannehill.
But can they make up their mind? I think they're pulling both directions here. Are we kind of rebuilding? Are we not? Because of the division that they're in, do they believe they can go and win? Clearly, they think they can go and win this division this year.
And I don't think that's an outlandish thought on their end.
What a tough division to try and win.
Yeah, the
AFC South.
At 7-10.
It's the worst division in football.
NFC South's pretty trash.
Yeah.
Name the best quarterback in the NFC South.
Oh, well, Derek
Bryce
Carr.
Young?
Derek Carr's the best quarterback for this one year.
Bryce
Bryce Young eventually may.
By the way, if Derek Carr is the best quarterback in your division, you are a very bad division.
That's what I'm saying.
My favorite division.
Like, we know it's Trevor Lawrence
is
is
the
the
Saints to win the division.
Under.
No, my favorite bet is for the Saints to win the NFC South.
No, it's never going to happen. Dennis Allen is a bad coach. This is the one thing you keep
just
forgetting about the
dismissed it
Saints.
very quickly.
Dennis Allen is a bad coach.
It's never going to happen. Who the hell do you like in the NFC South that's clearing away the better team?
Well,
you said it
they
like
all
it was
stink.
like there's some other obvious choice.
No, Dennis Allen stinks.
Sure, but
He's a bad coach.
He is, other than Todd
Got a
Bowles.
career 230 winning percentage.
Other than Todd Bowles, he's the worst coach in that division. But he's got the best quarterback in that division and a pretty damn good defense still. So I'll take that. I'll take the quarterback. Most times, not every time. Most times, if we're like simplifying divisional winners, most times,
Coaching quarterback.
best quarterback. Most times, even, yes, coach QB combo, but best quarterback usually. All right, the AFC, best quarterback's Mahomes, AFC West. Okay, so they're winning that. The AFC East, this year you could argue, it depends on where you're at. Josh Allen. Okay, I think the Jets might win the division, but Josh Allen, the Bills are the favorites. Recently. Right? I mean, you just keep going through the last year, the AFC South, Trevor Lawrence, he was the best quarterback. NFC East, Jalen Hurts was the best quarterback. NFC West last year, who won the NFC West? That was a different one because Kyle Shanahan. That's the only one.
That's a whole messy situation.
NFC
there.
North, who won the Vikings? Kirk Cousins was the best quarterback in that division last year.
You like that?
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is generally, but Kirk Cousins had the best year.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand. But like, somebody can have a better year than Derek Carr. Derek Carr's coming off a career worst year. Like, just have a
I'm
better.
really worried that Baker Mayfield, who might get benched halfway through the year for Kyle Trask, I'm sure that's a better quarterback situation in Tampa.
His last name is Trash?
Trask.
Oh, I think
but he might be trash. He might be trash, but Kyle Trask.
Why can't it just be Bryce? I know. Why can't he win it?
Because he can't see. Did you see the video of his first time with the offensive line?
No, was he?
He looks so small.
Well,
dude.
yeah, he's not a
He's
big
got to
guy.
stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy with his frame.
The hell with health. He's got to be able to have Dury vision.
Normally, year one, you can stay healthy.
Yeah.
This division stinks. That division's hideous. It's not a 0% chance. Didn't sound such a bad coach.
Could you imagine if the AFC West looked like the NFC South and the Chiefs were in like the NFC South? They'd be like, they would lose like 3 games, maybe 2 games all year.
They would win the division by
They would sweep it.
7 games.
They already sweep their own division. It's one of the best in football.
That's why the Patriots were able to hold on the AFC East for so long. Look at the list of quarterbacks that played in that division for all this time. The Chiefs have it way harder than the Patriots ever did in their division. And that's including the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo, who's not even healthy, is the starting quarterback for one of the teams, and Russell Wilson apparently forgot how to play quarterback. He had his talent stolen by the Monstars or something.
Did you see that Future just has a new song where he disses Russell Wilson in it?
Yes.
Gotta love that, man. Gotta love that.
Seems a little late, though, on Future's part. Like, you're just now getting around to
They're
it.
like married and got a kid and stuff, man. You're way late in
You're
this.
just now getting around to it. You waited till now where Russell Wilson's at his lowest of lows, and now you're coming out with the song?
You know, God, but here's the thing. Future can do it years later, and you'd be like, and then Russell Wilson will still try to make a joke about it, but it'll be like a really terrible pun.
No, he doesn't mention his name. He doesn't allow his music in the locker room. Like, that's one of his rules. No Future. That's a straight, on God, that's a straight up real thing.
That's a concerning thing to care about.
Yeah, dude. Like, he will not allow it to be played in the locker room. No Future.
He didn't steal your wife. You stole his. You can't.
He left his
it went the
girlfriend for
other
his
way.
first contract in the NFL. Seems like a great guy. Praise God.
Russ. Good old Russ. Meanwhile, over the weekend, the Royals actually got back to baseball. Although, of course, it's like you finally get the All-Star break, you're like, okay, a few days off from baseball, maybe I'm reinvigorated to see if the Royals have some talent on this roster. Rain out immediately on Friday. And then they blow a game on Saturday. They lose the doubleheader, and you're like, okay, right back into this.
But did you think they suddenly were going to come out of the All-Star break as one of the best teams in baseball?
No, but you hate it to be so deflating. Okay. Is all. Just immediately deflating. But there were 2 good pitching performances this weekend. The guy who they just obtained, Reagans, comes in as the 26th man for the doubleheader on Saturday and pitches well. And then Alec Marsh has now put together back-to-back starts. I'm not here to tell you, buy in, let's sell, here we go. But there's one thing I think about the Royals organization and where I still have some long-term optimism that matters here, which is there are numbers to suggest that finally the fact that they changed the way they're developing pitching could be showing some positive signs. And for the longest time, Gold, it's not like we were asking these guys and come up and beat Cy Young Award winners. We were just asking them to come up and not get their teeth kicked in, which is what was happening to every single starter for like 4 consecutive years. So yeah, I'll take the win from Alec Marsh, showing up in the last 2 starts, being competitive in all 3 starts as a major league starter, and looking somewhat viable, even though he was option, 7 of the starters who would come up? So maybe a little extra seasoning on the end, which can be a good thing if you've changed the way you're going to develop these pitchers.
I would say all 3 starting pitchers over the weekend. I know that Brady Singer towards the end of his outing in the 8th inning got a little roughed up, but overall, all 3 starting pitchers were strong. The thing for me, and it doesn't
Reagan's, I have to buy into less because they just got him. It's not like
sure.
they just.
I mean, look, with Alec Marsh and Cole Reagans in particular, much like how we saw Brady Singer finish late last season, as good as he did, and obviously there's been frustration this year. We can acknowledge these outings. I'm not saying to ignore them. I'm not saying to not factor them in your thought process. But I got to see similar type of performances between now and October. Not just this one, and I'm supposed to be like, oh, yeah, here we go. No, I need to see this replicated time in and time out in the next 8 starts that you get if you're Cole Reagans or Alec Marsh. That I have to see.
6 of the next 8.
Yeah, they don't have to become a Cy Young lights out pitcher. But I'm just saying.
Well, we saw that with Brady Singer late last year, and then of course this year it had backtracked.
But I got to know that you did that the other day. All right, what does he look like the next outing? And if he's poor the next outing, then what is he like the 3rd and 4th outing? Because otherwise it is a one-off. Otherwise, so acknowledge it. It's a nice sign. I like it. Certainly beats the alternative. But I got to see that replicated over the next 2+ months from Alec Marsh and Cole Reagans.
You were pretty down on Alec Marsh after his first start. He made 1 start, and Alex sat in the studio. He's like, "Well, he's done. He's not a starter." You said he's not a major. You said he's not a major league starter after watching Alec Marsh once. Do you at least think it's possible now? It's possible he's a major league starter.
It's possible. Yes, it's possible.
Look, you don't have to pencil him in for the rotation in 2023. They have more options going into 2023.
Cole Reagans, not just because of the performance, it's just based off of the trade and who he was. And I think it's way more likely Cole Reagans for sure is in the rotation next year. Like I don't know how he's not. If he's healthy, he'll be in the rotation next year.
They have more options than they've had in a long time, probably. I'm not sure what all the options are, but going into next year, this year, there were only 6 names for 5 spots. Next year, there'll be 9 names for 5 spots. I'm not saying they're all Cy Young Award winners, as we previously discussed, but at least they'll have options. Because what happened was a couple of years ago when they had options, Brady Singer ended up missing this lead.
A quantity over quality thing?
Yeah. And ideally, you would like to think in that case that it's the best will rise to the top.
I
don't always work that way.
I like to support people, though. All right, which is why I'm heading to Kauffman Stadium tonight.
Oh, you're going.
I will be at Kauffman Stadium because guess who's pitching this evening? It is Jordan Lyles' day, and we've got a bet on this show.
Sure.
If he gets 5 more wins,
you're
buying a bottle of Dom for this entire show.
To support Jordan Lyles.
That's right.
We support him as a show.
So I'm going to be there in support of Jordan Lyles this evening.
Okay.
He hasn't got a win since we made that bet. In fairness, he has only had 1.
One.
No, but he's only had 1 win anyway all year.
Yeah, and lucky for you, he plays Detroit tonight.
And he's going up against Detroit. We got a chance. We got a shot. I want to witness a win in person from Jordan Lyles. I will be out there. It's also Bo Jackson bobblehead night. I'll be there.
Those are so cool.
That's also a big reason why I'm going.
Does the bobblehead have like the bat broken over his head?
No, it's him climbing up the wall.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's good.
What?
It's a good one.
I'd rather
it's a good-looking bobblehead.
I'd rather be like a broken bat.
They've
over
already
his
done
knee.
that one.
Oh, they did.
They've done the broken bat.
I'm not into bobblehead. Sorry.
Bobblehead.
I
have
my
like
Bobby
2.
Witt one away.
I sold it for the garage sale.
Good for you.
I don't have it either.
The Bo Jackson one. Someone's already on eBay pre-sale.
Hell yeah,
selling it for $57.
Don't hate the hustle. Don't hate the hustle, man.
Should you be allowed to list something on eBay you don't technically own yet?
Well, they do pre-sales for stuff.
Maybe he does already own it.
No, I mean it says pre-sale. They haven't given them out yet.
Unless he works for the team.
Heading out there tonight for
Bo Jackson bobblehead night. Do you think
Jordan
Jordan Lyles is
Lyles
going to get the win?
I do actually. In our betting Discord channel that I have for our betting show, which we'll be doing again this fall here on 610. People were actually this morning. They're like, "Are we buying it? Is Jordan Lyles the guy we're betting on tonight?" I'm like, "Actually, I think so. I think I'm betting on the Royals to win tonight." Yeah, I'll bet on the Royals to win tonight.
No runs first inning against these two.
I won't go that far, but
okay. All right. I thought you had some trust.
Look, he might get a win. I don't think it's a 6-inning 2-run given up. I think it's more likely it's a 6 or 7-inning 4-run given up, but the Royals win 6-4 kind of thing
he's
tonight.
Going 6 or 7 innings.
Well, he goes that every time.
He's an innings eater.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. He could be Dusty. He could be in a situation where he's given up 5 through 4, and he's still pitching 6 or 7
He's
tonight.
gone 6 or more in 4 of his last 6.
You should also bet an anytime Bobby Witt Jr. home run. Dude's hot.
He is hot right now. I promised that we talked about MJ Melendez on Friday and how give him another week. Let's see if the break does him some good. It's only 3 games, but
4 for 12 over the weekend.
It was 4 for 12, had a home run, had 2 RBI, only struck out 3 times. Okay, let's see what happens the rest of this week.
I'm always struck by, anytime we talk about this, like Little Big League is really good about this because he's so excited that Jerry gets a hit. Mm-hmm. And he's like, look, man, if you're celebrating a CNI single at this point of the season, and he's like, that's the moment he realized he got to kind of be like, if we're celebrating a 4 for, we better be careful. We should not be celebrating 4 for 12 stretches.
Not celebrating.
Those you have
his baseball card too, and you're going to show him
the. It's not celebrating, but we based on our discussion on Friday, where you were saying that you think they should send him down, and I said, hey, depending on what the next 10 days are, I'm with you. If the next 10 days aren't better, so yeah, no, it's promising. 4 for 12 is a something to at least look forward. And say, okay, maybe can that help with some confidence? Because you and I both think that's the biggest issue right now.
Speaking of Little Big League, is it a better baseball movie youth-wise than Rookie of the Year, which turned 30 years old this weekend? Boy, am I old.
30 years, jeez.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year, 30 years old on Saturday. It's better than Little Big League.
Yeah, I would lean in that direction.
Like, I mean, trust me, I love me some Luke Collins. There's a Wally Joyner
Little Big League is the most accurate baseball movie.
No, it's not. A 9-year-old takes over as manager. That's not accurate at all.
Rookie of the Year, he breaks his arm.
You could get a tight ligament.
I think Rookie of the Year is
way
better.
more accurate.
I like Rookie of the Year.
You could have like a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old snap his ligament, get it retightened, funky butt loving.
If a 10-year-old owned a baseball team, he can make himself the manager.
It'd never happen. There'd never be an 8-year-old own it.
The other one is not medically possible.
No, but it's still more relatable.
Yeah,
we all have a chance tonight at Kauffman Stadium to catch a home run and throw it back,
and then tear your elbow and come back even stronger.
More likely, by the way, that
I don't think that's how ligaments work.
You know how I know it's more likely as well? Like even in the World Baseball Classic this year, I can't remember what country it was. One of the countries pitching. Some guy who was nobody knew anything about him. He pitched great for like 1 inning. And all of a sudden, the Tigers decided to sign him just off of that. So that's more. You could be throwing actually.
He was playing professional baseball in an international competition.
But no team.
He wasn't pitching for his wood bat league in Shawnee Mission.
Yeah, well, a 20-year-old just won Wimbledon, and he beat one of the best tennis players the world has ever seen.
High school kids.
That's tennis. They're always great.
High school kids getting signed by big league teams. Way more realistic than all of a sudden you just are a billionaire and buy a baseball team.
Yeah, Leo Messi got signed at 8 years old by Barcelona. Now look at him. Did you watch that introduction last night, Miami?
But he didn't just have a medical anomaly that made him a star.
But he could have. He might have ripped his knee up.
He also didn't
7.
play for them when he was 7. He got signed by them when he was 7. It took him until he was 16.
Yeah, well.
Rowan Gardner. Anyway, all right, coming up next.
Hot ice.
Coming up next, the #1 show on Netflix. We said we'll play catch up over the weekend, episode 3 and 4 for quarterback. We'll give you our thoughts on that, plus why Cody truly thinks the Chiefs can get away with something.
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Hey guys, Beat Up here from Fesco in the Morning, wrapping up week 6 of the Slim for Life program. And let me tell you, this is the first time I've ever felt in control of my weight loss. I've battled this for almost 2 decades now, weighing in at 444 when I started this program. Right now, I'm down 46 pounds. 46 pounds in just 6 short weeks. What are you waiting for? Are you ready to take off that weight? Join this journey with me. Whether it's that 10, 20, 30, 40 extra pounds that's just been bugging you, come on, just jump on the journey. First thing you need to do is make that call to my girl Leanne at the 119th and Metcalf location, or any of the Slim for Life locations. And right now, when you make that call, set up the free consultation. And when you tell them that you heard it from B-Dub and 610 Sports, this is the last week that you get the 90 days for only $90 and lose up to 60 pounds. All services included, exclusive of products. So make that call today. Changed my life. It can change yours. I'm on the way to losing 200 pounds. Call 833-SLIM today. That's 833-754-6863, or hit them online at slim4life.com. Tell them B-Dub from 610 Sports Radio sent you.
Enjoy Medium Mondays at Old Shawnee Pizza and get any single topping medium pizza for only $10.99. It's too hot to cook. Call or go to ShawneePizza.com today. Any single topping medium pizza for only $10.99. Only at Old Shawnee Pizza. 2 locations.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Refresh your ride at O'Reilly Auto Parts with the new Art of Car Care line from Turtle Wax and LA street artist Mr. Cartoon. Whether it's a detailer to give your paint that extra shine or wheel and tire products to keep them spinning in style. Plus, get 2 times O-Rewards points. Get Turtle Wax and Mr. Cartoon's The Art of Car Care exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Diamonds Direct's Midsummer Savings Event is happening right now. With an extra 20% savings, an expanded selection, and in-store designer appearances. Take an extraordinary 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and thousands of engagement ring mountings. Meet the designers who've flown in with all new collections for the summer. The best savings, the best selection, the best value. Don't miss this once-a-year jewelry shopping event. Get details, showroom hours, directions, and more at DiamondsDirect.com.
Most hail damage happens when the homeowner's away. Don't miss the window to file an insurance claim on your roof.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Go to jrhailcheck.com.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday and July event starts now with limited quantity deals on top business PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Royals baseball is in full swing.
That ball is gone. It's a home run by Vinny Pasquantino.
With the free Odyssey app, local fans can listen live all summer long, whether you're at the grill or at the pool.
Looks up and it's gone. MJ Melendez hits a solo homer over the right center field fence.
Royals baseball. Royals announcers. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back. RENNER.
Renner Garage Door, servicing and installing garage doors in KC for over 60 years. Family owned and top rated. Residential, commercial, service, and repairs. RENNER. Forward and back. Renner, the company that does garage doors. RennerDoor.com.
All right, in about 12 minutes or so, we'll get to Dusty's Deeds. At one point, I thought they were called Dusty's Diatribes or something like that, but
who the hell called it that?
I don't know. I thought that was the suggestion.
That doesn't feel very Dusty to call it a diatribe.
No, but it's
more like Dusty's diaphragm if you want to get in my world.
Dusty's Deeds coming up in just a little bit. Did you get caught up, or at least how much of a quarterback did you watch? Have you finished it?
No.
Still not?
Nope.
Okay.
Still through just episode 4.
All right, and if you've been following...
I'm going pretty much as fast at the speed as we can get through this show, and that's about it.
Okay, so we'll do episodes 3 and 4 today. It's the #1 show on Netflix, and hopefully watching it at a pace of most people. There are a lot of people that binge watched it, but I was talking to people over the weekend, and do I need to watch this? I think more and more people are talking about it, and people that I even know that aren't like huge diehard Chiefs fans, but they still are like, well, everybody's talking about this thing. I got to watch this thing.
It's already been renewed for a second season, by the way.
As it should. And I'm guessing they got to pick here very soon already who they're following if they haven't already. I mean, they got to track them through this upcoming season. The season starts in less than 50 days, around 50 days. So I think it should be Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr, your guy. And then, like, I don't know.
Derek Carr's going to be boring as hell. He's going to be the Mariota of that season.
No, he'll be more like Derek. He'll
Choose
be like more like Kirk Cousins.
Interesting people.
We've already seen Derek Carr on the Hard Knocks, and I'm good.
Spoiler, they're not going to have Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson on it. They like having the 3 different paths.
No, I like the idea of like
have
one
a rookie, though.
I think one superstar.
No team's going to let them do a rookie.
I would think one superstar,
Houston
one
would.
mid-level quarterback, a la, like one starting quarterback who's not all that good. Maybe that's your Derek Carr. And then, one young quarterback. I want like a Justin Fields or
that's
give
realistic.
Me,
Fields,
give me
Trevor
somebody
Lawrence.
who's like still very young in the league, but we don't have the full story on.
You thought Mariota was boring. Look, I'm a Trevor Lawrence supporter. That dude is just. I'd rather watch paint dry.
Herbert would be worse. Herbert would be worse.
Herbert would be bad, right?
Anyway, quarterback 3 and 4 episodes. So
they're going to get a wide receiver in this in like 2 years. It's going to be called quarterback, and they're just going to put a wide receiver in it because they're going to be out of interesting quarterbacks.
Every sport should have this. I mean, it should be. There should be
Maybe
a
at this
baseball
point, don't
one.
they?
Well, no, there should be a baseball one that's called like closers or something. I don't know, and they just have the closers for every 3 different closers in baseball.
Right now, there's F1,
golf,
tennis, and now the NFL. I mean, we're not like crazy.
But every
far
sport
away
should
from
have
this.
it. NBA should have have one where it's just based off of the
That's just been the Kardashians. They've just been rolling through different
I'll
NBA
throw out a
players
quarterback
through
for
that
you.
show.
They brought this up last night on Sunday Sound Off.
Mm-hmm.
Is somebody said Deshaun Watson?
Ooh.
You have any interest in that story?
I don't know if Deshaun Watson wants a camera following him 24/7. Just saying.
You think he's still going to like get massages?
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying. I don't know if I wouldn't want a camera following me.
I think
probably
Jalen
from
Hurts
Deshaun
would be an
Watson.
interesting candidate.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he has the potential longevity of like a successful playoff run.
Yeah, I think that all those work.
So episode 3 and 4. Episode 3 was called Kings of Pain. Episode 4 was Mind Games. And I told you going in, I want to see if you agree or not. I thought episode 3 and then 8 are my 2 favorite from the entire series. What did you think of episode 3, where we got a good look as well on Mahomes and kind of the true training aspect? Bobby Stroop was featured quite a bit in that. And it mentions the 49ers game where Mahomes is recognizing the coverage, and it's the one he throws a pass, it's intercepted, and he's like, are they really going to play me this way? He's like, I got tape. He's like, they're not going to play me this way. And then finally, he's like, I'll take some shots down the field, and they do. I thought that was just interesting from a football end where he basically felt disrespect. He's like, I got tape on you guys. He's like, he took offense
that first pick he threw, he's like, that should be a completion. I threw it because the way everyone has been playing us is deep, so I'll just take advantage. You realize how quick Mahomes knows every little tiny thing that's going on. But I think all three of the quarterbacks have a good grasp of that. You see a little bit more in that episode, and in episode 4 that Mariota's doesn't fully have it, where he's like, I thought it was that other guy. And some of the, and Cousins had a panic throw. He's like, well, I just looked and I kind of thought it was that guy. And you're like, oh, because Mahomes in this entire show, one, is the most abrasive on the field. He is certainly the most trash talky, the most abrasive, the most arrogant, the most confident guy out of the three. And honestly, he should be because of those things. The episode, I thought they were just trying to highlight in the episode, if you've never stood down on an NFL practice field and been really close, you probably don't realize just how fast everyone is moving. It is very fast, and they all hit very hard. And it's just it probably doesn't feel a couple of times, right? That whole episode felt like it was the rejuvenation day and all of these things. It's it tracks up. But the most interesting part of the entire thing is him telling Bobby Stroop he can't have hair. He can't have the Mahomes haircut.
We've talked about this.
The infamous Mahomes haircut forever. He's already saying, I'm a dad of 2, essentially admitting he's gotten older and saying he can't have a mohawk forever.
Yeah, he's like, I can't have that haircut, at basically at 40. He's got multiple kids. We've joked about that in the past. He's probably right, by the way. There's no way he can have
So what's
this.
he going to go with?
Well, in the show,
a tight fade or something?
In the show, he mentioned something like that. I don't know.
Comb over.
I don't think so.
But he doesn't have the LeBron hair. He doesn't have to it's all patchy up there. It's still a full head of hair.
Well, he's never got to worry about running out of hair. He's rich.
Oh, you're just
Brian Urlacher.
Yeah, dude. If you just run out of hair, you just
LeBron's a really good. You just a couple days ago, what's looking a little
based on
tough up there.
I also feel like black dudes pull off the bald head better than white dudes.
I mean, I don't want to be bald. I know that. I don't think I'd pull off a bald head.
I have a hot air balloon sized head. If I'm bald, I'm screwed.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a good.
I already lack in the numbers department. I don't want to go bald. That ain't good, man. LeBron, clean bald. Kobe looked great bald.
Based on the audio, though, I don't think this will be the case. But he almost makes it sound like for this upcoming season, he's willing to have a new haircut or a new look.
I thought he was talking about for next year.
But we just saw him at American Century. He still has the right this second, has the same haircut. So maybe you think it's the year after. At some point, he's going to have a new haircut.
I mean,
new hairstyle.
he let Creed Humphrey beat him to the table. Creed was going to the White House, and he's like, I got to clean this up.
And he still has. He didn't go back to the mullet.
No, it's it's a good, just tight, regular haircut.
The other thing for Marcus Mariota, for a guy that the storyline was pretty boring throughout, though, his cheat day is on Monday. The guy likes McDonald's breakfast. How about that? An NFL starting quarterback. I guess not starter anymore. But McDonald's breakfast on Mondays. That's his go-to. That's his cheat day. He still goes and gets himself some, egg sausage McMuffin.
As much as I've trashed the show, that was not the show. Mariota.
Cody and Gold.
I'll say quarterbacks is fantastic.
That was the only so far in this show relatable moment from Marcus Mariota. We're like, I get it. Where his personal chef is like, look, dude, this guy would just eat like a trash can. If I didn't stop him from doing it. Yeah, he's like, if I wasn't here, he would just eat like a trash can. He doesn't care about his health. By the way, so now if we're betting odds on who gets fat after their playing career, Mariota has skyrocketed to the top as a result of this. He's just going to be like, whatever.
You mean to tell me
Let
you
him
guys
do
ain't
this
crushing
every day.
McDonald's breakfast ever?
Absolutely.
No, of course, dude. But it's just it's the same notion of it's relatable and when you're paying attention and you're trying to be mindful and you're doing those things, yeah, you watch it a little bit. Someone helps you watch it a little bit. You got a girlfriend, Gold. Maybe you're like, all right, maybe drop a couple of LBs here for a minute.
Yeah, because Golden used to lose
Tighten it. Whatever, doesn't matter. Tighten this up,
I
right?
would like to lose a little bit of the beer belly we're developing.
But so
That's a noon belly.
That's all high noons.
that version of it, that was the most relatable moment where he's like, dude, I'd eat McDonald's breakfast 7 days a week. And his personal chef is just like, you can't do that. You're a professional NFL player.
Wasn't that Sharon Collins' problem is he loved
He's a bowling
cheeseburgers
ball.
and then when he got to Kansas, they were like, all right, dude, you're going to be around this personal trainer. You're done eating McDonald's because he loved cheeseburgers. And now he's back to just being a balloon.
Dude, I mean, when you don't have to, when you aren't training the amount these guys are training, all of a sudden it's like whatever you were eating before, well, that's no good anymore. I was surprised to find out eventually they did show some complicated plays from the Chiefs because you had said that they were going to be that in the early going. I thought that they were super protective about what they were showing on that end of things.
They were, but really the difference when they started showing this episode 4 you're talking about, which was called Mind Games, and it focuses on obviously on the mental side of the game, and that's when Kirk Cousins is going through his routine. We can get to that in a second.
Oh, God,
but Mahomes,
snake oil salesman.
Man, again, you are just a hater for Kirk Cousins. We'll get to that in a second.
See, I have a different version of snake oil. I thought snake oil was like an edible.
You mean like he's using the phrase like snake oil salesman, like
from like the 1900s.
It's
like you're like a shady businessman.
I think snake oil, you eat a gummy and then 30 minutes later, hold on tight.
No. They probably named it that for a different reason.
But no, Mahomes. So you're talking about the terminology. To me, they only showed that when they were doing something we learned last year, which is that Andy allows on Wednesdays, it's their laboratory day, and he allows the players to be creative during practice, and that's where we get corn dog and we get the snow globe and we get those type of plays. That's the only time they really use the full-on terminology. Yes, at the beginning of the episode, they're all listing off the long verbiage, and it's like, this is impressive. How the hell do you remember it? You know, the 9 or 10 words to describe one play. It's awfully impressive to see that.
Although Kirk did in the middle of the play say, or whatever.
Or why whatever.
Whatever.
He forgot. But still going through the terminology and what Kirk Cousins does to remember it, every quarterback probably has something different, but he has basically on his phone, he has Kevin O'Connell, his head coach and offensive play caller, in his ear as he's driving home from practice playing, and he's repeating. It's just how he, like anything. I don't know about you. If reading out loud, I remember stuff better if I read out loud, right? Everybody has their own thing when they were growing up in school. For him, he hears it and he repeats it back, and then it becomes much more memorable for him.
Yeah, it's so much just like learning another language sometimes. Like you and I could both learn all the terminology, but it requires learning that terminology like learning a new language, which is at least not outside that. The thing I was talking about, I like Kirk Cousins more having watched the show than ever before.
I told you would.
As a person, he's not embarrassed by the fact he's a dork or these things.
Great dude.
But dude, you're too rich to be buying into like neuro training your brain through light dimming. Like,
what do you mean? What do you mean?
This is all just like pseudoscience.
These are the top level athletes. They're trying to find any edge that can help them. And they're in
Mahomes is just like in a gym, dude, working out. Get strong.
He's 27, though.
Turns out, not doing.
Kirk's older, man.
It's the TB12 tofu stuff. Like, there's a level of weird where you're just like, I don't support this, even if because it's not the thing that's actually making you better. You're just claiming it's making you better.
But to Dusty's point a little bit, Kirk Cousins knows in terms of physical ability. Yeah, obviously he's in the NFL. He's extremely talented, but he's not. He's got to have the mental part down more than probably other quarterbacks.
See a therapist.
Well, he does. He does.
That was the first episode.
He
maybe?
does. Which,
Fine,
by the way,
I
give him a lot of credit, by the way, for allowing that to be seen. There's a lot of players that might shy away from that being public knowledge and all that, but he's not the only player that does talk to a therapist or psychologist during the season. We know.
Yeah, like sports psychologists.
Teams. Sure. Every team has them. Not
I think
everybody.
Brad Keller might need one.
Come on.
Wow.
Tony,
damn.
Jeez.
Dude, I'm just saying, I think he might need a sports psychologist.
Cody is feisty on Mondays, man.
He's got the yips.
No wonder Nick quit.
He's got the yips.
I just think every player's trying to find, to your point, like what Kirk Cousins was doing, every player's trying to find what can give them an edge.
Do you like the unrelatable things from like the rich guys on these shows?
What's unrelatable on that?
Dude, come on.
Mahomes'
Gold, you want to be the best radio host you can be.
Yeah.
You're not going out. It's unrelatable for you to like do neuro training.
I'm a radio host. I'm an NFL quarterback.
You're eating Chipotle in your car. He's eating Chipotle in his car. He's got this rig tied to his head and he's blinking his things, Tim. It just feels so like.
If Gold was super
rich,
rich,
it makes me feel like you're stupid.
If Gold was super rich, I feel like he would like have some sort of something where he could like erase the first taste of Chipotle every time he ate Chipotle, so he'd go back to like that euphoric situation where like this is why I'm able to eat it in my car 4 days a week.
It's also just it reminds me of why like athletes end up losing their money. You're like he probably pays that app like $15,000 a year to like give him his neural feedback while he's sitting in his car blinking.
He's got a great
house
in Michigan, man. That house was
doing
sick.
Fine. He's doing fine for himself. Save your money, Kirk. I'll tell you if you're in the right mental state. See that psychologist somewhere.
What are you gonna start dishing out some snake oil?
I'm telling you,
you got my number. You just made cookies. Put some snake oil in those cookies and see how popular you get.
I've never made edible baked goods.
You can if you lived in Missouri. Well, you do live in Missouri.
I do live in Missouri. So
you could grow and have like infused chocolate chip cookies. Sneak one into Gold on the air.
Imagine that. I bring in cookies for the first time,
dude.
but then I spike it.
That's a true story. Some kid put edibles in cookies and then took them to his church.
Oh, geez.
And everybody at the church had like a panic attack because they didn't know what they were feeling.
Well, yeah.
Praise God.
Not surprising.
All right, let's get to Dusty's deeds.
Yeah, you like that music?
I do.
It's a very appropriate song.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start off. We'll keep the quarterback football thing going. You guys are aware of what's on Hard Knocks? You want to talk about rich guys doing weird stuff.
Aaron Rodgers,
man,
hello.
Getting
Darkness
naked
retreats.
and living in a house of blackness for like 2 days and just getting fed through a slot.
Dude, he put himself in prison for like $20,000.
Ty rolls, man.
You could just commit a crime and do this for free. Has to go to solitary.
Ayahuasca, name your poison, baby. Just, let your freak flag fly, baby. So Hard Knocks will debut on August 8th, the day after my birthday. You're welcome.
Happy early birthday. That's what
Thank
you want us
very
to say?
Yeah, Feliz cumpleaños, Senor Dusty.
Happy early birthday, Dusty.
Yeah. Okay, so August 8th. Are you surprised by this? The first 4 practices for the New York Jets sold out in 3 minutes.
That might have happened anyway because they brought in Aaron Rodgers, right? That's a starved fan base.
The confidence from that fan base and hope and optimism is at an all-time high. And who can blame them? They were a team last year that had a top 5 defense. They had a rookie wide receiver that looked great last year, a rookie running back that before the injury might have been the rookie of the year in Breece Hall. And then now they know finally they have a quarterback. I mean, last year it was Mike White and Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco, I think, got a start.
Flacco got several starts.
I mean, he got in there for like 3 weeks.
And now they got Aaron Rodgers. So they're thinking they're thinking playoffs and more.
Could you imagine going from Mike White to, I don't know, future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers?
You just have to accept the fact that this is only a 2-year thing. So for all the weird things he might request, I don't care if he asks for a bowl full of blue M&Ms. Just give them to him, deal with the 2 years, and get out.
Are there blue M&Ms?
I don't know. That's the point. It's like he wants special taste.
There are blue M&Ms. Of course there are.
Yeah. Well, you can also custom order any color of M&Ms.
But there's definitely blue M&Ms.
Another one of my deeds
Are we willing to do that
today?
for Club, just real quick, are we willing to do that for Club 610? Take
A bowl of
special
candy?
request of, like if they say, I'll come in, but only if you provide this one weird thing?
I think it was Van Halen that had those like weird stipulations too. Like they wanted all the Skittles colorized in different bowls so they knew that's just weird, man.
Some guy I hope he ordered them online.
Van Halen kind of sucks, if I could be honest with you. That's probably going to piss a lot of people that like listen to this show, but not into Van Halen.
Okay, next one.
All right. Also, keeping on the same vibe of Netflix series, there's a new one out. The U.S. Women's World Cup team will be the subject of the next sports docuseries on Netflix. The series will follow the most decorated team in international soccer history, Alex Morgan, ain't done. Megan Rapinoe officially just announced she's going to retire.
Right.
Alyssa Thompson and more as they strive to capture their 3rd World Cup title in a row. I'm already locked in on that because obviously Alex Morgan atop, maybe 10. I think she's our boss's #1 hall pass. Sorry if the wife's listening, Spec. But
I'm assuming his wife knows.
And also doesn't listen to this show.
You don't know that.
I'm just assuming she doesn't.
He gets home, honey, what's snake oil? Anyways, but yeah, the new docuseries on Netflix, Women's World Cup team. I feel like that's a little interesting.
They're back-to-back World Cup
amazing.
champs.
They're going for 3 in a row. Of course, World Cup starts in about 3 days
Thursday?
or so.
Yeah, Thursday.
So, obviously, if they win it, it makes it even more interesting, right? If they're able to actually win their 3rd in a row, if it's following them throughout this journey.
But that's where quarterback just got lucky.
Perfect.
In its own way, got lucky, right?
Yeah, you didn't know Mahomes
Follow
was
3
actually gonna win it.
quarterback. Yeah, you thought he'll matter no matter what, but you didn't know for sure it was going to end in a Super Bowl run.
Yeah, a lot of these are just potential, let's fish and see what happens. They just got, Mahomes, Cousins in the NFC North had a chance. So,
having watched a few of these, the reason why I think this will be interesting, Dusty, is I feel like the ones that are the less watched or less frequented sports end up having the better content.
Yeah.
I know less about the Women's World Cup players than I already know Marcus Mariota, because they'll do these things like, he went to the University of Hawaii. Like, I know. Or
but is it better content? Is it better content, or are we just football addicted to the NFL?
I think the PGA one has been better content. I think the F1 one was better content.
We know less about that. You and I at least do.
Yeah, but I thought the content of the actual content was better, which makes me think maybe the World Cup one could be too.
And that's what's always interesting to me with documentaries is like, do you enjoy watching ones that you know the story, or do you enjoy ones where you're like, oh, this looks interesting. I didn't know anything about this. Like, I didn't know anything about the Alex Murdaugh thing. I didn't know anything about that. Watched it, just so happened the trial was going on. And speaking of the last few Dusty's deeds, Alex Murdaugh takes a shirtless selfie from prison. Not really sure how that's
so
allowed.
he already got a burner phone in jail?
Dude,
that didn't take him long at all.
He looks like Drew Carey. He's shirtless, and he's sending a selfie.
Yeah, but right away, within the first day, didn't he like shave his head?
He went rogue.
Yeah.
He joined the Aryan Brotherhood. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
The other one is Jerry Turner. You may not know who this guy is, but he's a 71-year-old father of 2.
Okay.
And he's ready to find love.
Again.
The Bachelor is going to be a 71-year-old man.
What?
Yes, sir.
How old's your dad?
Oh, a little bit older than that.
So, yeah, 71-year-old Bachelor.
Your pops
I'm all
on
in.
this?
I've never watched one episode. Even in relationships, I couldn't even do it. I'm locked in on a 71-year-old Bachelor.
It's called the Golden Bachelor.
Let's
and
go,
my
baby.
question is, so are the women going to be in their 60s and
No,
70s?
dude, come on.
Or is he going to have a bunch of 35-year-old women?
Hell, 35,
So like my
25.
dad's 65. I mean, your pops out here on The Bachelor?
Dad.
Good for him. I mean, dude, like no.
Wait, how are they doing? Yeah, like the
I
real
don't
big
know.
question is
He's
like,
got-
is it going to be age appropriate women?
You thought they had
or-
blue M&Ms? They got blue Viagra everywhere around the
Is it a
table.
bowl?
I mean, the guy's got like he's 70. He's got a hearing aid. Like it's just the whole the photo is
Let's go,
is
baby.
phenomenal of the whole thing. I mean, we'll see. We will see how this goes. The Golden Bachelor. I guess it's about time they
when they
spun
go
it
to
off.
the private suite
Oh god.
and they're having the little boom boom
That's
time.
gonna be the weird thing, though, man. Like, it's one thing when there's like two 28-year-olds making out on The Bachelor. Seeing a 71-year-old making out with some 60, that's just not gonna have.
They're going to get Martha for the next
They're
celebrity
not
one?
going to be 60, Gold. They're going to be 25 to 30.
There's no way they're gonna be 20-year-olds.
I guarantee they'll be like.
You
I
want to
think they'll
bet
be
the
like.
over-under mean of what the age limit is
I
on
think they'll
girls?
be
Yeah,
like
over 45.
I think they'll be
Okay.
40. I think they'll be 45 to 70.
Call it the
I don't think
Cougars,
anyone
man.
will be 70. I think everyone will be like 45 to 60.
Oh,
I bet you there'll be a bunch of like 55-year-old women in this, where they're still younger, but it's not like, okay, 25-year-old and you're 71.
Hell yeah.
What does he do for a living?
I don't know.
Because I think okay.
Enough to be on The Bachelor and still be rocking it at 71.
Good for him. The Golden Bachelor.
What if like his
So
first
that means
date
the
is like,
Golden Bachelorette's coming soon too.
can't wait.
I told you it's going to be Martha Stewart.
That's the show I need to get on. Golden,
Golden
Bachelorette.
Bachelorette.
I'm a good age, 35. Fit right in there. Still got my youth. Still got my stamina. Let's ride.
I'll say this guy looks rich.
Oh, for sure, dude. He doesn't even look 71.
He doesn't actually.
He looks like he's like 55. Guaranteed the oldest girl on this show is going to be 44. And the youngest will be 23. I guarantee it. And when they announce the roster, hopefully this week, that's going to be so great. 71-year-old Bachelor. You must have really screwed up to be single at 71.
Dude, he's
You
married
know,
with his
how
last
do you not
wife for
just ride it out?
43 years.
For all we know, his wife passed away
She
or
did.
something. Oh,
He was married
there
for
you go.
43
Well, now
years.
I feel like an ass.
Yeah.
They were together for 43 years, and then she died in 2017 after.
Yeah, so good for him. It's time for him to get back out there. Good for him.
He waited 6 years?
Yeah. Good for him.
Dude, but that's a wild way to jump back into the dating scene. Be married to one person for 43 years and then be like, all right, let's get 12 women in a room together and make them
Hell
fight
yeah.
over my attention.
Oh, yeah.
Those are Dusty's deeds. Coming up next, though, we'll get to the 11 o'clock hour. Cody and I are going to be up at training camp here in just a couple of days. So we'll rank out the top 5 teams in the AFC, especially now that DeAndre Hopkins finds himself in the AFC.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
He's so good, and everyone knows it.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
We're talking with Dr. David Bach, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. Doctor, when it comes to prostate cancer, what makes KCUC the best?
KCUC treats more prostate cancer than anyone else in the metro, and for that matter, in this part of the country.
What does that mean for the patient?
As part of cancer care, a patient will need a urologist, a pathologist, a medical oncologist, and a radiation oncologist. We offer specialists, board-certified specialists, in all those areas on site. It's important to a patient because they want the best possible care with the best possible outcomes with the fewest chances of side effects. Without a doubt, Kansas City Urology Care is the expert in prostate cancer therapy.
See the prostate cancer experts, Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcurology.com.
My friends at Window World asked me to tell you about a very special auction benefiting Action for Autism. Action for Autism is a Missouri organization that provides therapy and learning for kids ages 2 to 21 to help them prepare for a successful future. You can bid on a whole home renovation worth $40,000. To place your bid, go to the Kansas City Chiefs website or windowskc.com. The bidding starts at $15,000. The auction will close on July 27th, and it's so easy to register. The renovation package includes windows, exterior wrapped, insulated siding, gutters, doors, and much more. Every penny of the proceeds go to Action for Autism. You can make a donation. If you choose not to submit a bid, all you need to do is go to windowskc.com for all the details. 1 out of 68 children born today are diagnosed with autism, and you can make a difference in these kids' lives by making a bid or a donation at windowskc.com today.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
It's time to get started on those outdoor summer projects. Here's James and Josiah of American Topsoil. Guys, what are some of the reasons folks might need topsoil this summer?
If you're bumping over stubborn tree roots while mowing the grass, or you find yourself watching your step because of those ankle-twisting holes in the yard, there's a good chance you need some topsoil.
Another important reason folks are calling us this summer is to add topsoil around their foundation.
James, how do I know if I need topsoil around my foundation?
Just as the roof of your home is sloped, the same rule of thumb applies to your foundation. The soil around your house should drain water away to prevent water and structural damage.
Guys, the message is topsoil solves lots of problems from your backyard to your front to your foundation. And American Topsoil can get it done for you fast.
Give us a call at 913-888-SOIL
or online at americantopsoil.com.
Check out their power wheelbarrow service where you only pay for the soil that you need. Call 913-888-SOIL or online at americantopsoil.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Refresh your ride at O'Reilly Auto Parts with the new Art of Car Care line from Turtle Wax and LA street artist Mr. Cartoon. Whether it's a detailer to give your paint that extra shine or wheel and tire products to keep them spinning in style. Plus, get 2 times O-Rewards points. Get Turtle Wax and Mr. Cartoon's The Art of Car Care exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors.
Okay, easy now. You're teaching a kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Donate on 610sports.com to the Let's Play Sports Equipment Drive, presented by Pinnacle Bank, benefiting the Urban Youth Academy. Thank you for all your support. 610 Sports Radio, KCSB Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us. 11 o'clock hour, Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Dusty Likens producing the show today. We'll get to the trash of the day in about 15 minutes or so. So training camp, it is right around the corner, man. Veterans don't report till Friday. Practice, first one for them will be Sunday, but we're going to be up there later this week. Rookies and quarterbacks on Wednesday will have their practice. Pretty soon we'll start seeing the video of the guys showing up to the dorm rooms. Still one of the, now what, Cody, 4 teams left that do that? 5 teams left that do the old, oh, we're gonna go to camp, truly go to camp for 3 or 4ur weeks.
Yeah, they're still in the minority.
It's honestly, definitely an old school approach.
Seems to work out for Andy Reid and everybody.
He's one of the last few. If
a dying breed. Well, by the time the Chiefs build a new stadium, you know that they're going to put the facilities in place where they can do that all at Arrowhead.
It's weird. The Cowboys still go all the way out to Oxnard, California. They go because it's too damn hot in Texas, so they go all the way out to Cali and they do their camp out there.
It's never. I mean, it gets hot in St.
And they
Joe.
have Frisco. You know, they have their other facility in Frisco. They have the stadium, but their practice stuff is in Frisco, Texas, and they still go out to California. Years ago, the Texans, when I was down there, they went to West Virginia. There's like a nice resorty type place. But anyway, they went to West Virginia. I don't think they do that anymore.
Anybody here ever make it to River Falls?
No, man. I wish
Never
it was.
did.
After hearing stories and all, I wish it was still in River Falls. I think it'd be great. I know fans around here love it that it's in St. Joe because again, you can just get up in the morning and drive an hour, depending on where you live in town, and go to St. Joe and drive right back, and so you're not forced to spend money on a hotel or spend multiple days out of work. So I get it. It's very convenient for fans now.
You can just go for a day.
I do think it'd be fun. If you told me we're in River Falls for a week, I think it'd be fantastic. And it'd be a little cooler, too.
Well, yeah. It's still going to be hot. It's August. I don't think it's like
humidity's
cool
different
in Wisconsin.
Humidity's a little bit different in Wisconsin than St. Joe, Missouri.
I'll be there Sunday, just going to sweat bullets.
Yeah, man. We're all going to, Cody, bring some sunscreen this year, man. Last year, you looked like a damn lobster.
Really?
I'll bring
just the one arm.
How'd you get sunburned?
It's just one arm.
The way the sun, okay.
The sun hits.
Oh, you definitely get
How about we just switch sides? You deal with it.
Or just wear a long sleeve shirt. You want to get burned or you want to sweat?
We definitely got to get some sunscreen this year, I think, while we're up there. But since we are heading to training camp, and now we know DeAndre Hopkins is going to an AFC team, which, by the way, just another star player who I still think has a lot left in the tank, by the way, even though he's 31, going to the AFC. Like, none of that, like, just other than Jalen Hurts and...
Just nobody...
Just go to the AFC. Everybody just can keep going to the AFC.
It was like this a little bit in the NBA for a while, where it was just like, I'm sorry, is every good team in the West and the East is just not even going to try at this thing?
Now it's flipped.
Yeah, I know. It's funny after all that. But for the longest time, it was like, for 10 years, it was like, is any good player going to go to the other side? Maybe just try to win over there? Do things on that side? They're like, nah, LeBron's over there. We're fine.
Logically, you'd think it'd be the opposite. You're like, oh, Mahomes over there? All right, I'm going to get the hell out of there.
No, but then it's, you know what it is? Is that the teams in the AFC all end up being more desperate around each other. So they all pay. They all like Von Miller. It's like they all end up overspending and paying and doing these things because they're like, my God, we're just so far behind. In the NFC, you look at your roster full of mediocre players and you're like, what are we, like top 3? Or, I mean, we're pretty good here. I don't even think we even need to add anything.
Outside of Philly, it appears to be pretty wide open. I know people like the Niners, but we don't know for sure who their quarterback is going to be week 1. But talking about the AFC, now that we know D-Hop is not going to one of the what we consider to be real contenders, how do you look at the AFC as camp starts this week for everybody in the NFL, at least for rookies? Because I still think you can kind of tier it out. I still believe if you're going through the top 5 in the AFC heading into camp, Kansas City and Cincinnati, to me, are in their own category.
They'd be on everybody's list. I don't even care if you were just like trying to give a hot take on on a New York sports talk station.
Right. And
Kansas City and Buffalo, and Cincinnati.
And then there's a little bit of a gap, and then that's where I think there's a grouping of teams. I think, my feelings on the Jets heading into this season. And so to me, after KC and Cincinnati, to me, go ahead and put together Buffalo, the Jets, and Baltimore. That's kind of the next three for me, and that's how I get to my 5.
So no
and then
Chargers.
right on the door after that, if we go further down, that's when, to me, you get to like the Dolphins, the Jags, and the Chargers. But I think it's Kansas City, Cincy, pause, and then you get to Buffalo, Jets, and Baltimore.
So I'm in no way willing to entertain the possibility of Tennessee in the top 5.
No.
They added Hopkins, cool.
There's
no way to entertain that as part of the conversation. I think what you really have to do to make this determination is decide out of these teams who you think is backsliding. Because I don't think the Chiefs and the Cincinnati can even be considered for it. They're not backsliding. Their rosters are still too good. They have all their star players back. Joe Mixon even came back at a discount for Cincinnati. Not because he's a good guy or because he wants to win championships. Because he would have made even less money had he just chosen to be a free agent instead of restructuring his deal. But are the Jags going to get worse? Are the Ravens going to get worse? Is Buffalo going to get worse? Are the Chargers going to get worse? Because the reality is one of those 4 are and deserve to be kicked out of this conversation. That they're not one of the top 5 contenders in the AFC. And my gut says that it's probably just the Ravens, and that I have to take the Jets serious until I watch them on the field.
The Ravens weren't in that top 4 category last year.
Yeah, but
so
the normal thing would be like,
out.
hey, if Lamar Jackson stays healthy, they have been in that. The Ravens have been in that category for 4 of the last 5 years. The only reason they got kicked out this year is because the quarterback didn't stay healthy. The Jets haven't been in that conversation at all, but now have a quarterback. The Jags are just trying to enter that conversation, as are the Chargers. So amongst those 4 teams, nobody really has deservedly held their spot in this title anymore. And 2 of the 4 aren't going to be in it. Because 3 are the Chiefs, Cincinnati, and Buffalo. They deserve their place in this conversation. They are 3 of the top contenders in the AFC. And really between those 4 teams, the conversation is who is actually going to be in that conversation. Because none of them have been in it last year. And none of them deserve to be in it last year. So someone's taking a backslide or staying the same and not getting in there. And 2 are going to emerge into it. The Jets, I guess. And you know what? It's probably just, I didn't even mention Miami, who was one of the best teams in the AFC.
For the first 7 weeks.
For the first 7 or 8 weeks before their quarterback got hurt. But my guess is I should just take Jags because they're up and coming and Jets. But I can't take the Jags. I don't believe in them, so I guess I'll take Herbert. So mine are Jets, Chargers, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals. I don't think it's an easy conversation. I think you make an argument for like 9 teams.
You can. I mean, the only thing with Baltimore I would say is, so the last 2 years, it definitely comes down to health of the quarterback, Lamar Jackson. But last year, they weren't a top 4. And the year before, remember, that was the 8-win season because Lamar was hurt for more games that year. So they haven't been one of the top 3-4 teams in the AFC actually in over 2 seasons.
But none of the other teams have been once.
The last time we thought they were in that position was when we were in Baltimore or whatever, when the Chiefs were up there. And I was at that game, and the Ravens thought they were going to go win the Super Bowl that year. They beat the Chiefs. Clyde fumbled the football late. That was where people were mooning us walking out of the stadium in Baltimore, remember? That was 2 years ago, believe it or not.
You got mooned?
Yeah, I was at the game in Baltimore.
Him and his mom.
And their fan, we were going down like the, not turnstile, but...
You sure it was directed at you? Could they just been mooning anybody?
We were wearing Chiefs gear, surrounded by a flock of Ravens fans. And,
well played there.
And you're welcome. And that was a dicey situation for a little bit till we got out of the stadium.
That's awkward to be with mom and see some asses.
It was one individual. One individual
Male
that
or
chose to do
female?
that. It was a male. It was one, and people were flipping us off the whole time. It was fan stuff.
By the way, the current AFC odds for BetMGM say that it should be Chiefs, Bills as a more likely favorite to win the AFC.
Okay.
Bengals, Jets, Ravens should be your 5.
It's a different order, but about the same team.
With
Okay.
Dolphins, Jags, and Chargers all the way dead last out of that grouping of teams that we take serious. Because I know we can all eliminate Browns, Broncos, Steelers, Patriots. I don't think anybody. Dusty, you're not taking the Patriots serious this year, so?
The only thing I'll say...
Belichick's still there, so it gives it a little bit of hope.
The only thing I would say, and this impacts Cincinnati and Baltimore, is I actually believe the NFC North is going to be the second, if not the toughest division in football this year. We look at the AFC East, we understand
As in
why.
competitive or just the best?
No, as in competitive nature, because Cincinnati, to me, is the best team in that division. But if Lamar is healthy, I mean, Baltimore almost just beat Cincinnati in their division last year without a healthy Lamar. So I think there's a chance that the Steelers are better. We know they got a hell of a coach. I do think Kenny Pickett will improve a little bit this year if that offensive line can stay healthy. So you look at Pittsburgh, maybe more of a challenge this year. Cleveland, full year of Deshaun Watson. We're going to find out.
Just no way.
Right? We're going to find out. I'm not talking about Cleveland making the playoffs. I'm just saying they're going to be a better football team this year. So that NFC North, it's going to be more challenging for Cincinnati, to me, to get the number 1 seed this year than it would have been last year. And they still didn't get it. They didn't get it last year. So the AFC, I mean, we know it's loaded. But if you were to ask me, like, what's the biggest surprise out of the teams that we all think are in, what's the one that could end up
sneaking into the top 5?
Well, either way. It can go either way. I was going to say just who would not make it. Between Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Baltimore, and the Jets, most likely to not be in the conversation as one of the top 3 teams. I think the answer probably, even though I'm a believer in the Jets, you would probably have to pick the Jets just because of a little bit of an unknown factor. But I'm high on the Jets. I think they can win that division this year.
Just real quick, Dusty, who are your 5? Do you know them offhand? Is Buffalo still in it, or are you
Yes.
Buffalo's getting ready to fall apart?
No, I think the top 5 are the ones basically listed. I think that you have Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo. I think Miami's decent. I think if you get a full, like you talk about health with quarterbacks, I think if Tua can stay on the field and not get completely knocked out 3 times this year, I think Miami's there. I like Jacksonville. I know that sounds egregious.
They seem like the most likely to take the leap forward.
And here's why. A lot of people don't like Trevor Lawrence, and they think that he's not going to live up to the hype. But, again, Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson figured it out last year after they lost to the Chiefs and ran off 6 straight, went to the playoffs, lost to the Chiefs only by 3. It was actually a pretty competitive game. They play in a terrible division.
They do.
So their record's going to stack up maybe in a way that's misleading to a little bit, but I have Jacksonville over the Jets this year when it comes to records.
Jacksonville,
they're loaded with talent on weapons.
They are. And last year, I mean, they were the leap they took. One, give credit to Doug Peterson, but also that's how bad things were with Urban Meyer. That the leap was just massive.
God, there was another new article about it. Oh, the level of dysfunction's so good.
Oh, it's bad.
And people are very high on Trevor Lawrence actually this year. He's one of the more popular MVP bets. He's 16-1 right now to win MVP. My question with Jacksonville is, all right, they were still a 9-win football team that for the first half of a playoff game were done.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you can say, hey, that's just stuff like that happens, but okay. So it's not like they were some dominant team last year. They were a 9-win team. So, okay, can they become a 12-win team, or are they going to be like another 9 or 10-win team? Most people think they're going to be an 11 or 12-win team this year.
Yeah, because they feel like they're on the uptick.
There's real expectations and pressure. I always wonder, for a young team still, how do you handle that? I'm not saying they can't, but that's a big question for me. Can Trevor Lawrence and that team, they got an experienced head coach, but can they handle the expectation? Everybody's expecting you to win the division. Everybody's expecting you to win probably 2 or 3 more games than you did a season ago. What happens when maybe you're a little slow out of the gate? Do you have the right people in place in that locker room to be able to bounce back? It's the one thing we probably downplay a lot with the Chiefs. We know they're talented. The roster's incredible. But you know you're not even concerned. If I told you the Chiefs got out of the gate 1-2, that'd be like panic because we're spoiled here. But like none of us would actually think, oh my gosh, they're in trouble. The Jags start 1-2 or 1-3, you're like, oh, okay.
What happened?
And because you don't have faith that we haven't seen them turn it around before. So that's my only hesitation on the Jags.
I'm going to help you with something real quick. I think what's happening here is every time Dusty turns his mic on, you're looking around. You're hearing something.
Yes.
It's the fan, dude. It's a fan. Dusty's got a fan going.
That's fine. I hear. Yeah, you're
I was like, every time he turns his mic on, you keep looking around. You're like, what's that sound? I can't figure out that sound. I'm like 90% sure it's the fan in Dusty's room.
I can turn it off, but we have to switch positions.
It's the fan. It's the fan.
Maybe our
By the way, the
listeners
listeners probably can't even hear it. We just have like on headphones, and it's like
me
all
crazy,
tightly on there. But now you know what it is, so maybe that'll help you.
Okay. Thank you.
I could tell, like, you kept looking around.
I thought it was raining outside.
What is the sound?
It's about to. It looks like we're about to get nailed.
Well, we're not going to get 88-mile-per-hour wind gusts this go around, I don't think.
I don't know. It says like
Some
there's
guy
a big
jogging with his shirt off right out of there. Dusty, that's that you in the mornings?
Respect
You
it.
do that?
I'm not confident enough to go shirtless.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'm confident like at pools and stuff because I'm not running and there's not like
Is that
flab
how Parks gets ready for his shows? He just do laps now? Looked like Scott Parks.
He just drinks coffee and talks a bunch of crap.
Yeah, I don't think Parks is a jogger.
He's a yogger. It's a silent J.
I'm having a hard time imagining Parks jogging before a show every day.
Let's get to trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
You might recall last summer, I told you about the wasp issue, right? At the apartment, the patio, and how they had created a nest inside, like, the electrical box on my patio. So, it's the kind where the outlets are covered, right? You got a little outdoor box thing, whatever. And inside there was a big wasp nest, and I told you, and this was a big thing for a couple weeks, they finally went away, but I didn't actually get rid of the nest until they were gone, but they just vanished. And I've since long removed the nest. Otherwise, they would come back.
Sure, because they can come back to it.
So far, they have not come back. No issue. The birds.
I have not been stung by a wasp this summer. It's a good win for me.
Well,
we joked about this. I get stung like once a year, and I'm like, am I the only person getting stung by bees or wasps?
I got stung
at St. Joe.
I got stung last year or 2 years ago at a pool in the back shoulder. It was like the first time I've ever been stung by a wasp. It was like it vibrated.
Huh?
And it hurt like hell, dude.
Oh, dude, wasp stings
It
suck.
hurt.
I thought I had a bee land on top of my head like 2 days ago, and I'm like, it's
If
going
I
to get me.
rid of three things, it'd be wasps, mosquitoes.
God, mosquitoes. If you could get rid of any bug on the planet, mosquitoes are number one with a bullet.
Yeah, they carry a lot of disease, too. They're a big problem.
A huge cause of death in this world.
Yeah, they carry a lot of bad diseases. Anyway, I bring it up because there's a new viral trend on TikTok. We know we're always trying to keep up with these TikTok
we're the young
trends.
show.
There's a new insect extermination hack on Twitter, on TikTok. Users have been attempting the, quote, gas in a glass method of getting rid of wasps that may be terrorizing their homes. Those who have tried the hack fill a glass jar bucket about a third of the way with gasoline.
Oh, that gas.
Then, yes.
Then they just like farting in a jar.
Then they,
Can you imagine?
they just all start dying. Then they take their container of choice filled with gasoline, put it up against the nest, sealing it. The wasps died due to the toxicity of the gasoline, were instantly knocked out and fell into the liquid. And then in some videos, the remainder of the wasp nest is shown scraped off, submerged in the gasoline along with the bees.
Okay, what's the problem here?
Experts say
Seems
the
like a
method
decent
is
strategy.
not only dangerous but potentially illegal for exterminators, according to the EPA. Pest control professionals expected to use products that are registered with the EPA.
Okay, first, we're not a pest control. I'm a guy trying to get... Who hires a pest control company to get rid of one wasp nest?
All I know is, are you saying I should have just got a quick trip cup and filled it with half gasoline and just stuck it right by the electrical outlet?
It cost you like $1.50
Well, look,
for that.
when it's by an electrical outlet, maybe don't suggest it. But I'm looking at the
Basically,
videos.
they just die from the
and
fumes.
the photos of this, then who cares?
They die from the fumes.
This seems like a very effective method.
So you're
I just
saying
get
we
that
shouldn't
foam
sniff
spray
gas?
stuff.
Yeah, don't be sniffing the gasoline,
I
Dusty.
used to love going to the
Stay away
gas
from the
station.
unleaded, man. Stay away.
That diesel hits differently.
High octane.
This seems like a relatively effective method. I don't see the risk here.
Someone says the 49ers should have used this hack to prevent them from wasping the Super Bowl, guys. From the
Some text you
816.
can go without reading.
This guy was trying to make a joke, man. You're
From the
not gonna live his life?
913, someone says they do HVAC. They haven't been stung in 6+ years.
How?
And y'all getting stung just randomly. We deal with wasp on roof and in the country like crazy.
I was literally just posting on the edge of the pool, beer in one hand,
I'm not doing it on purpose.
and it just like came from behind and just. I was like, oh! I was like, what was that? And everyone's like, you're so dramatic. And then like 5 minutes later, it like was just this huge welt, and I'm like, told you I got stung by a wasp. It hurt like hell.
No, the last time I
Kiss
got
my
stung,
ass,
I was just like,
Karen.
I was using like the weed eater. And I apparently there was like a nest by some edge part of the deck I couldn't see, and I disturbed them
Well,
by.
yeah, you deserve it then.
But I didn't know. I didn't even know they were there.
Yeah, well, that's your fault on that one. That one's bad. A mosquito.
How am I supposed to know?
Once a year, you get. I feel like I get a good little mosquito bite or something.
I get
Once-
tons of mosquito
Like
bites.
once a year, there's always a
See
good
my
one.
legs right now.
Yeah, I was like,
Because I have a problem. I don't like that off spray because I feel like the chemicals in there is probably not
They
good
got
for
some
you.
that have some other stuff in it. You know?
And dude, I sat out on the patio on Saturday night, and my right ankle is just. And then I ran it. This is weird. I got bit right below my left ass cheek, and this
that's
the problem.
that's a bad spot.
How is a mosquito like? Ooh, that's a
How'd they get
spot
up
I'll
there?
go bite.
You got shorts on, and they just fly up there. You know.
Yeah, no draws, so there's nothing like holding that skin in. So
Thank you.
And what's tough is when you get bit by a mosquito when it's in like a crease, because it's a bendable spot. It gets a little.
We've all
it
had
gets
the
a little
mosquito
moist.
bite in the groin area, and that's terrible. That's happened before.
One thing I have a problem with on my deck or my patio is carpenter bees.
Oh, yeah, we had those.
And
I
it's
keep
really
having to
cool.
eradicate them.
It's really cool. They have this little device that you can it's like a plastic jar, and it'll dive in there, and it won't be able to get out, and it'll die, and the other ones will see it, and they'll vacate the premises.
Huh.
I just use a
so
flip
should I
flop
be getting
and just,
that thing?
I just you can
Wait,
Amazon
what?
has it. It's
So
like
what? It's just like threats.
I've
to
just been-
torture, threat of torture.
I've just been
it's like a head on a spike.
Send a lesson.
Yeah.
Because I have them on the front porch. I get them sometimes. And what I've been doing is like spraying in there, filling the holes, and like because they essentially like carpenter bees essentially are just like a tiny drill.
They're
They
pointless.
just like bore a hole into your thing. And yeah, they're not pollinators. They don't do any of this stuff. Like you shouldn't just be killing honeybees. You should just let them live their lives.
Somebody says, Dusty, you probably got bit by a horsefly. It was not a horsefly. Been bit by those. It was a wasp. We saw it, and I killed it, and it went in the pool. As soon as it stung me, I hit my back, and it went in the pool. So it was a wasp. Don't tell me what I didn't get stung by. Come on now. I know what I got stung by, damn it. The other thing I do is with carpenter bees, when we'd kill them with our flip-flops, we'd let them sit on the patio so the others could see the dead soldier and be like, see your friend? Don't come around. And then we would fill all the holes that they created with cock.
Yeah. That's the move.
What's so weird about that? That's what it's called.
No, I was agreeing. That is the way you do it.
And then it's just like, now you're trapped in there, and then we'd spray it with like bug spray, and you'd see them just like fall out dead. That's kind of fun. When you're like 9 beers deep and you're just out there playing home run derby with carpenter bees, hell yeah, that's called Midwest fun right there.
They get giant. They're just like the biggest damn bees.
I don't even know if they sting you, but I kill the hell out of them.
I'm going to do this gasoline trick. I find another wasp nest. I'll send a video for you.
Please do. Please do.
Let's agree. Find a wasp nest, not an electrical outlet.
Plastic bucket or cup, and fill it like a quarter of the way with gasoline, and then just suction basically it right up against it, and watch them all just faint.
Okay.
Die.
Looking forward to it. Wasps are the worst.
And during the break, yes, don't worry, text line. We will get a drop of Dusty explaining what to plug it with. Absolutely. We will get that taken care of for you. Coming up next, we'll talk some Chiefs football. The Chiefs Red Half Hour, the risk-taking going on at wide receiver.
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio and the Odyssey app.
You talk on the radio. Yeah. You're a fanboy.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Make purchasing your home fast and easy with a low fixed rate in the 5s from Cap One Lending. We offer 0 down payment, approvals in an hour, and no payments for 2 months. Call Cap One Lending, 816-905-1111. That's 816-905-1111. Or apply at caponelending.com. What could be better than 100% loan programs with 0 down payment, approvals in an hour, and no payments for 2 months? Your first step to homeownership is knowing you're already approved with a 5-star rated lender. Call Cap One Lending now, 816-905-1111. That's 816-905-1111. Or apply at caponelending.com. That's caponelending.com.
Cap One Lending, making your dreams a reality is what we do.
Cap One Lending, a Kansas licensed mortgage company, license number MC0026341, and MLS Missouri license 2468614. Programs and rates subject to change without notice.
What does it mean to be the official information technology provider for the Chiefs? Everything. Technology Group Solutions makes sure everything runs flawlessly for the millions of fans that attend games and the hundreds of millions of fans that comprise Chiefs Kingdom around the world. Technology Group Solutions can deploy that same dedication, problem solving, and incredible service to ensure your business runs smoothly all day, every day, just like your Chiefs. Technology Group Solutions, powering Chiefs Kingdom and ready to do the same for you.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
Those stomach issues ruined your birthday.
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If finding great hires is burning through your summer hours, then you need Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Hire fast by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
You don't plan for a computer virus. You don't plan to lose files. You don't plan to knock your laptop off the counter. And you don't plan for your PC to crash or your screen to freeze. But Staples has a plan. A plan for unlimited virus protection. A plan for help when you need it 24/7. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, starting as low as $199.99. And although you didn't plan for this, right now at Staples you can also get $250 off select computers. N729 in-store only. See associate for details.
Keeping your kids safe is a full-time job. Whether it's putting on outlet covers, installing child gates, or gluing down your priceless vase. So Duracell made one part of childproofing simple. Our lithium coin batteries are the only ones coated in a non-toxic bitterant to help discourage swallowing. Your kid is safer, and you've got one less thing to worry about. Or glue down. Duracell, engineered for more. Available in 2032, 2025, and 2016 sizes.
Hold up, you're using Swiffer Power Mop? What would Mom say?
Oh, she'd be like, a mopping bucket is the only way to deep clean your floors. And I'd be like, Mom, this is the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one that gets you a mop and bucket clean in half the time.
She'd never believe you.
I'd say, look, the solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get into grout lines. That's why you're the smart one.
Really?
What? Mom said it.
The new Swiffer Power Mop. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year. Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer. Is this for real?
Apparently. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. Some may be severe with a high of 91.
Weather brought to you by Total Wine & More. At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals on amazing wines and spirits. Love what you find at the lowest prices only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com. Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on Cody and Gold.
And our training camp coverage is driven by Max Motors. We'll be heading down to Max Motors in Harrisonville after the show today, picking up our ride for camp.
I'm taking first tips.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
That's fine. That's
I'm taking week 1.
You guys gonna get like a Mazda Miata?
I think we're getting a Ford F-150.
I believe
like a brand new Ford F-150.
I believe for the first week at least, it's going to be a Ford F-150. Then we might get something else throughout.
What's it 0 to 100? Just a curiosity.
I don't know.
I would never go that
it's
fast.
It's open road. I know for quite a while out there, and it gets to 70 miles per hour on that highway.
About to find out the acceleration on that bad boy.
So we're driving down to Harrisonville to check out Max Motors, and looking forward to getting a nice ride for camp as we head up to St. Joe. I think we'll have about 16 shows up there when it's all said and done, something like that.
Yeah, 16 or 15, 16, 17, somewhere in that range.
Be nice to have a nice ride on the way up there. So looking forward to meeting the folks down.
Versus our cars?
Yes. I mean, I like my car. It's been a great car, but it's got a lot of miles on it now. You know, it's not a brand new truck.
The way you drive that car, it's probably not going to last much longer.
Oh, I drive fine.
Wait, have you been in the car with Alex?
No, I've been behind Alex.
Cody's ridden in the car with me. I've driven with Cody in the car.
He drives like Corella DeVille.
I don't think
he does.
I don't think he's that aggressive, but I definitely think he's not the worst driver I've ever been in the car with, or the most aggressive driver I've been in the car with.
Well, then what's the issue? Sounds like I'm fine then.
But I would say you're more aggressive than most. I drive a bit like a grandma, so I get that. Like maybe I'm not the best judge of this.
You bake.
I don't like white knuckle it the entire time I'm in with Alex. But I'm like, there's no reason to drive this aggressively.
It's not a really aggressive.
It's just unnecessary.
It's not really aggressive, but it's just if
you drive like the guy that I'm like, hey man, you got to be somewhere 2 seconds faster than me. You're really in that big of a hurry?
Racing to red lights, getting middle fingers every week.
Yeah.
You ever get flipped off?
Well, you got a gun flash at him.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You didn't know about this? This
No.
happened. It's probably been about Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, it was
somebody hit you with a gat.
Memorial Day.
Someone showed the piece.
Yeah, real quick. Memorial Day weekend. It was a Sunday morning, just in the suburbs at Overland Park. Sunday morning, 9 a.m. This wasn't even that was the weird thing. I had been far more aggressive and never had this happen. I was at a stoplight. Okay, this truck in front of me did not go right away or within 5 seconds. I didn't even honk. See, that's the thing.
Okay.
Didn't even honk. I was actually it's a Sunday morning, no rush. Didn't even honk. He finally starts going, but I definitely put my hands up, like basically, like, what the hell are you doing, kind of thing.
Oh my god.
No, but I'm behind him. Who cares? And so he starts driving really slow, like to be an a-hole. And then eventually then he like floors it. Then he just takes off. I'm like, whatever, what a lunatic. And I'm done with it. And then,
if somebody showed me the gun, I'd just put it in reverse and go the opposite way.
We're done here.
But then I'm like, I'm done with it. So no, he hadn't flashed the gun yet.
Oh,
so
God.
he goes on. I think we're done. Next stoplight, I'm approaching the intersection, and I'm going to turn left. He's still in the lane to my right, going straight. So I think he stops in the middle of the road, Dusty. And I think he's just a terrible driver and needs to get over to my lane. So I'm waving him over. I try to be nice, actually. And then he rolls his window down, and he looks back. He's got sunglasses on. He looks back and just kind of flashes the gun up real quick. And I'm just like, what the hell? And then that was kind of it. And then he drove off.
You should have just hit him with like the arm flex. Been like, what now?
I don't know what crazy thing this guy was going to do. So yeah, that was over a month ago.
You can't be angry on the roads anymore. It's too hostile out there. Just
it was very. I mean, this guy it was Illinois plates, beat up pickup truck.
The only time anyone, the one time someone only threatened me with a gun once, and it was the same thing. Dusty did this, like, come on, like, can you park? In a Quick Trip parking lot in Overland Park. Decidedly the last place you expect someone to come up to your window then to be like, you're lucky I didn't have my gun. Like, you're going to shoot me over this, pal? This?
Well, people are crazy, you know? People are crazy.
Michael Douglas all of a sudden falling down this guy. He's just having the worst day of his life.
Shotgun in a briefcase and a pair of glasses.
That'd
be a good Halloween costume for you, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you pull that off.
I could just wear the regular glasses.
Yeah.
The haircut's the bigger problem. You got to get the haircut right for
top.
it.
Yeah. I thought everybody was just going with Chiefsaholic this year. I thought we agreed that's the Halloween costume of choice.
So
everybody's
do a
dressing
wolf
up
on
as
wolf interview.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
To.
I'll do it.
Definitely behind bars now.
Oh,
you
yeah.
definitely have to do that interview.
We're trying to get the exclusive interview. See what he wants.
We've been working on this.
See if he wants money in his commissary.
We already
we'll get it figured out.
We already know he wants money. Remember, New York Times tried to interview him, and that was his thing. He wanted money. So
Well, how
we'll give you
much?
money.
I don't know.
Have people donate
Enough to have enough commissary for 15 or 20 years, maybe.
Maybe he wants to take a shirtless selfie like Alex Murdaugh to like the rest of the world.
What if we can get him a burner cell phone? Do the interview that way.
Then we'll be next door neighbors in prison.
Yeah, you're going to have to
Then we can talk to him all we want.
Smuggle stuff into prison. Now Cody wants to do that as a show. Cody said he wants the Cody and Gold name on more and more things across the area. Now Cody wants his name on a jail cell. Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Hell of a Chiefs Red half hour. Gun flashing, Chiefs-holic.
Get distracted sometimes. We can talk about the... No, go ahead.
If you guys want, it looks like you get free food if you want.
Oh, that's good.
No eating in the truck, okay? No eating in the pickup truck.
Oh, man.
Yeah, can't eat in the new truck.
No Chipotle, buddy.
Nope,
Absolutely cannot eat in the new truck.
No, that's we're not. We're keeping that.
You guys have to pay for the gas for that thing, too?
The company will.
You know that for sure?
Oh, those gas receipts.
Say, dude.
Hey, normally it's mileage. Those gas
That's
receipts.
That's a $96
for an
fill-up right there.
Absolutely. It probably is. Maybe more.
We'll find out here soon enough, won't we?
That Odyssey's
just
taking
leave
care
this
of
thing
that.
on E as I hand it off to Alex.
Yeah, those receipts are getting turned in. Promise you
figure
that.
it out. Don't worry about it. the wide receiver stuff. We know DeAndre Hopkins isn't coming to the Chiefs. And I was thinking more about just the Chiefs wide receivers at States. I know that you and I disagree a little bit on the level of concern that they have over their wide receivers or the desperation. I don't think they're desperate. I don't think they need to be desperate. I think that they are a little cash strapped, and that's informing some of their cheapness when it comes to the wide receiver position because they want that money for Chris Jones. They want that money for Snead. They can't just give any wide receiver any money. But this is the single biggest positional risk they've taken in the entire Brett Veach era. Name one in which they went in riskier. And I know last year they went in with a bunch of young corners, a very unproven young cornerback group. But they had the 21st overall pick at corner and a guy they knew was a number one corner for them in L'Jarius Sneed, so not that risky. Going in at running back is never particularly risky. Maybe when they were going to start two rookie offensive linemen in Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, when the unknown factor was very strong to go along with a average left tackle in Orlando Brown Jr. or an unknown at right, maybe there, but this is bigger. They know nothing about this unit. I know they internally have an idea of what they think they're going to turn into, but this is you are walking in with all hope for every player. There's only one player you know the result of their season. That is MVS. We know what he will perform at. We know which level he will perform at. I could give you inside of, if you only gave me 55 yards, I think I could accurately predict the final season total for MVS. Not a single other receiver. I'm not even confident I could get within 200 yards on most of the guesses.
I don't even disagree with you that it's the riskiest position group of the team, but also I think that
you don't think it's ever.
I think that has to do with how good the roster is as a whole, though, right? Where I think it's pretty clear and day. There's nowhere else you could say that at all because that's how it's a championship caliber roster, a team that just won a championship. And yeah, where do they lose pieces?
I think it's the riskiest in the Veach era.
The area that they lost, yeah, but risky. But again. If we're saying this wide receiver room and this roster and that this wide receiver, that's the riskiest, that's still pretty damn good. If we're talking, think about that. Put that in perspective a little bit. Because, yeah, last year MVS was in this offense. You feel like he's a 700-yard guy for sure. There's a group of wide receivers in this room that is unproven, but you can balance it out. The unproven, is it always negative? Is it always positive? No, it's not the extreme on both ends. It's somewhere in the middle, most likely. I mean, we'll use another team like Carolina, for example. Their wide receiver room, their best receiver is probably DJ Chark, okay? Other than that, they got
because they traded more.
Yeah, they got guys like Laviska Shenault Jr., guys that I feel like we know who they are. My point is, yeah, there's risk involved, and if it's the riskiest of the entire Brett Veach era, that also speaks to me to what the roster has been throughout his time as general manager.
It's just wild that
you have Travis Kelce is why it's not, though. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's not in the wide receiver room. Travis Kelce is why the risk is not as much because he is essentially the number one wide receiver. So I'm able to have a riskier wide receiver room, and they're not all going to pan out. I'm not telling you that, but versus some other teams that maybe just have a bunch of veterans, we just know who they are, and they're just not any good. There's at least upside with just about everybody. Doesn't mean they're all going to reach that, but there's nobody that's young where we can say we already know what he is, right? Kadarius Toney, talent, but we don't know what his ceiling is because of the injury history. We know MVS is about a 700-yard guy. Sky Moore, there's still upside there. I don't know what his peak is yet. There's still upside there. There's still upside, obviously, on Rashee Rice. The guy hasn't taken an NFL snap yet.
About him.
Justin Watson, I think we know what he is.
I think I might know what Richie James is, but I kind of need to see one more year before I know for sure.
So, I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster ended up being about a 950-yard receiver, and he missed games last year. He was very important at times, but to me, when you have Kelce and Mahomes, the risk goes down so much, man.
I think because I guess in this case, I'm trying to separate them a little bit. And I understand why you're saying, hey, it can't be that risky if Travis Kelce exists. Because a defending Super Bowl champ with the number one offense in the NFL. And I've seen people be like, hey, they just won the Super Bowl, this exact same wide receiver unit. I'm like, no, it was not the exact same wide receiver unit. MVS, you keep calling a 700-yard wide receiver. He's close to that number, but he's never actually technically even gotten that much.
But you and I have got, dude, you want to talk about, we are literally 7 yards. We're arguing about 7 yards, man. Yeah. He's a 700-yard receiver. He was like 7 yards away from 700. Come on now.
No, but I think for an argument's sake, you could almost say, like, if I hear 700-yard receiver in my head, if I'm just an average fan, I think somewhere between 600 and 800. And he's not capable of 800. He would have gotten 800 yards somewhere along the way here if that was something he was.
13 yards away, I apologize. 13 yards away. If you're 687, I'm calling you a 700-yard receiver. I just am. And since he's basically done that. So, yeah, that's why I say 700. 687.
He's actually gotten closer to that in some other year. I think he had like
690. He was 10 away. So, yes,
range.
You're correct. Factually, he has not ever been a 700-yard receiver.
Technically, in average in his career, he's like a 600-yard receiver because he got like two 500-yard years and two 700-yard years by your, so it doesn't matter. We know what he is. The point is that we know what he is, but that is your leading wide receiver. It's still this like on paper part where I'm thinking the number is I can't think of a more risk-taking thing they've done from a position, from like a full position group. Fine, in like an individual player, they're taking those chances, whatever, like when they're going to make Orlando Brown Jr. a left tackle. But from a full position group, this is a massive swing. They're banking on what? 2 guys really turning out. That's what they're pretty much telling you. They need 2 guys to turn into 700, 800-yard wide receivers.
And there's not a better situation, though, for those guys to be in. Like, I'm not saying that they're all going to end up being studs in this wide receiver room, but if I'm a young wide receiver, I'm unproven, but the talent on paper is there, where would I rather be? The best quarterback in football is throwing me the ball, maybe going to go down as one of the greatest of all time when it's all said and done. You've got the best offensive mind and creativity that's going to put you in great spots. I mean, there is not a better – if I'm Sky Moore, if I'm Rashee Rice, Kadarius Toney, there is not a better spot to be in. Heading into, in some cases, year 1, year 2, others year 4 of my NFL career.
I mean,
do you think at the end of this season, what percentage chance would you say by the time we fast forward and it's January and we're getting ready for the postseason, the chances that we sit here and we say, man, this wide receiver room ended up being better than it had in a year or 2?
Like at the end of this year?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's not, of course, they're not going to have a Tyreek Hill type. No, but last year they didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver outside of Kelsey. So it's not like this high bar. We're acting like, oh my gosh,
better than I thought there would be is a low bar.
They can't possibly match what they did last year. Yeah, they can.
I want to change the metric a little bit because better than I thought they are is a low enough bar that the percentage would be high. Let's say, or a top 15 wide receiver unit, league average. They are a league average wide receiver unit. I would say 50-50. Okay. I think there's just as much chance they are a below average. They are the 22nd best wide receivers in the NFL as they are, 13th, right? Or 12th.
Cody and Gold.
The disgusting brother. But because
that was just were you just showing him how the buttons work? We got a new part-timer.
We have a new part-timer. Isaac over there is training as well. No, Cody. So let's just change the names. For example, so obviously Kelsey 1,300 yards. Okay, so we don't have to change the name there. We'll just leave him in. And then Juju at 933. There's 2 guys that have, to me, if there's going to be another 900-yard receiver this year, there's probably only 2 guys.
Toney or Moore.
Right. Okay. Then after that, there was 687. That was Scantling. We'll just keep him there. Okay. We'll just keep him there. All right. Then Jerick McKinnon actually was he was 512. Well, McKinnon, maybe he's only a 350 guy or 400 guy.
512 feels like a lot, but
we're not. What I'm saying
he'll be in the range.
Then it was Justin Watson at 315. It's not crazy to think Justin Watson himself or Richie James or Rashee Rice can't do that. I think Richie James is going to do more than that. But then my point being, we're not trying to match astronomical numbers. Like, man, who's going to be the other 3 900-yard guys? Well, there weren't 3 900-yard guys last year either. And they ended up as the number 1 scoring offense in football. And Mahomes had 700 yards passing or whatever.
And neither would I would argue that. A lot of this goes down to the end of the season stuff and why we talk about this unit. It's just we have to admit that it's a risk. They're putting together a risky unit because they think they can take it in because of the 2 guys you mentioned, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey. They think they can take on pretty much as much and because they have a really good offensive line. They're saying we can take on as much water at that position as we want. We can roll out there with 5 absolute dudes you have never heard of. The Jimmies and Joes, right? These are just all Joes. You don't know who any of them are. And if we got Kelsey, Reed, Mahomes, and a top 5 offensive line, we don't care. That's fine, but it's still a risky position group. And maybe you're saying the risk is mitigated because of the 4 things that I just mentioned versus, but I could say the same thing about the offensive line. Then every year the riskiest group is somewhere on the defense. Like, it's somewhere on the defense because if they got Mahomes and Reed and those things, they can kind of protect themselves under any circumstance. And and just be clear, you and I have never made the argument that they will not be a top 3 scoring offense. I don't care. I honestly don't care who their wide receivers are. They'll still score somewhere near there. I just, number 1 seed, Super Bowl titles. Those things matter when we talk about the Chiefs wide receiver unit. We're talking about them under a different metric than like Carolina or these other teams, we would bring up.
So when we're up at camp and we talk about, camp battles per se, even though there's some unknown at wide receiver, I don't know if there's really a true wide receiver battle unless you want to be boring and go all the way down to the number 6 versus number 7. Like, I don't know.
Hold on. The Rosses is when that conversation enters.
That's when we're allowed to talk about the Rosses once we're up in St. Joe. We're not there quite yet. Like, there's obviously much bigger battles potentially at linebacker, for example, and who's going to be, is Chenal going to build off what he did in the postseason and Super Bowl and become the number 2, number 3 linebacker, or does Drew Tranquill end up getting a lot of those snaps? Or are they going to have Clyde be the third back or Deneric Prince be the third back? I don't think there's really any wide receiver battle. Like, the number 1 wide receiver is going to be Kadarius Toney heading into the season on the depth chart.
Yes.
Okay, that to me is done. Number 2, MVS, that's done. After that, I think even number 3 is probably done. Sky Moore. Richie James.
I think you can make an argument for Richie James, man. I mean, he's got.
I'm talking just on the depth chart, not with the in-season production. Because I think in-season production, Richie James is going to end up having.
That to me is, I guess, man, we had the same. God, we're just.
But it's his camp battle stuff. To me, camp battle is literally where are they going to be on the depth chart. We don't say, oh, he won the camp battle, but we think the other guy is going to have way more yardage or whatever. We're talking about depth chart. I think Sky Moore will be higher on the depth chart than Richie James. You think Richie James will be higher?
Yeah, he's just as likely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that one's an actual, I guess, battle. But we're talking between 3 or 4, and I think their production's going to be very similar. I don't think that they're dramatically different players.
Yeah, I think Richie James can be north of 700 yards this year. And I really believe that. He was 600 even with Daniel Jones and the Giants a year ago.
I think by a mile, the most interesting camp battle is left and right tackle. As in, will they actually make Jawan Taylor a left tackle by the time this thing's done? Because I don't rule that out.
Yeah, the assumption
I think they got a lot of linebackers, and there's questions there, and there's some other spots. But I still wonder. Yeah, there's an assumption that
Taylor's the right tackle, but if all of a sudden we're there for a week, and does Jawan Taylor start getting left tackle reps with the ones? And this also let's be honest about. To me, the battle becomes interesting if there's an injury, because if all of a sudden, even for a day or two, Donovan Smith has to miss for something. That means Taylor's obviously swinging over to left tackle. That's when it gets more interesting. I don't know if just flat out, if all things are equal and both guys hopefully make it through camp healthy, I don't know if that happens, that Jawan Taylor ends up becoming the left tackle. I think it would take Donovan Smith missing a day or two of practice for him to open the door.
Why not? Why can't he just, because they rotate these guys around anyway, so they're going to see Jawan Taylor at left tackle. And honestly, they should send son to training camp figuring out whether he's their left tackle of the future. Yeah,
because he might have to be the left tackle in 2024. I just don't know how many first team reps he's going to get at left tackle.
I think it might be like 30%. Maybe I'm way too high on this number, but I think there's a good chance they want a long look at Jawan Taylor because they're not likely to get that in season unless Donovan Smith just completely falls apart. And it's important to note that Donovan Smith is coming off his worst season as a professional football player. So you'd assume that it's not going to be that level of bad. But, I mean, because the other one would be like, running back, I feel like is set. Linebacker, it's just like, does Tranquill get more snaps over a couple of these other guys?
You mean at the top of the depth chart for running back? That's set.
Pacheco, McKinnon.
But after that, I mean, I
guess it's
Clyde and Prince.
We're talking third or fourth running back. If we're talking third or fourth running back, then we're talking the same as like sixth wide receiver. I mean, how many touches are these guys going to get?
Yeah, I mean, last year because of injury, the third running back did matter.
Sure.
Pacheco wasn't even the number 1 running back out of camp.
Yeah, but I feel like
Clyde was. Pacheco was actually McKinnon was 2. Pacheco was kind of 2/3.
Which is why I don't worry about it, because once the regular season hits, it's different than whatever camp battle at running back they had. If Deneric Prince, he can still win the job once they're that far down the depth chart, if it makes sense, right? Let's say they keep Clyde and Deneric, and now they're both the starting running backs because of injuries in week 8.
Right.
They might give Clyde the first crack at it. He's a former first-round pick and a player that they trust. But then Prince could have it in 2 days. Because that's what happened with Pacheco.
Sure.
It wasn't Pacheco's job, and then he had it for a minute, and then it was over. Like, it was over like that. Running back is just weird like that. It only really matters when you're not sure who your number 1 is, and their number 1 is Isaiah Pacheco, and their number 1 pass-catching guy is Jerick McKinnon.
Do we think there's going to be, in the next couple days, another veteran that just gets signed? You know, last year at camp, it was Carlos Dunlap and Danny Shelton who had the pads that were the jersey that was way too small. Carlos Dunlap was kind of that veteran edge rusher they brought in. He's still out there, by the way. Is that still happening? I felt that way throughout. No, it's been very quiet. But
nobody's signing any of the veteran running backs either. Like Kareem Hunt's still out there.
I'm wondering, veterans report Friday, first practice is Sunday.
It's about the time you'll expect these deals.
Like, it feels more like next Wednesday randomly when they're 2 days into practice, all of a sudden Dunlap or somebody signs with somebody somewhere. And I still think they'll bring in another veteran defensive lineman at some point during camp.
Clowney.
No, they've had their
The
eyes
options
for 3 or 4 years.
Hey, the AC's working again in here.
Oh, good news.
Isaac fixed it.
Oh,
He just
wow.
showed up and it started working.
Well, part-timer that's also an HVAC specialist. Perfect.
Praise God.
By the way, if you think that there are like, hey, are you sure they'll be able to find a veteran defensive end? Listen to how many names are still available in that department. Robert Quinn, Yannick Ngakoue, Davian Clowney, Akeem Hicks, William Golston, Mario Addison, Justin Houston, Carlos Dunlap. These are all players. Carl Nassib. These are all players who've been like productive at the NFL level across the board.
Yeah, if Dunlap actually wants to play football still, I would be more than happy to have him back in a week or two.
Not taking it. To me, these are all interchangeable.
But Dunlap, I know, we know what that looks like in this system, and he was very effective at batted passes. He's done that his entire career. I think that was beneficial for them. Robert Quinn, a year ago, I was far more interested in.
Dude, but if it was a 1 year, $3 million deal, you'd let Robert Quinn roll the door.
Gold's a big Carl Nassib guy, though.
Robert Quinn more so. 18 and a half sacks, and then last year only had 2 and played in 7 games.
Upside.
Remember, I wanted him to trade for Robert Quinn last
Yeah,
year.
you did.
I still think he would have had more than 1 sack in Kansas City last year, though. I'll tell you that.
I wanted to bring Dunlap back.
That's my pick of the 3, for
That guy
sure.
went to the ring ceremony in a cutoff blazer and a brimmed
If he
hat.
wants to still play football, Carlos Dunlap, to me, is the guy you bring back. Just a year ago, he was in your system, and you know it works.
I just don't think there are that many bad choices because there are so many choices. They're all about the same.
Got a little excited, sorry.
Was that your wide nose that got that?
That's right. It was my nose. Definitely no. That was the hand. The nose didn't hit it. That was the hand this time.
I wasn't sure. I just knew that you hit your microphone.
No, it was the hand. It was the hand.
What was that motion?
It's kind of like an arm pump, like a choo-choo train.
Choo-choo, let's
Come
go.
on, ride the train. That's what.
Watch
that's
on the
a
straight.
cool
You
deal.
got
Big T from Shawnee in here.
That's
doing
exactly what it felt like.
Dude.
My goodness. All right, coming up next, we'll get to what's trending and then back into what we saw over the weekend. Promising signs for Royals pitching, but man, we are just at the beginning of it. I'll tell you why next.
Cody and Gold.
The facts on this show are irrelevant.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
My friends at Window World asked me to tell you about a very special auction benefiting Action for Autism. Action for Autism is a Missouri organization that provides therapy and learning for kids ages 2 to 21 to help them prepare for a successful future. You can bid on a whole home renovation worth $40,000. To place your bid, go to the Kansas City Chiefs website or windowskc.com. The bidding starts at $15,000. The auction will close on July 27th, and it's so easy to register. The renovation package includes windows, exterior wrapped, insulated siding, gutters, doors, and much more. Every penny of the proceeds go to Action for Autism. You can make a donation. If you choose not to submit a bid, all you need to do is go to windowskc.com for all the details. 1 out of 68 children born today are diagnosed with autism, and you can make a difference in these kids' lives by making a bid or a donation at windowskc.com today.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Diamonds Direct's Midsummer Savings Event is happening right now. With an extra 20% savings, an expanded selection, and in-store designer appearances. Take an extraordinary 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and thousands of engagement ring mountings. Meet the designers who've flown in with all new collections for the summer. The best savings, the best selection, the best value. Don't miss this once-a-year jewelry shopping event. Get details, showroom hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
There's no hiding from Bluebell Monster Cookie Dough Ice Cream. Creamy vanilla ice cream, peanut butter monster cookie dough, brown sugar, candy-coated chocolate, and dark chocolate flavored chunks. A taste so good, you'll need a bigger bowl.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your favorite grocer. If you can't find it, please ask for it.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich, Dave's Single, and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty. Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Miss anything while you were at work? Every show is available on demand at 610sports.com and the Odyssey app. 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City. WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on What's Trending, Royals in action. Tonight they open up a series against the Detroit Tigers. 7:10 first pitch. Vern's on deck show at 6 o'clock. And Jordan Lyles on the bump looking for win number 2. I need 5 more wins from Jordan Lyles.
Desperately need a win on this one if we're getting to 6 wins, by the way.
I will,
desperately
for
need
sure.
one.
I will be on Vern's pregame show, handing out a couple bets this evening. Just got a text from our guy, Vern. So,
what are you going with? Royals to win?
Maybe something that lends itself towards that. I told you I do think Lyles is going to get the win tonight, though. But I don't know if I'll make that my official Vern bet for the show or not. I might focus in more on some player props, some hits. Working on that. You'll hear that tonight during Vern's.
I'm on an
deck
absolutely
show.
dreaded losing streak to the point that I got to just choose some 10-1.
Jordan Lyles, by the way, Jordan Lyles' career 3.63 ERA against the Tigers. Okay.
Tigers stink. Whole division stinks.
Well, yes, the Tigers are 10 games under 500. But reminder, the Royals are like 40.
I was reading baseball in the second half, and it was just like, one of them was just like, one thing we're watching is just like how putrid the Central is. The AL Central. It's like we're just fascinated by how bad it is. Which, in a way, just makes the Royal season so much more frustrating.
Yeah, they could
because if you were just mediocre, you'd be in the mix.
If they were pacing for 75 wins, they would be in it till the final
5 games back.
They'd be in it till like the final week and a half of the season. But of course, they're pacing for like 56 wins or something like that.
Unfortunately. Next up on What's Trending, the deadline for the franchise tags deals comes up at 3 o'clock Central Time today. Of course, pretty much the only guys we're watching this on is the running backs.
Yeah.
It's Josh Jacobs, it's Saquon Barkley, and Tony Pollard's name, which is coming up as well. None of the 3 are currently expected to get a deal done by then. So then ask the question is, what will happen next? Will any of these guys sit out camp? Will any of these guys sit out regular season games? Will any of these guys sit out the whole damn year like Le'Veon Bell did? My answer to all 3 is probably, and hell no. Gold, no one's going to make this decision to do this. One of the most fascinating things that at least I'll give Mike Fleur credit for, if you really wanted to pull a power play, technically the way the franchise deal works, it's for just the regular season and that only. Which means for no fine at all, you could technically sit out the postseason until you had a regular season deal. And after the regular season ends, you can technically sign an extension. You could hold yourself hostage for an extension waiting into a postseason game. The problem is that would never work. You can't hold anyone hostage. Do you know since 2015, the franchise tag number for running backs has actually gone? Yeah, it's gone down by about $250,000. Quarterback has gone from like $17 million to $32 million. Offensive tackle has gone up like $13 million. It's actually gone down for running back. So I guess we're watching for this deadline, but do you expect a deal done for any of the 3? I think Saquon's the most likely. I don't think any of the 3 of them are getting a contract.
I would agree with you that Barkley is the most likely one of the bunch, but no, I don't. And it's just the leverage now with the way the CBA is written. Holding out's not even a real it's just not a thing anymore. If you show up a day late, okay, but eventually the way the fines are structured and the way the language sits, there's no real benefit to sitting out 2 weeks of training camp. Like it's just it's the way the fines are set up. It's not like you used to be able to just get the money back or the team wouldn't enforce it. That's not really what goes on anymore. It's not beneficial at all to sit out. So no, I expect those guys. Maybe they missed the first day or something to prove a point, but that's about it. Next up on What's Trending, thinking of the NFL Hard Knocks, we already know it's going to be the Jets. Now we know the day it will debut on HBO or on Max. Hard Knocks, Tuesday, August the 8th, featuring the Jets. And the tickets for the Jets' first 4 open training camp practices sold out this morning in 3 minutes. 5 more practices going to be made available in the coming days. Not surprised at all. There's all kinds of hype around the Jets. Be interested to see what's actually shown. We know the editorial control and what's shown is pretty ridiculous at this point in time with Hard Knocks. But, of course, I'm addicted to football, so I will still watch the first episode, and we'll decide if I'm going to actually watch the full season this year.
I'm going to wait for a clip that makes it interesting before I tune into a full episode.
I'm watching the first one. Addiction is
football, definitely.
Over Chipotle?
Yes, yeah. If you think about football, between betting, between fantasy football, between my entire Sunday for X amount of months,
only
Thursday
8
night
more
football.
Sundays now, buddy.
I can't wait, man. Can't wait.
You're so close, man.
You're just such a POS during football. You just gamble, eat Chipotle, and sit on your couch.
Kind of.
No, there's no kind of. That is what you do.
Yeah. Sunday, usually, Chipotle, this is what's great because the Chiefs are always primetime or they're playing at 3:25. So noon, you kind of settle in and watch the first half on Red Zone. Then I quickly run out and get some Chipotle, or I'll rush out right before kickoff.
During the witching hour, you're going to get Chipotle in your car?
Halftime.
Oh, halftime.
No,
Okay,
no. On Sundays,
I was like, witching hour, man. 2:30, you better be locked in.
On Sunday, I usually eat Chipotle actually at the apartment. The question is whether or not I get there before the noon games. If not, I got to wait till halftime.
Eating food inside your own place.
I know, right? Because the dog, I got a routine. I'll go on a walk with the dog so that way she'll sleep during the Chiefs game. I've got this mapped out good. She now sleeps during the Chiefs game, so it's uninterrupted. It's great.
Important. He sounds like he's got it down.
Husband.
Next up,
honey, let's go run real quick, and then the Chiefs start.
Next up on what's trending, ex-Northwestern players have hired Ben Crump and a Chicago firm in a hazing lawsuit against the university. If you haven't been following the story, obviously now multiple coaches have been fired from Northwestern for what has ended up being a big issue of misconduct across the university. The way that this one's going to work is that after a 6-month investigation of the hazing allegations, it led to the former players and all these suspensions, and Pat Fitzgerald got fired. You can't be surprised that they're going to sue the university, and the university fired the guy. So it's not like you're not admitting he did all this stuff. This is the most logical settlement lawsuit of all time, Alex.
You knew at some point lawyers would get involved. Yeah, definitely did.
They should.
Definitely assumed that was going to happen. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget, we've been talking about camp this week, but we're also going to be at Kauffman Stadium on Thursday, right before the Royals take on the Tigers for a day game. That's because we'll be they're collecting new or gently used sports equipment. Let's Play Sports Equipment Drive presented by Pinnacle Bank, supporting the Urban Youth Academy here in Kansas City. And this actually goes on all the way through August as well. And you can drop off those items at the Urban Youth Academy during regular business hours. But on Thursday, you come out to the K, bring some of those items. And if you do, you're also going to get some vouchers for free view level tickets that can be redeemed online as well. But hope to see you at Kauffman Stadium. Obviously trying to help out those here in the KC area with some sports equipment. Again, it can be brand new, can be gently used. You name it. You got some old gloves still around that are in great shape, or you want to make a monetary donation, you can do that as well up on 610sports.com.
You know, my buddy from Gann Asphalt just showed up. One of their other co-owners sent me a text yesterday and said he's got a whole bunch from his daughter who play competitive softball forever. He's like, most of this stuff was never even used. Can I just give it to you? And I was like, yeah, you give it to me. I'll bring it to the K. I guess maybe I should get him those view level tickets, though, down the road. But there's so many things that people can use for this stuff. And as you know, the Urban Youth Academy, a great place to support. So if you have it, we'll be out there on Thursday. As you said, right in front of Gate D.
It's also really cool to do nice things for other people.
It feels nice. I always feel like I never understand why we stigmatize that. It'd be like, hey, that guy gave $500 to that person and he like made a video of it and he feels better about himself. I'm like, he gave $500 to the person. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if it makes him feel better about himself or makes her feel better about himself.
It doesn't even have to
Did
be
they do the
$500.
nice thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just open the door for somebody coming into Quick Trip and you'll feel better about yourself.
I got a rule about that, about distance.
There is a distance rule.
Say that again?
About opening a door for someone.
What's wrong
Happy
with
to do
opening
it.
a door?
No.
They gotta
I
be
said I've
within
got a
10
rule.
feet.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to hold it for 5 or 10 seconds. No,
Because you're making it awkward for everyone if you do that. It's got to be, 10 feet tops.
No, you can kind of sense and judge if the person's walking but is too far away where you're like, this
Or if they're not walking with some pace. You can pick it up. I'm holding this door.
So old people are out for you. I also do the sarcastic. If I hold the door open and they don't say anything, I go, huh, you're welcome.
You do that?
Oh, for sure, dude.
You're passive aggressive with it?
Very.
Okay.
Have you met me before?
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. And they'll be like, oh, sorry, man. I'm like, yeah, well, kiss it.
Dusty just causing problems at QT.
No, I love Quick Trip. They want to sponsor After Hours. They can step up anytime.
They can sponsor anything on this station. This show is a large supporter of their business model.
Anytime. I'll take, if you want me to plug
Big fan
Quick
of
Trip
QT.
all day just to get some free rollers, let's ride.
Steak and cheese, taquitos.
I like those Nashville hot chicken ones with the little sweet and sour sauce on it. Get
I
the
some of
jalapeno cheddar.
Get some of
dog.
those chocolate maple bars as well. I
Not a
can't-
chance.
Probably too many times than I should, but yeah.
Buffalo chicken grilled cheese. Order it on the little screen. Pretzel with cheese. Let's just get fat.
It's way better. It's way more enjoyable of a life.
And you get to. It's a short-lived life. You know, obesity.
Yes,
kills.
Cody reminded us last Friday when we were talking about the future of the show, and he's like, we could be doing this show 7 years from now, or you could die tomorrow. I was like, wow, damn. That's basically what he said Friday.
It's not wrong.
You're not
I mean,
promised tomorrow.
He's not. Nothing is promised. Yeah, but man, oh man, that was very bleak.
Do you
on
think
Friday.
if one of you guys died,
Oh,
I'd be the
jeez.
first option to fill in, like
My
permanently?
goodness, I love that's where your mind went right away.
Yeah, probably.
I would say probably as
We
well.
lost Alex Gold. We gained Dusty Likens.
Oh, jeez.
I think that first show back when I had to like talk about the facts that Alex died, it'd be really awkward. God, it'd just be so uncomfortable.
What's trending? Alex Gold dead at 32.
Would you want us to make a joke about it like we do
terrible thing.
everything on this show?
At that point, I wouldn't care.
Just breaking news.
Yeah. What do you have, an opinion?
Do what you got to do, man. But no, I think Dusty, I would assume Dusty. My guess is if it was the day after, Dusty would end up just hosting the show in general. I don't think you'd probably be doing the show. You'd be so emotional, Cody, you wouldn't be able to do the show the next day.
You go to Alex's funeral? No, I got a host because he's dead.
Right. What a terrible conversation we're having right now.
I would like you to make a joke of it. I would like you to do a 610 investigation. Mm-hmm. Just assume it's murder, even if it's clearly an accident.
Just do a live remote from his casket.
We'll play your Cody's best hits. We'll play your best hits.
You break into the funeral to play the worst drops I've said on this station just over the loudspeaker.
We'll have all the different types of cheeses. Don't worry that day for you.
And be like, see your friend?
That's the spread?
Don't come around. Yeah. And then we would fill all the holes that they created with cock. I feel like that'd probably be my number one at a funeral.
Your number one drop?
I mean, there's a few.
I've got some bad ones in there.
You're a fanboy. That'd probably be another one that they'd play.
Jason Brown.
No, I'm a dead
I tried to
boy.
get him on the show. You said you couldn't successfully get him on the show for Nick's final day, and then I tried.
We tried.
It went
he told Nick to basically go blank himself.
I don't know what you guys were doing. I was off that day.
I just responded with a simple note would be fine. He didn't like that.
I was at the lake, and I was scrolling through Twitter a little bit, and I saw that you sent him a tweet, and I was like, oh, no, what are you guys doing again with this Jason Brown thing? And I saw his response back. Basically, he told you and everybody at the station to F off. You guys are a bunch of bleeps, yada, yada, yada.
That's correct.
That's kind of what
he seems intelligent that he's just always using profanity as his language.
I just simply said, hey, do you want to come on? Trying to do a favor. Someone was like, why are you trying to get this guy on? I said, hey, I was trying to do a favor for my producer's last day to try to let him squash this beef. Yeah. Same thing Dusty was trying to do. And then he had said, and then he got very angry in response. And I had said, a simple no would be fine. And he's like, I did tell you no. I was like, well, you didn't tell me no. You told Dusty no.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll get back into DeAndre Hopkins choosing the Tennessee Titans, and certainly now an official member to that almost Chiefs team that we all think of. So we'll have some fun with that and the random question of the day. But the Royals post-All-Star break got after it this past weekend. They did salvage a game against Tampa, but all three pitchers actually had strong outings, and it's this, hey, you can acknowledge Alec Marsh and how he pitched, and Cole Reagan's making his Royals debut. Obviously, Brady Singer gave you 8 innings or pitched into the 8th inning the other day as well. You can acknowledge signs that, okay, maybe there's some development happening with these guys, but also, Cody, they have to do that for the rest of this season. We can't go down this road again where I get overexcited for 1 outing or 2 outings. I need Cole Reagans to do that type of performance, I don't know, 6 more times the rest of the season at least.
I think the part to be optimistic about is that they're having more success a little more consistently. Now, there's still a large inconsistency in the success market because they're really young. It's like the young hitters. People are like, why do you guys get excited about? Like, I had one guy get mad at me because I pointed out that Bobby Wood Jr. has been playing really well. By the way, he has. He has been tremendous for like 50 consecutive games. But I understand this notion because you're like, oh, he's hitting 260. Like, well, they're young players, and they have young hitters. And that's the way I'm trying to look at the pitching staff. It is in the infancy of fixing the issues they were having with development. So what I have to pitch it is not that they're all veteran pitchers, Gold, who should have it all figured out, but instead, the infancy of their restructure of the pitching development, which was clearly very flawed and flawed at best, right? And broken, ass backwards, bad at worst, right? Where they had no pitching development that was coming up and consistently performing. That's why I'll take the Cole Reagan's performance, the 12 strikeout performance from Alex Marsh, coupled with another good Brady Singer start over the weekend, and at least tell me that maybe they're capable of fixing some of their pitching flaws. Yeah, I'm not going to go over the moon and tell you Alec Marsh is a dude now.
No, it beats
the alternative. He's made 3 starts, but
that's what it is. It beats the alternative of us sitting here saying, man, he got rocked. He only pitched 3 innings, gave up 5 earned runs.
Yeah, let's bury the guy. Because after his first start, even you were like, well, this is just another one of a long list of ones that don't work.
But in fairness, because of the issues with pitching development, it's way easier to react after 2 starts, fair or not, for poor outings, be like, oh, that's probably what it is, versus the guy has 1. Because we
history
can go
goes the other way.
Plenty of examples of, a couple of years ago, people wanted to give Brad Keller an extension, and now the guy's completely lost.
I think that's a tough one to just put directly on the Royals, but yeah, he's broken.
And even Brady Singer to a certain extent, even though he's not anywhere near that level, but based off of how he ended last season, people wanted the Royals to right away give him a huge new extension. Well, he's been a little rocky this year. I think now if they end up doing it, it's going to be actually less money to get that deal done, if in fact they actually choose to do that. So,
which might be why Brady Singer waits.
Perhaps. That might be the case, but sometimes we overreact as well. Like, oh man, we just saw a glimmer of hope. We're so damn desperate, right? Understandably so. We're so desperate for some of that greatness at pitching, in particular, that we're like rushing to go and give guys contracts and what it may be. I want to see Marsh and these other guys the rest of 2023 between now and the end of September, early October. Can they be consistent? They're not going to. I'm not saying I need 10 out of 10 starts to be. No. But out of, let's say you got 10 more starts.
Yeah, that are
7.
good.
Not
average
just, oh, well,
good.
He had 3 starts. Well, okay. That's not, I need consistency.
No, but this is also what kind of makes me think still they're going to trade one of these starters that have already established that they can be good big league pitchers.
Singer's
because
the only one that to me makes a lot of sense in that
Lynch.
scenario.
But so, God, I would hate to trade Lynch. But that's all just because I'm fully bought in on him, so it's different. But when you look at them, think about how many options they'll have at starting pitcher next year. This is also the good thing. Are any of them aces in the hole? We are good to go? No, Alex. And do we wish that they had 5 guys that you're like, there is no damn doubt in anyone's brain ever these are the 5 starters? Yeah, that'd be better. But they only had 6 choices this year, and one of them is the guy who's starting tonight, Jordan Lyles, who's now 1-11. And Ryan Yarbrough was getting some starts early in the season, then he got hit, and they were barreling towards the end of not really having many options after Bubic and these guys went down. Now, next year, if they keep everyone, they'll have Singer and Bubic and Lynch, the same as they've had before. They will have the choice of a veteran starter like Zach Greinke again. They will have Jordan Lyles as an option. They don't have to, but he'll have an option.
Will Bubic even be available for the first month or so of the season?
He got hurt. Yeah, probably
early
right
May,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Or was it April?
Yeah, maybe he won't be quite available.
Either way, I know what you're saying.
But then Cole Reagans and Alec Marsh and anybody else who might come up. They've got a few more options. And honestly, yeah, I'm not going to write home about it, but seeing an entire weekend where the starting pitching actually mattered a little bit, someone's going to be like, they were 1-2. I get it. But they were in all 3 games. You know why they were in the games? Because the pitchers actually pitched well. And get just blown out.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have numbers. The question is, what's the quality like? I mean, right now, if Bubic wasn't ready, you would say, okay, Cole Reagans, Brady Singer, Daniel Lynch, Jordan Lyles, and Alec Marsh might be your 5-man rotation to start the season next year. There's a chance of that.
Yeah, I would say there's a decent chance. But
I think if you're asking, like, if Singer's still on the team, obviously Singer's a lock. I think Reagans will end up being a lock by the time and be in that position.
Why Reagans already?
I just think based off the trade that they made,
he's never pitched more than 40 innings.
Yeah, but I think they view him as a starter, and so that means he's going to be. If you look at the control that they have, to me, he's not going to be somebody that is not in the rotation next year.
I mean he's made 10 career starts. Look, I'd rather start Reagans than Lyles. You got some history on Lyles and and obviously we're rooting for Lyles, and I want him to get the wins.
Needs to get to 6 wins. I need 5 more. 5 more starting tonight.
But I just think when we're looking at how the rotation's going to fill out, you might as well take the chance with the young guys.
Sure.
Take the chance with the young arms and see where that takes you instead. I'm hoping that this isn't just fruitful exercise of, hey, a little glimmer of hope. We'll probably check back in on this in a couple of weeks.
We'll get to DeAndre Hopkins going to the Tennessee Titans coming up in about 10 minutes or so. Quarterback continues to be the #1 show on Netflix. We're going through a couple episodes every show, obviously the weekend, so we'll take a look at episode 3 and 4. You're caught up, at least with those.
I'm that far.
Dusty and I have watched all 8 of them, but we don't want to spoil it for some people that were worried about that. We're going to talk about episode 3 and 4 today. I told you, I thought episode 3, the Kings of Pain episode, other than episode 8, which is...
Is it because it was the most football action? There was a lot of football in
Well,
that.
that's episode...
People
that's a lot
getting hit,
of it, because
people getting recovering.
Episode 8, which you'll watch later, is basically the Super Bowl. So that's why that one's up there. But yeah, episode 3, I think it's that, and it was way more football, but also you can appreciate, which we kind of know from afar, but appreciate truly, like, all right, you take all these hits on Sunday, you're sore as hell, you're miserable, and then as Kirk Cousins even lays out in the episode, like, Monday or Tuesday, you're like, how am I going to play on Sunday? And then by the time you get to Friday, you're like, all right, because of the work that they put in and the training staff, Kirk Cousins, like a lot of players, has people coming over to his house aside from the team to try to help stretch out and work out some tightness in areas and things like that, just to be ready to play. And then you get all it takes is one more shot on the ribs on Sunday, and he's like he knows he's screwed for the rest of the game. He's going to have to be miserable.
He did not take that pain well, but I can't say I would. So I was thinking about being judgmental about that, and then I'm like, nah, I would crumple.
How's he supposed to take the pain?
I would crumple and die. He's like, well, like he handled it kind of like a little bitch. When somebody, look, when he did, Dusty, come on. When we're watching the episode and they're like, hey, man, you okay? He's like, no, I'm hurt.
That's not how he said it.
That is how he said it.
Also, Mahomes, when he's talking about his ankle, he's I
didn't see that episode yet.
Okay. Because Mahomes, by the way, anybody that's in pain, nobody. You kind of are. You are.
I thought Kirk was great in pain because that's exactly how I'd have been. Like,
Mahomes does the same.
I told you, I was thinking about being more judgmental. I'm like, God, I would handle it so much worse.
Oh, dude, getting the wind knocked out of you by a 300-pound lineman.
Mahomes does the same thing with the ankle injury. You'll hear him later on in episodes mic'd up, and you can hear him like wincing and obviously like in the same type of thing. I mean, it's how we react when we're in pain, let alone an NFL player when you're talking about, serious. We're not just talking about you stepping on a damn Lego from your child, which that'll hurt.
I go to anger. I go to anger on those.
You've never you kick a fat kid at Kmart if you step on a Lego.
Imagine if you've already in week 5 had bruised ribs, and then you have a full speed, a 300-pound lineman drill you with their helmet right in your ribs. Yeah,
and then you're landing on your ribs on a hard field.
You're upset that he got up and was walking. Your ass would still be on the ground. They'd have to drag you off.
I got no argument in that. I already told you, I'd probably
He's
be
not
dead.
comparing his strength to Kirk Cousins. He just doesn't like people who do snake oil and mind tests.
Yeah, dude, some of that stuff is like
it's just Kings of Pain and
classic rich guy stuff.
The mind game episode, he's trying to find an edge, and in his mind, he has to be, because physically he's not at the level of Mahomes, so he has to be as sharp as possible. And he believes, even if it is truly just even if it is phoning like you're saying, but if he actually believes that he's more confident in calling the plays because of that, then that's all you need.
But why is he doing it in his car?
Did you? I don't know, man. That was
really
weird.
So many hours, only so many hours in the day, man. You got to work.
He has a mansion and a basement. He has his own private trophy room.
He has kids.
Did anybody else think it was weird? So, like, one, it was a good reminder
he
that
has two. I think.
Oh, he has two.
I think he has two.
That Vikings Bills game was incredible. I kind of forgot how great that game was. But then they did the play call, and he yelled quarterback sneak while calling the play. That doesn't seem like a good idea to me. He was calling, he's like, quarterback sneak. You're like, you can't just yell that out.
It sounded
loud.
louder. It was at Buffalo. People were screaming. Dude,
you don't think that they heard that?
No chance. Dude, guys can barely hear each other in the huddles sometimes. You think the defenders
I was
heard
a
him
little
say
concerned
QB
about
sneak?
why he was just yelling QB sneak out there.
Mic'd up. He's
Do you think we'll ever see a Mahomes QB sneak again?
No.
I should run under that as like
ridiculous.
0.5. Like, do you think we ever get one?
I think as long as Andy's the head coach, probably not. But if it was with Andy, it would have to be in the Super Bowl. That's it.
No one's going to see that coming.
No.
Just let it happen once. Because the one time he did it, he separated his knee.
I also don't think
I was at that game, by the way.
As much as I kind of agree with you, they've won a championship without having to do a QB. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, man, they can't, unless they do QB sneaks, this team is just not going to get to where they need to be.
You don't trust Creed just blowing somebody up when it comes to Patrick Mahomes.
No, it's just like,
friend.
just because you're successful in something, you'll be like, why wouldn't you do it the easier way? Like, there's an easier way. You don't have to.
I don't think Andy's doing it. Again, maybe a Super Bowl appearance. Otherwise,
I feel like
it'll
next
be after
Super Bowl
Andy.
appearance, they're going to put Chris Jones back there and let him just doze through there. That man deserves a touchdown so bad.
Just one in his career. Just one.
That's all he wants.
NFL
He just wants
touchdown.
one touchdown or a throwing touchdown.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
all he
He
wants.
deserves a shot.
If they can run Hungry Pig right with Dontari Poe.
It was, yeah.
Or whatever that play was called.
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah.
How disgraceful.
That was the other thing in one of the episodes, kind of what we knew, but we already knew as local media, but they highlighted the Wednesdays of practice where he lets the players be creative and come up with their own plays.
Yeah, because we already knew the Mahomes shovel was a play that he had come up with. Like, some of this is not being revealed to us the first time, so we kind of understand how Andy operates in that, which is a good thing, because you might as well trust your players to be creative, and it keeps it from getting boring.
It's also interesting that those two weird minds that are so talented at figuring out plays come up with one, and then the other one tries to tinker it to make it better. Like, Reed will come up with a play, and then Mahomes is like, well, actually, what if we try this? And then it's just like, all right, that's just going to happen. It's going to be wide open, and they just know it's going to happen.
There'll be something week 1, Thursday night against the Lions that we've never seen, and then by week 5, everybody in the NFL is running it.
That's every year.
It happens every year, yeah.
Remember the Kareem Hunt play, the wheel round running back, and then it was the next day, the next week, 2 teams that ran that same play. Copycat league.
Yeah, that underhand throw people still use near the goal line.
Absolutely. College teams did it. You know what I mean? Everybody watches film of everybody. They got people watching.
I hope he dunks on somebody again.
Oh, goes Air Mahomes.
I wish they didn't.
Goes Air Mahomes.
They win that game. It's like the Grim Reaper. It's a much cooler lifetime moment if they win the game.
Getting that photoshopped in your man cave.
It ruins it. It means having that photo framed. It's a tough
But
sell.
they won the Super Bowl in the same year, so it's off.
Yeah, that's
Come on,
better.
you have to admit. They won the Super Bowl that year, so that play gets to live better than Grim Reaper does.
That's true. That's true. All right, coming up next, though, the almost Chiefs team has a new member. We'll get to that here on Cody and Gold.
Cody and Gold, live from the Chiefs practice field this summer. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If finding great hires is burning through your summer hours, then you need Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Hire fast by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Over $1,000 a month. That's how much Cap One lending customers are saving on average with the interest reduction loan. Access up to 100% of your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, make home improvements, or take that much-needed cash out. Call Cap One Lending and enjoy no payments until fall. 816-905-1111. That's 905-1111. Or apply at CapOneLending.com. Stop wasting your hard-earned money on high-interest debt. With one simple phone call, you can start saving thousands every month. Enjoy no out-of-pocket closing costs and no payments until fall. Call now, 816-905-1111. That's 905-1111. Or apply at CapOneLending.com.
Cap One Lending, making your dreams a reality is what we do.
Cap One Lending, a Kansas licensed mortgage company, license number MC0026341, NMLS Missouri license 2468614. Programs and rates subject to change without notice.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Well, that was fun. And who says we don't get hurricanes in KC? That storm that blew through last week had Category 1 hurricane winds. And now, here come all the hail-chasing roofers. But there was no hail. And inspecting a roof for wind damage is a lot different than inspecting for hail damage. Unlike hail's dings and dents, wind damage likes to hide until the next storm when your roof leaks. That is exactly why you need to call JR & Company. With years of hurricane experience in Florida, locally owned JR & Company knows how to find the wind damage that others might miss. And they know how to deal with insurance adjusters on wind claims. As always, our inspection and your peace of mind are free at jrroofcheck.com.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Visit jrroofcheck.com.
What does it mean to be the official information technology provider for the Chiefs? Everything. Technology Group Solutions makes sure everything runs flawlessly for the millions of fans that attend games and the hundreds of millions of fans that comprise Chiefs Kingdom around the world. Technology Group Solutions can deploy that same dedication, problem solving, and incredible service to ensure your business runs smoothly all day, every day, just like your Chiefs. Technology Group Solutions, powering Chiefs Kingdom and ready to do the same for you.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Yo, Biff, this one still needs to be vacuumed.
The service at Chuck's car detailing business is spotless. But new word-of-mouth recommendations leave him short of hands.
They don't have an appointment? Just get him in line behind the pickup truck. I'll stay for another couple hours and get it done tonight.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
To start the season, spray away stress. Get rid of grime. Clear the nerves. Do away with dirt and doubt. And lose the germs. For less worry and more wins. When you get to a clean slate, the possibilities are endless. Clorox. Start clean. Always use products as directed.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
This report is brought to you by KC Customs. We put the customs in KC. KC-Customs.com.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit GetJim.com.
Want a new truck, Jeep, or SUV, but don't want a new payment? Then come by KC Customs. We'll turn your boring ride into one that turns heads and breaks necks. Set yourself apart from the crowd. Go to KC Customs. We put the customs in KC.
All right, back here, Cody and Gold. We'll get to the random question of the day, about 8 minutes or so. Also, two players that everybody's talking up in the NFL, and it sounds like maybe you and I both aren't sold on either.
I don't understand.
One more than the other.
Justin Ross. I'm a little confused about the hype.
Yeah, not Chiefs players.
New goal. Have Justin. I want Justin Ross to be one of the guests on this show at training.
So do I. Absolutely.
I'll be honest with him. Be like, look, man, just a lot of hype.
Yeah, like
this is a lot of hype.
Club 610.
I do want to ask him, like, honestly, like, you see all the social media love. Like, what do you make of that? You haven't played in an NFL game with this team yet, but people are hyping you up.
Wait, has he played in an NFL game? One? Not with this team.
No.
Has he played in an NFL football
John Ross has, but not Justin Ross. The Ross eye.
John Ross, one pick ahead of Mahomes. Dynamite selection.
That's right.
I love it.
Could be this team's 6th or 7th wide receiver.
I think that'll go down as like the worst trade in Buffalo history.
Yes. And they got Josh Allen a couple years later, but yes.
The next year.
Or no, they didn't trade him. It was Cincy who traded it.
Yeah.
Yes, that will go down as every team. We went through it not that long ago. Every team picking in the top 10 could have made an argument that they needed a quarterback, and yet they let the Chiefs get Patrick Mahomes at 10 instead. Every other team was in a position where it's like, well, we have Blake Bortles, and you're like, you should have seen through that. We all knew. That wasn't going to last, and they took Leonard Fournette. You're like, no.
Yeah,
why would you do that?
There's so many examples. I mean, heck, the Commanders a couple years ago could have had Herbert or Tua. Instead, they drafted Chase Young. I think that was the right year. And Chase Young's been a great player.
Soon to be chief.
To me, it's always when, like, we know where you are at quarterback-wise, and you're just lying to yourself about it. So if you know you're in a position you need to upgrade the quarterback, and you're picking in the top 10 of the NFL draft, let me help you out. Just go and take a quarterback.
Yeah, it's like taking Todd Blackledge.
So we'll get to two names that keep coming up in the NFL after the random question of the day. But we know DeAndre Hopkins signed a 2-year, $26 million deal with the Tennessee Titans. The long offseason speculation of D-Hop to the Chiefs is officially over, but he goes on a long list of an almost Chiefs team. There's some big-time names on there. Every offseason, every couple years, there's a huge name, and you think it's very close to happening. He's on this list now. DeAndre Hopkins goes to the almost Chiefs team, but there's the very first name that comes to mind, 913-586-7610. See what you guys think. The very first name, and I think he is the founding
number one with a bullet?
member almost.
Mount Rushmore?
Yeah. Earl Thomas, because that damn thing was going to happen. That thing was going to happen. Earl Thomas.
You sure it's not Emmanuel Sanders, who
Earl
I think
Thomas-
had agreed to a contract?
No, he was here to get ready to sign it, and then Peyton went
and then he went to Denver when he made the right decision. Earl Thomas, though, to me, Earl Thomas was going to get traded to the Chiefs. You can't convince me otherwise. He suffers a season-ending injury, gets carted off, and flips off the Seahawks sideline.
Yeah, I remember that.
That moment, that's why he's the founding member for me. He absolutely would be the starting safety on the almost Chiefs team. Not even close.
Oh, I mean, he's on the team. Emmanuel Sanders is.
That's a good answer too.
I mean,
yeah.
there's just almost no question. He would have to be in consideration for it because.
Yeah.
I mean, he was gonna be on the team. He's so last minute changed his mind on that front.
I think Patrick Peterson's another one. How many off
I was big for the
seasons?
previous midday show. They were big on trying to get, and Patrick Peterson did get mentioned around here quite a bit.
Yeah.
I would think that's not bad.
That's a name that comes to mind quite a bit. Yeah, Patrick Peterson is like a guy that the Chiefs seemingly were very, very interested in.
Weirdly enough, lately, half of it is just like former Kansas City Chiefs. It's just like people constantly mentioning the guy, like Justin Houston. Like, of the people that, like, if we just rank this as fans versus
But he was on the
almost
team
actually
the
got
second
here.
time. I mean, he was on the
Yes.
team once before, so I can't say you're an almost Chief, but I get what you're saying.
I'm trying to think about who else am I missing?
Well, if you want to include draft stuff, everybody thought the Chiefs were drafting Paxton Lynch. Like, thank God they didn't.
Yeah.
Thank you, Denver.
Paxton Lynch. I'm pretty sure they were going to take Paxton Lynch. Thank God.
And by the way, I'll admit, at the time, I would have been fine with the pick. Going like hindsight's obviously different, but at the time.
Well, yeah, if you could go back in time, you would clearly let it to. Someone said Jadeveon Clowney on Twitch because he's like the one Chiefs fans just mentioned.
A couple years ago, for sure.
Incessantly, Jadeveon Clowney. What about Odell Beckham? He get any honorable mention here?
He was close.
Come on, they're sending him. They're texting him pictures of the championship trophy.
No, that was Juju.
Oh, that was Juju.
And Juju ended up coming. He would have been on that list if he didn't end up signing with
Odell.
the Chiefs.
But Odell, they were seriously pursuing. He's got to be somewhere in this conversation, right?
I think
Odell. There was a little place here.
I think he's on there. Trent Williams, because before they traded for Orlando Brown Jr., I mean, the Chiefs had a very competitive offer, and Trent Williams was clearly their plan A that offseason and ended up staying with the Niners for more money, and then the Chiefs pivoted and traded for Orlando Brown Jr. But I think Trent Williams probably is a member of the starting left tackle of the almost Chiefs all-time team.
God, do we need a running back still? What position are we missing here?
Who would be the running back ones, though?
Trying to remember. I don't remember them ever pursuing running backs.
I mean, Bell ended up signing here.
Here's the problem. You know why they don't need an all? They're
Dalvin. Yeah,
they've been
He's
great
still a
at,
free agent.
Yeah, but there's no noise there at all.
they've been great at running back forever. It was Larry Johnson and Priest Holmes and Kareem Hunt and Jamal Charles. Like, when's the last time the Chiefs were bad at running back?
And Marcus Allen.
They've been pretty good at that position, it turns out.
Christian
They've never
Okoye.
really had to really pursue anybody at that
He's a big
position.
Kimball Anders guy.
Out of all those names, Chiefs Hall of Famer, out of all those names,
Nice.
doesn't it also tell you why you don't draft running backs in certain spots or give them big contracts? How many of those guys you named were actually Priest Holmes was a free agent guy that they signed? Obviously, when you look at just where they're at right now, Isaiah Pacheco was a late round,
7th round pick
draft pick
out of Rutgers.
That's right.
Left early.
This
Worked
is now
out.
the second
Scarlet
time.
Knights.
This happened last week as well. Someone is like really obsessed with. There's a Patriots airplane at KCI. This is now the second
Last
time
week. Been there for
somebody
last
has
week.
brought it. Is okay.
It's not just so it has the Patriots wrapping on it, but it can be used for other things. They can charter it out. You remember the story? Robert Kraft helped a football team that had
Remember,
an
we went to a
issue.
massage parlor on a plane.
Well,
different thing.
And flew back for the game.
But that was not on the charter plane. That was on a private jet. I'm guessing.
2-minute man, I guess.
No, but he helped. Who was it? A basketball team or no? It was the Virginia football team. That had some players that unfortunately passed away this past year.
You're right.
And he flew the whole team to a funeral or something like that. He let them use their plane. What I'm saying is, I think there's other uses besides just transporting the New England Patriots on that.
Did Peyton Manning, was he ever actually considering the Chiefs, or is that just something Chiefs
that's
fans
great.
wanted?
That's a great.
He was,
no,
but
that's
he
a
said
great
he
name.
wouldn't do it because Pioli was here. Pioli was here.
Cody, that's a great pull.
So Peyton Manning's the QB then.
That's the answer for the almost. That was an offseason where people, and including myself, were all in on Peyton Manning and really thought it was going to happen. And that was kind of like a devastating one at the time. And then, of course, he ends up winning a Super Bowl.
And there
with the
was maybe
Broncos.
some speculation or rumor that he was kind of considerate, but since Scott Pioli was the GM, he was out. At least that's what I remember from the
I
story.
feel like I got to be honest. I think Peyton might have had that pegged.
Well, he won a Super Bowl in Denver with a historically great
So
defense.
did Emmanuel Sanders. They all made the right choice
did.
there. It sucks.
And
but
that's the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs, was when Peyton Manning was their quarterback.
That's right.
they've
It's
won
been
a
that
Super
long.
Bowl more recently than they've beaten the Chiefs. And that franchise has seemed destitute since that moment.
Well, put all your chips in one basket for 3.5 years and then lose it all away.
This is why the Jets aren't a long-term problem for the Chiefs. They're only a problem for the Chiefs for the next couple of years. Unless they happen to nail quarterback in the draft for the first time in, I don't know, ever. They've never even had a 4,000-yard passer. Do you know how hard that is? In the modern NFL, to not have a single guy just manage to get 4,000 yards in the air.
You better cite that stat for another 4 or 5 months because you won't be able to ever cite that again.
You think
Unless he gets
Rodgers is
hurt.
going 4,000?
Yeah, he'll throw for 4.
Has he ever not in the last decade?
You think he's actually going to play against Mahomes this year? Like the one chance we're actually going to finally get was
Hopefully,
at week 5?
We've been waiting, man. I think so. I think it's finally going to happen. But yeah, he's going to throw for 4,000.
Rodgers didn't have 4,000 last year.
Yeah, but he was hurt. As long as if he's healthy, he's throwing for 4 without a problem.
By the way, Priest Holmes probably has like the greatest Wally Pipp story twice, right?
True.
Like was the number one guy in Texas, goes down, Ricky Williams, because one of the greatest college football running backs we've ever seen, goes to Baltimore, gets hurt, Jamal Lewis runs for 2,000 yards. Thank you. Like becomes a Chief, and he's like one of the greatest running backs
I
in
love
franchise
watching
history.
him run, man. And he also had a hell of an offensive line, but he was so patient as a runner. But that offensive line was
And his
absolutely
biceps
absurd.
were massive.
He was a
I
strong
remember I worked
guy.
at Price Chopper, and he came in one day as like I was a cashier, one of the best it's ever been. That's not me saying
You were
that.
one of the best cashiers
That's what
that's
they
ever
said.
been?
Yeah.
That's what they said when you left?
Mm-hmm. He came in
I got a plaque? Or
No, I
It
quit.
says
I
one of
walked
the
out
best.
on my shift.
Oh, I worked at a grocery store as well. I didn't have a plaque that said I was one of the best.
I didn't have a
cashiers ever.
plaque. I do have a plaque of Lee Summit Sportsman of the Year.
You do. You are the now you're not the current one.
No, it's Aaron Ladd.
Aaron Ladd
of
is.
41 KSHB News.
Oh, wow. You got Wally pipped by Ladd?
That's
well,
fun.
every year, in fairness, they give out.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless you're really, really good at it, then they'll like keep you back. But shout out Fred Liggett.
Wait, is he from Lee Summit?
Who, Ladd?
Yeah, I was
he's
confused
from
with
Atlanta.
no, but he didn't even live in Lee Summit, so I'm
So how the hell is
confused. How did he get the Lee Summit
You're
one?
from Lee Summit.
But I
You
did
live
it
in Lee
last year.
Summit.
You can't just let me do it every year.
No, but
it's gotta be fair.
You live in Lee Summit. Like Cody, they're not going to give Cody the
Aaron Ladd doesn't live in Lee Summit. I don't think I should get to be up for Lee Summit Awards.
Maybe it's time to spread some culture and let people know who Aaron Ladd is.
It'd be weird if Cody
Great
or
guy.
I were the Lee Summit. Or we're like, neither one of us has ever lived in Lee Summit.
You could stay a weekend at my crib. You'd have a lot of fun. Shout out to
downtown Lee
Sharkies
Summit.
and,
No,
and
there's
Stewie
a couple
McBrews.
good spots in downtown Lee
Great
Summit. Nothing
spots.
against Lee
I went
Summit
to
at
some
all.
speakeasy down there a couple
There's
weeks
W?
back.
Did you go
Yeah.
to W? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
that
Cool
place is dope.
libation place downtown Lee
Libation
Summit.
is awesome. They have a 1909 room upstairs you can rent out with like a bunch of your friends. I
My
think I want to do that for
my
my
barber
birthday.
is in downtown Lee Summit. So I've been there. Yeah.
You go to get your haircut in downtown Lee Summit?
Yeah, she used to be at a
So
place
Alex
nearby.
Colt, Sportsman of the Year. He
used to be near. She used to
gets his
do it out
haircut
here.
down there.
I actually haven't driven out there for my haircut in a couple months, but I did for a few months.
Looks like you need a haircut.
Sounds like you're bailing. Sounds like you're
neck
bailing.
needs to be cleaned
Just admit it. You're bailing on this barber.
Well,
It's
I haven't
over.
gone in a couple months because it's a
Yeah.
drive. It's a drive, man.
Yeah, you're
It's a
bailing.
drive.
But if
You're-
you love
you're
your
quitting.
barber, I go
She
to
does a
Blue
great job.
Springs.
I'll go back at some point. It's not worth the drive
That's
right
over.
now.
That's over.
I drive 25 minutes to get my haircut at Courtney
Her
Brothers in
husband
Blue
listens to the
Springs.
show. Okay, husband listens to the show as well.
What does that mean?
I'm just saying.
means he doesn't want to admit on the air that he's quit.
No,
He's
I want to
quit
be
on
like Cody's trying to just end it right there.
I think you are ending it.
Yeah.
You just don't want to admit it yet.
No.
It's
You're just
over.
being-
It's like a relationship that's over. You just don't want to admit
Yeah,
it.
you're just being slime right now.
No.
Somebody says the Broncos
The
haven't been
haircut's
good.
better out there anyway.
Somebody says the Broncos haven't beat the Chiefs since Caitlyn Jenner was Bruce Jenner.
That's another way to put it, I guess.
Has that been that long?
I don't know what that was. I wasn't keeping track, believe it or not.
I didn't look at the date.
I wasn't keeping track.
Remember how Brett Favre applauded for her when she won the ESPY?
I don't remember.
You should look it up. It's pretty funny.
I don't remember.
South Park made fun of it.
Oh, really?
Of Brett Favre. It's
How's
like-
Brett Favre doing with scamming people these days? What's the latest with that?
Well,
allegedly,
it's still millions.
It's kind of disappeared a little bit.
I don't
but
know
yeah.
if that whole thing, that alleged scamming.
About a 180 of a career, man.
Yeah, he's not winning a lot of people over in the state.
Like he went from like everybody's favorite quarterback to like.
Turns
where
out he
we're at
kind of
now.
sucked. Well, I mean, in fairness, he really started that when he started sending pictures of his penis to people. So
Jen Sturger, shout out.
I think that really
Yeah.
started the.
Is that when he sent the
Maybe
picture?
Brett Favre isn't that good of a dude.
Isn't it weird they identified Brett Favre on that picture because he had a mole on his penis and he was wearing Crocs that his wife bought him?
Goodness.
What? That's how they identify.
I love how
him.
you remember that detail, Dusty.
I did not remember.
Are you not surprised?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay,
Let's get to the random question of the day.
Random question.
Do you have a mole on your penis? That's really the random
Hold on,
question.
let me check. Nope.
That's not the real random
Wait, that's
question.
not a mole. What is that?
Oh my goodness.
Hopefully it's a mosquito bite.
Jeez.
Better go to the doctor. 913-586-7610. For you, Gold. For you, Dusty. Over on the text line, 913-586-7610. I got now the text line's pointing out some other 180s. And
Well, they reference Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah,
Is it a 540?
Well, that's if you actually watch the documentary, he kind of was that back in college as well.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
dude.
not really. I don't know.
aren't they putting out one on that University of Miami team? Like a 30 for 30?
Florida?
Yeah.
Florida team, yeah.
Dude, Urban Meyer, Aaron Hernandez, Tim Tebow. There's like a
Cam
million.
Newton, Percy Harvin.
Dude, a million storylines out of
The
that
Pouncey
school.
Bros.
I think they are. I think, yeah, the Pouncey brothers have gotten all that trouble for a while there, too.
Well, they were the ones that said free Aaron Hernandez as soon as he got arrested. It's like, what in the F? Like,
probably looking stupid there now.
do you remember how Aaron Hernandez was caught? How they put the two together? There was bubble gum at the crime scene, and there was a joint that was thrown out, and they matched the saliva to Aaron Hernandez. Because I don't believe they ever found the gun.
That's a tough way to get busted.
Gum. Or dumb ways to go.
Yeah,
or just
turns out
don't murder
criminals.
people.
Or,
Yeah.
or just be that gangster
I've
that
been
you throw
sticking
your
with that
joint
plan.
and gum out.
Yeah.
The don't murder people plan. It seems to be working really well for
Then
me.
you don't
on
have to
the
worry
staying
about
out of
where
jail.
you're chewing gum.
Don't kill people, and you'll
Yeah,
live a
no.
prosperous life.
Spit out your gum and nobody's
No,
gonna.
you can throw out your gum wherever you want as long as you're not murdering people. Okay.
Or don't throw the joint out that's right next to the guy that you just,
Really,
executed.
just general rule of thumb for the whole murder thing is don't leave evidence of really any kind if you can.
Jeez.
But to start it
DNA
off
evidence.
at a small note, don't kill people.
That's right.
Yeah, just a
And
good
you'll be
start.
okay.
That's right. That's the advice.
The
of the
real,
day.
the
Unless
real,
you're O.J. Simpson.
the real random question of the day I had today is: are you interested in this idea over at the Athletic? Jason Stark spoke to multiple Major League Baseball former stars who are interested in an idea that is gaining steam for a Legends Home Run Derby.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Ken Griffey Jr., Albert Pujols, Jim Tomei, David Ortiz, all said in this article with Jason Stark, sounds like fun. If they're all in, we're in. Could be a cool idea. Could be fun. Would you be interested in watching it if it's on? But do you think it'd be entertaining? Like, do you think they'd hit enough home runs
So
to
you do it-
justify the ends?
You do it for charity, obviously. I would watch. Yeah. How many they would hit? I think you would have to have some revised rules.
Like shorten?
You can't have the same format as you do for the regular home run derby. We see how taxing that can be for the 24-year-old slugger. So the 45-year-old or 53-year-old that's trying to do it, I'm not saying Ken Griffey Jr. could definitely hit some out of the park still. No doubt in my mind.
I
No
mean,
doubt.
he's what? He's not that old.
No
I
doubt
imagine
in
he could
my-
still slug some over the fence.
That's what I'm saying. No doubt in
that
my
swing
mind.
doesn't go away.
Yeah. I think it would be if Ken Griffey Jr. is 53 years old. They
And
better do this. They better do this soon. Yeah, he's not in the best shape anymore. They better do this soon. Some of those names you mentioned, that needs to happen like
Dude,
next
Albert
year.
Pujols just quit. I mean, he could still.
Yeah,
hit
but
some
he
home
might
runs.
already be 55. We don't know.
Well, he did lie about his age somewhere along the way. But couldn't you just do 5 outs and then come back and you do the other 5 outs? Maybe don't do it all in one stretch.
That's going to take 9 hours.
No. Same amount of outs as it was before. You just spread them out so that they're not getting worn
When
out.
Pujols was in his prime and did home run derby, it took 3 hours just for him to hit.
No, he
It
did watch a
sucked.
lot of
It
pitches
was
go
terrible,
by.
dude.
It was a lot of pitches.
No,
Here's
I
a-
would be interested in watching this. Though.
I would only be interested if they got to use a metal bat.
Oh, well, they should do that.
Well, then
anyway.
they got to get the kids off the damn field.
Well, that
Well,
should
they've
already
been-
happen.
they've been
anyway.
They're going to
do
let
that
Ken
for a
Griffey
while.
Jr.
We honestly don't need kids shagging the fly balls out there after that kid got hit in the head. That's terrible.
Is he okay?
There's some photo that came
It's
out.
his fault. He had a glove. You signed up for your job.
I mean, come
If
on,
you
man.
sign up to be in a war and you get shot, it is what it is.
What if we just let them hit it a shorter distance? Can't you just put them a little closer?
Then that
it
becomes
feels
less
cheating.
interesting. That seems
Then
less
it actually
interesting
feels
at
like
that
we're
point.
like, oh, look at the. I
Then
mean,
it's just like I'm watching John Knox Village.
Yeah, senior
Yeah.
citizens are hitting
Yeah.
baseballs.
I'm good.
Yeah, it doesn't
Give
feel
them
as
metal
good.
bats and juice them all up.
Yeah, McGuire, Sosa, Griffey, Bonds. Let's go.
I'd be almost more entertained
I
if
know
you just.
Bonds could still rake.
All right, so I'll give you 2 options of a televised event. You tell me which one would be more entertaining.
Brett
It's
Favre?
that. Hold on. No. It's either this version of it, right, where they do home run derby. They got to shorten some of the time limits, but it's like, it's Griffey and all these guys trying to hit out home runs. Or they televise where they put Ken Griffey Jr. and these other guys in a slow pitch softball tournament and just let them absolutely rake against some just dudes. Just some random dudes.
I don't want that.
I don't want that either. Give me the home run derby.
You're just going to put them in a Savannah Bananas game and see if they can rake?
I just like the idea of like some guy like you, Dusty, digging into third, waiting for this pitch to come in. You're like, oh my God, please don't kill me.
Yeah,
You're practically playing him
again. I wouldn't sign up for that because I'd be like, you know what? If Bonds does get a hold of one and I'm on first base waiting to go, I'm dead.
I mean, it would
he almost killed Tommy Lasorda.
Someone's right. Like seeing King Griffey smashing home runs again would be pretty.
It'd be
cool.
fun.
I mean, I was pretty young at the time, but like I remember playing King Griffey Jr. baseball and a video game, and like that, like you said, the swing is incredible. He's put on a few pounds though. We just saw him throw out that first pitch.
He was on Team USA as like a mentor coach.
Yeah,
and he took BP and was slugging bombs.
Look, you could still, and here's the other thing.
I saw
you know
him
one
play
way
like
they could
twice.
juke it. You know one way they could juke it, and you'd never know. They could just make the baseballs juiced.
Okay, that's
or
fine.
they can juice the athletes.
And we'd never know. You just give mandatory steroids.
Yeah, dude. Just hey, take this real quick again. But it was illegal. Well, you're not a player anymore. Just get juiced up.
You all have to agree to take Andro for like 6 months, and then you can come out here and hit some homers again.
Was it Frank Thomas that was the one that was selling the testosterone or whatever?
I think
Frank
so.
Thomas.
Yeah, Nugenics.
The Big Hurt.
The Big Hurt.
Great
for
nickname. Top 2 nicknames of baseball of all time.
That's strong.
That is a great nickname.
He's 2. Number 1 is just Randy Johnson, the unit. Not only is he one of the ugliest human beings
He's a
ever
photographer
created
now.
by
He's a
God.
professional
Tim
photographer.
and King Griffey Jr.
Yeah,
Look at
Griffey
that.
And then also Randy Johnson is an Axeman. Loves to play the guitar. Favorite band is Rush.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, he is one of the.
You're full of random facts today, Dusty.
What do you want?
Nothing. I'm just saying you got a lot of random facts.
Is Randy Johnson not one of the ugliest human beings to ever watch God's Earth?
He's not. He's certainly not going to be on the cover of GQ anytime soon. That's for sure. That's what you're saying.
Like Randy Johnson now, or like when he was younger?
I think all the above.
He was never He's not ever. He doesn't age like fine wine. He ain't.
Oh yeah, someone says Frank Thomas. Buy Nugenics, by the way. She'll like it too. That was the Nugenics Frank Thomas.
I am scared to death of Frank Thomas on Nugenics. He's already called the Big Hurt, and now he's got Nugenics. That man is huge, and I can't even see his face.
Man.
Frank Thomas, man. What a team. Ordonez, Thomas, Canerico. I used to hate going to Royals games when they played the White Sox.
God, Canerico really did just wreck them for
for
decades.
years,
He was
dude.
a Royals killer, man.
That whole lineup
One of the
was
most of all time. Like we just did the almost all Chiefs team. If you did the kills Royals every time, no matter the situation team,
Jose
Canerico.
Ramirez is on that team.
He is now. God, he is really catapulted onto that list.
I mean,
hasn't he?
Joe Mauer probably too, but Joe Mauer is obviously.
I'm not sure they ever got Mauer out. He might hit 500 against the Royals.
Joe Mauer, Canerico,
Chris Owens.
Just against
Just killed the roster. Yeah. Chuck Knobloch couldn't throw it to first. Played second base.
Oh, Knobloch.
Remember that guy? Worst batting stance of all time?
Oh, yeah. He was on King Griffey Jr. baseball.
This is reminding me of that I need to go finish my immaculate grid later. You guys started doing that yet?
No, I know what it is. It's like
You in,
Wordle,
Dusty?
Wordle for
What is it?
baseball.
Oh, no, I don't do that. I'm not smart enough.
Yeah, I don't
Dusty,
know.
this is just about knowing athletes.
No, but it's pretty deep pool for baseball. It would be like, all right, name a player that pitched for the Royals and the Cardinals.
Like you
and
just
then
need to know one player who pitched for both Houston and the Rangers.
And then you
the
gotta be
Astros
like,
and the Rangers.
And also, then this player
Nolan
that
Ryan?
had this player that had 300 strikeouts and also played for these three teams. It's just
It's not that specific. The one for today is name someone who played for the Astros and the Rangers, Astros in Washington, Astros in a 200K pitcher, like a 200 strikeout pitcher.
Who's the answer for Astros in Washington?
I haven't fit them all out. I got to finish it.
Because he's right on Nolan Ryan.
So right now I have no incorrect guesses. I've only gotten it perfect one time.
They pitched for
but
Washington
I'm still figuring it
Houston?
out, see?
So what are the clues?
Someone that
Really, it's just two things that they share. I just need to guess any player who pitched for both Houston and for both the Astros and the Rangers.
And how many letters is it?
No letters.
No,
it's
no,
just
it's
any player. There's there might be 60 answers to this. Some of them there's like 12. Some of them there's like 60. It just depends.
I think this is a good option too. They said give these veteran players that used to play, the retired players, just pump them up with some snake oil and see if they hit it.
We'll find out.
You know what I mean?
Can't hurt.
Baking some of those Cody Tap chocolate chip cookies, add a little snake oil into it, and all of a sudden they see that baseball like a beach ball. I mean, Doc Ellis pitched a perfect game on acid.
Coming up next, we'll get to the 1 o'clock hour. We mentioned there's two names that keep coming up in the NFL for this upcoming season that might be a bit of a stretch, at least according to Cody and I. That's next.
Bears count
Kelsey to the end zone.
Cody and Gold brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Hey, it's Alex Gold for my friends at Midwest Marine Boat Company and Yamaha Motor. The summer weather isn't the only thing that's hot, we know that. Well, Midwest Marine Boat Company has sizzling prices on all 2023 models with the lowest prices of the year. It's not too late to enjoy your summer on the water and let Midwest Marine Boat Company show you how Yamaha Motor revs your heart. Come see Midwest Marine Boat Company's new massive showroom at 13800 South Highway 71 in Grandview now. Midwest Marine Boat Company. We take pride in your fun.
What makes for a great vacation? Depends on who you ask. Are you looking to get away or bring everyone together? Do you want to get outside and play or see a play at the plate? Fortunately, however you operate, I'm the destination you've been looking for. The name's Missouri, but you can call me Mo. And I have just one question. What's your MO? Come see me at visitmo.com.
Is your old garage door a real clunker? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards a new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old opener and entry door too. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate at overheaddoorkc.com or call 816-221-0072.
Hey guys, Beat Up here from Fesco in the Morning, wrapping up week number 6 of the Slim for Life program, this new journey that I'm on, taking care of my health. I started this program weighing in at 444 pounds. Right now, I'm down 46 pounds in just 6 weeks. My clothes aren't fitting. My belt doesn't fit. Had to get a new belt. Shorts falling off. It is a great problem to have because now I am in full control of my weight loss. Arthritis is going away. Don't have to take any medication for high blood pressure. Not pre-diabetic anymore. The best part about it is I'm eating real food. And as a foodie, you know I love to cook. I get to create all new recipes that I love and enjoy, and I'm losing weight while doing it. So what are you waiting for? You ready to lose that extra 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds or like me? I'm losing 200 pounds. Well, what you need to do is pick up that phone, make that call to my girl Leanne at the 119th and Metcalf location that you heard from Beat Up right here on 610 Sports Radio. And this is the last week. You get 90 days for only $90 and lose up to 60 pounds. All services included, exclusive of products. So what are you waiting for? Make that call, 833-SLIM today. That's 833-754-6863. Hit them online at slim4life.com. Tell them Beat Up from 610 Sports Radio sent you.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's Single and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty.
Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com. It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's Single and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty.
Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Cody and Gold will be live from the practice field during training camp this summer with live press conferences, exclusive one-on-one player interviews. Tune in weekdays starting at 10 right here on 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
1 o'clock hour, Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Dusty Likens filled in all week long, producing the show with us. And a reminder, later on this week, we'll be out at Kauffman Stadium, Gate D, for the Royals Day game, collecting new, gently used sports equipment items. The Let's Play Sports Equipment Drive, presented by Pinnacle Bank, supporting the Urban Youth Academy. You can, of course, drop off items during normal business hours as well. But if you want to come out to the K, say hello on Thursday, and also pick up a couple vouchers if you donate items for view-level tickets. Come on by Thursday, hanging out there. And then, of course, Wednesday we'll be in St. Joe. Chiefs training camp. It is here, man. We have already made it to camp. Football right around the corner. I think we decided over the weekend, you and I were talking, we were out on Friday night, that I think Guillotine League is going to come back for another year. I think we decided just in time for football season.
We don't know how we're going to do the teams yet or how we'll decide who gets in. Might not be bribes this year, but we will be bringing back, as you said, yes, the Guillotine League. Sorry, I was distracted because Jeff Passan sent out a tweet that just said, breaking, my back. And I was like, what? And it said, sorry, I haven't been posting lately. During the cleanup of a big storm in KC, a large tree limb decided to fall and crush me. The good news, I have use of my arms, legs, and fingers. Bad news, I have a broken back.
Oh, jeez.
The vertebrae will heal. I'm hoping for pain subsides between now and the trade deadline through painkiller-fueled tweets. This could be a fun time.
Oh, jeez.
Wild.
Yeah, well, the storms were obviously terrible.
Just a great dude.
Storms were obviously terrible on Friday, and a lot of people were without power. I think most people are back up and running today, thank goodness. But, yeah, you had Category 1 wind gust, Category 1 hurricane wind gust in some areas. So, yeah, nuts.
Ugh. Poor Jeff Passan.
A tree falling, I mean, that could have been way worse, by the way.
Send him a text.
Tree falling on you.
Dusty, tell him that we're sorry that he hurt his back.
I'll do that right now. Him and I are pretty close. If you didn't
We're
know
not
that.
really close. I mean, I have his number, but we're not like really close.
Did you already know this happened?
No, I just found
Not
out
that
from Cody.
close. Not that close, though.
Well, he's not going to tell me, hey, bud, how's your day going? Mine sucks. My back's broke.
Hey, man. Sorry we haven't talked in a while. Real quick, let me fire off this text and let you know. I have a broken back. No. That stinks.
Well, yes. Yes, it does.
Hope he's okay. So that's all. Just got distracted
Thanks
by
for the
it.
update.
I just sent him. I said, dude, sorry about the back. That's brutal. Get well, big dog.
There you go.
You hit him with a big dog?
Big
Yeah, we're
dog.
bros, bro.
Big dog. He lives in KC, obviously. So
He's a good dude. He's a good friend of mine.
There you go.
I just didn't know if you were going to hit people with a big dog. That's
First
all.
off, I've also sneezed and blew my sciatica.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
heard
wish that
happen
pain
before.
on anybody.
I've heard someone
dude.
sneeze so much and cough they broke a rib. I've heard that before, which that sounds awful.
And then at one point, Marilyn Manson took out a rib.
Well, yeah, yes. But no,
That's somehow the second time this has been mentioned on this show.
I don't know why.
In the last 2 weeks.
It is.
Nick brought it up the last time.
That's right.
It's kind of gnarly.
We'll get to some baseball here in just a couple of minutes, but there are two names across the NFL as camp gets underway that keep coming up with optimism, hope, I guess, in some of those fan bases as well. And it's weird. Like, are we discounting already what these two players can be? And the two names that keep coming up are quarterbacks, naturally, and they're young quarterbacks. One is Justin Fields in Chicago. The other is Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh.
I'm just confused about, I feel like, in every offseason, right, there's players that people fall in love with. But why is it these two? Like, we understand why you would be falling in love with certain players. It makes sense, right? In Kansas City, they're going to be like, oh, look at what Sky Moore's going to do, or Kadarius Toney. Like, I understand the hype around them. Have either of those quarterbacks, Justin Fields has shown you an incredible ability to run. But have either of those quarterbacks shown you the sign that says this is the guy to buy into? Kenny Pickett confuses me even more. He couldn't beat out Mitch Trubisky for like half of the season last year. And he didn't look all that good when he was playing. Like, am I missing it on these two guys is really what I wanted to figure out. Do you guys feel differently? Dusty, you, anybody? Am I missing something here on these two quarterbacks? Because I just don't get it.
So I think Justin Fields, that's the one where I'm not as sold when it comes to the leap passing. And a lot of people will try to make the Jalen Hurts comparison. I think the comparison doesn't work the way some people believe it does. And let me tell you why. So Jalen Hurts, last year we know took this huge leap, very close to winning MVP if it wasn't for the injury, ended up going to the Super Bowl. And everybody's like, well, that's the same thing. Justin Fields, he this past season, and now he's going to have the huge leap. Go back and look at what Jalen Hurts did the year before last and towards the end of that season. He was already starting to show signs of being a reliable, effective passer, okay? Justin Fields has not shown that yet. I'm not saying he can't be that, but that's this year. He has to show that this year, and then we can talk about in 2024, can he take the leap? Jalen Hurts showed more already than Fields did when Hurts was heading into last season. So Fields, to me, is a year behind already. I don't like the comparison of like, well, Hurts was able to take the leap. It wasn't the same final 5-6 weeks that Fields had. Fields is going to lead the NFL out of quarterbacks in rushing this year. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind. He's going to continue to do it.
Yeah, I mean, he had 1,000 yards last year. We assume he'll do that again.
The roster is better. Still don't know yet if the coaching staff is the right coaching staff to get the most out of Justin Fields. So I have my questions there. Kenny Pickett, we know Mike Tomlinson. The problem is they kept the same offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. I don't know why he retains his job there in Pittsburgh. I think that holds him back. I told you I think the AFC North might end up being the best division in football in terms of competitiveness, and that is also thinking that the Steelers will be better and turn Kenny Pickett's better. I actually think Kenny Pickett has a better chance this year of being a passer we're talking about than Justin Fields. Fields is going to make the crazy plays. He's going to be fun to watch, running the ball. I don't think he's a good enough passer, and I don't think we're going to see that.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out, I think that the Kenny Pickett thing is just because people assume that the Pittsburgh Steelers will be successful under any circumstance. And look, even last year, right? They're always mediocre. They're too well coached. They've got too much defensive talent, whatever it is, right?
Pickett had a couple good games at the end of last season.
I know, dude, but he finished the season with like 2,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 9
right,
picks.
But he showed some ability to go win a football game week 15, 16, 17, 18. And in those games, he didn't win all of those, but he was right there, and he won 2 of them, I think. Justin Fields, I haven't seen that yet.
I mean, but I know he's a dynamic athlete.
Sure, no doubt.
Like, so at the very least, even if he can't throw the damn ball, the guy's good for 1,000 on the ground.
Right, but that's not good enough to be quarterback in the NFL.
It
term.
is.
I mean, like Lamar
depends.
Jackson's a much better thrower of the football. Justin Fields has to elevate to that level. Justin Fields, to me, hasn't shown the passing ability yet. The stuff people were critical of Lamar of, that to me is actually what's happening with Justin Fields right now.
You know what's funny, though, is, I mean, again, it's way less. I think it's probably less games. How many games did Kenny Pickett play in last year?
Probably north of 10, right?
I mean, it felt like it was quite a few there towards the end. Because I want to know before I compare their passing stats.
He played in 13 games.
Okay, so Justin
started
Fields
12 of them.
Okay, so Justin Fields started 15, and Kenny Pickett started in how many? 12?
Started in 12. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Started in 12 but played in 13. 2,200 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 11 picks. That's almost equally as good of the passing numbers as Kenny Pickett put up from a per-game perspective. And he had 1,000 yards rushing. Like, I'll buy more into Justin Fields than Pickett. I don't see it with Pickett at all. Like, I guess I'm just like lost on him because I didn't know where they're going to be like, hey, he's going from year 1 to year 2. Anymore with quarterbacks, man. I know there's a lot of positions you and I go back and forth on, like pretending like they can't grow in year 2. I'm definitely not saying that. As you pointed out, or the text line pointed out, it's not like Jalen Hurts was just gangbusters in year 1, right? There were plenty of people who wanted to count him out. And counting someone out after year 1 is maybe the worst time to count somebody out. God, I just don't see it with those guys.
I'm not counting Justin
confused.
Fields out in his career. I'm just saying I'm not expecting this massive leap, and I think there's some that are trying to make the comparison from Jalen Hurts and the leap he took, and then all of a sudden was an MVP candidate. I'm telling you, Jalen Hurts already had shown more the prior season for 4 or 5 games at the end of that, and then took the leap. I haven't seen that. Maybe I think has a chance to happen this year, where we're saying, hey, the final X amount of games this season, Justin Fields is going to show that he's developed as a passer, and then next year the hype is valid, and we're saying, wow, here we go.
Sure.
I just don't think he's there yet.
The other interesting part about this is that you know why you can't include Kenny Pickett is even if he got better, where would he rank amongst AFC quarterbacks? 10th? Like, how high can he even go, man? Like, that's the problem. Like,
right,
that's
not
where it's easier to buy.
his ability,
no, but
though.
this
That's
is where,
holding
like,
back him in the pecking order. It speaks to the talent, but like that has no impact on his growth ability. Hey, you're with a bunch of other good quarterbacks. You can't get better.
It just makes me feel like I'll never believe it because it'll just be buried behind everyone else. I mean, what is I got? Like the 11th best quarterback? Justin Fields could be the 3rd best quarterback in the NFC this year. Like, he'll have a better chance to perform under those moments because the NFC North is down. What?
Dak Prescott said there's no way he's throwing more than 10 interceptions this year, so we bet in the over.
Did he get LASIK? That's the only way I'm buying it.
He did not go to Derry Vision that I know of.
Did he get LASIK this offseason?
I don't know, but he's out here saying he's not throwing more than 10 interceptions this year. I bet he has 10 by week 7.
Dak had 15 of them a year ago, tied for the league lead. He's 12-1 to have the most picks in the NFL this upcoming season, and I think that's a strong bet again. He has a new offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore's out the door. So we'll see. But, yeah, Dak is one of the favorites to have the most picks this year. I also like thinking of Fields. Fields is 16-1, I believe, him and Jordan Love to have the most picks in football this year. I don't think Fields is going to throw. Exactly. He's not going to. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I don't think Fields is going to throw enough.
Dak Prescott has thrown 10 interceptions in his career more times than he's not thrown.
Exactly, dude.
10 or more
So we're betting the over.
15 for Dak was in 12 games, I think,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't only 12 games.
Does he still do that weird hip thing?
Oh, the thing like people put on the music too?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That
probably.
thing?
After it.
That thing?
You might not be single much longer.
That's
if you-
right.
if that's your dance move.
That's right. That's
That was like
right.
a mix between Dak and Trump's dance.
It was the hip stretch. Got to get the hips loose, man. Got to get the hips loose.
Hips don't lie, baby.
Is Dusty on camera today? He is. I hope we got that on camera. That was great.
I'm sure it's there.
I hope we got it on camera.
Hell of a Monday. As your guys' new producer moving forward.
No, people were asking. Dusty's filling in. I mean, we can say that he's.
I'll be
he's
here until
filling
the
in.
wheels fall off, baby.
He'll be here too. We new producer won't be starting until August.
We're trying to get to 16th mid-market midday show.
That's right.
Can you help us get there, Dusty?
I could get you top 10.
Okay.
Wow, I like the confidence. You don't have to overshoot. 16th would have been fine.
It's the Nugenics. It makes me overshoot.
Jeez.
Are you just catching up on that?
That was a delayed response. I apologize.
Cody's a dad, so he knows how to like let things go. And Gold, you could watch it hit him.
Man, occasionally when my kids say something that I know, like a curse word or something, you're like,
Has Ruby cussed?
yeah.
Oh, you say it like she does it once a day, dude.
Oh,
she
yeah.
out here stubbing her toe and
no,
dropping
honestly,
the F-bomb?
she's very much a rule follower. So like
Yeah.
when she's pretty mindful to catch herself before that. Not that long ago, I had to have the talk with the younger one because he dropped
already.
He just dropped a straight up F-bomb.
That's awesome.
Like what was the context?
Perfect context. He was playing with something and then it kind of fell apart. And he went, "What the F?" And you're like, "Well, hey, you've heard that
From dad or mom?
Me, probably.
Okay.
She's dropped some curse words too, but it sounded like my
I
inflection.
feel like Daddy Tap does that when he's
one.
baking and something falls on
Yeah,
the oven rack.
yeah.
Like, what the F?
Yeah, that one.
There's little man right behind you going, nice.
I'll wear that one. That one was probably on me.
You ever woke up your kid in the middle of the morning and be like, "You woke up the wrong MFer, Dad."
You woke up the wrong. Yeah. Oh yeah. So
You woke up the wrong MFer, Dad.
That's still the highlight of the whole show.
That would
I'm
get a
sorry.
high
Just
five
because
if that was my
the
son.
mic. I mean, it's just incredible. That's so good.
Well, because you didn't know Mahomes had that vocab. Like, I mean, he's from Texas, so maybe that's one thing. But, like,
that's just great.
Dude, he's out here just like. I also love that he gives guys love when they hit him hard so they won't do it again.
He said, he's like, I want
Or
them to
they'll
like
respect
me,
him.
so at least they're not going to try to hurt me, basically.
That's actually a good strategy.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, boss. Great job, man. Kicking ass. Just over complimenting them.
That's
is a
why
really
I
good strategy.
I don't think I'd ever flip a bat if I hit a home run. I'll just set it down. Please don't throw 98 at my chin.
I don't want to.
I don't want that. Like, tip your cap when you strike out. Thanks, man.
But it's so much more entertaining, man.
Well, hell
It's
yeah.
just so much more entertaining.
You see Drew Waters' little pimp that he had when he put that in the upper deck of the Fountains yesterday?
He buried that ball.
He's doing splash. So
You get to take as long of a stretch as you want if that happens.
If he can be a stud, there's such a great promo for fountain seats.
Yeah.
Like the Waters
Oh.
hole. That's such a great idea.
When so briefly we were talking about the Royals and we had mentioned it earlier. I know that we can put some of the stuff on the Royals, a lot of it on it, right? Where there's struggles and all this stuff.
No doubt.
I am shocked at what has happened to Brad Keller. Yeah. This is one of the worst case of the yips I've ever seen. It might be the worst case of the yips in Royals history. 2 years ago, he was on
Knobloch, who couldn't throw it to first.
Dude, 2 years ago, the man was on pace to get an extension, be a number 3 starter for a team. He was like a hot commodity on the trade block. He can't get out a ball pitching right now. Look, he's going to be a free agent at the end of this year.
His time is done.
And at this
he needs
point,
to
the
change
Royals,
center.
yeah, for sure. And at this point, the Royals are just going to be in the case of, all right, he's a free agent. We got to just let this guy walk, and best of luck, Brad. He pitched in Omaha. He'd been pitching an A ball and couldn't get anybody out, but he pitched in Omaha yesterday. He went a third of an inning. He allowed 6 runs on 4 hits and 3 walks, including a home run.
Yeah, these are all technically rehab assignments, aren't they?
Yes. At least still getting that big league paycheck. Because this is also the problem with baseball, is that it sucks for Brad Keller that he got to pitch in the big leagues for like 4.5 years, make no money, now has the yips, and may never make any money as a result of that. Because baseball gets to hold you hostage like no other sport. They get 7 damn years of control of you after they call you up to the big leagues, Dusty. So they can keep you in the minors for like 5 years. Then call you up and have your ass till you're 32 years old.
Yeah, I think he'll end up making like $5 million when it's all said and done.
Does he pitch in the major leagues ever again?
It's hard to say no on that.
Because he's what, 27, 26, somewhere around there?
Dude, he's got a career 4.25
He'll get another chance.
ERA. He's got a career league average ERA.
Sure.
He pitched in the big leagues for 6 seasons. He's made 114 starts. I feel like he has to get back in the bigs, right?
God, he only needs 3 more years for that pension of being in the league 10 years.
I've just,
he truly. I mean, it's
I
cliche,
feel terrible
but
for him because he just has the yips. He's in his own head. He can't get out of it.
Yeah, no confidence at all. He has to go somewhere else and see if that can help. And before we feel terrible, look, he actually has made $15 million, so it's not act like the guy's made scraps.
No, but the guy should have made $50 million, but because of the way baseball works, he didn't even get that.
If general manager Cody Tapp would have given him a $50 million contract a year and a half ago.
Well, in fairness, I was definitely wrong there, but I also didn't realize he was going to get the worst case of the yips I've ever seen.
I know, I'm giving you a hard time, but yeah, it's crazy.
He pitched in 7 games, or he pitched in 9 games this year and had a 4.36 ERA. And then all of a sudden, he just started walking every hitter.
Can't throw strikes.
And then they're like, well, his elbow's messed up. And so they sent him down to and then they rehabbed him, and then they took him to A-ball, and he walked like 9 hitters in a game. And then they're like, well, try double-A. And he just walked 7 hitters in a game. And they're like, how about triple-A? He's like, walking 3, letting up 4 hits. They're like, what's happening? His strike to ball ratio is like 70% balls to strikes right now. They got to just shut his ass. I would say just shut him down for the year. But at this point, you're actually probably servicing his career by helping him by just letting him try to figure this out. Because he's not going to be a Royal at the end of the year.
Right.
As crazy as that would have seemed 2 years ago, he's not going to be a Royal at the end of this season.
Because we've seen the ability. If he's able to get, go to a new place and find, just reset things. Yeah, you asked the question, will he pitch in the big leagues again? The answer is probably yes. Somebody, because of the numbers that he's had. But then what's his name? Who's the pitcher that almost won the Cy Young a year ago that's now completely lost as well? Manoah?
Oh, yeah, Alec Manoah.
He's another Toronto Blue Jays guy. And you want to talk about someone that was almost the best pitcher in baseball a year ago. So mental side of the sport is so massive.
They got tape, bro. They watch tape.
Dude, Alek Manoah was third in the Cy Young last year, and he's got an ERA like north of 6.
Yeah, and he's in AA or AAA.
Wasn't it like Scherzer starting to fall apart too?
Well,
With
that's
like,
a
he's
little bit different.
aged,
Scherzer
but like
Well, Scherzer said he fixed it. He said one stupid thing fixed his entire slider, now he's fine. So
must be nice. That's all it is.
must be nice.
you're talking about Scherzer's probably made 100.
Yes, it must be nice.
How much has Scherzer made? Like 300
That
million?
you could just I found one small fix, and I'm good to go. And he's willing to throw all his pitches. Go figure.
Well, he has like 7 of them.
He's also Max Scherzer, so let's not compare.
He's a future Hall of Famer. Brad Keller's just had like a really interesting career, good and bad. He was a Rule 5 pick. All of a sudden, he's starting for the Royals and outperforming any expectation. Looks like an extension guy. Falls off, can't find his strike anymore, and now he might be off with the Royals. And Dusty's asking whether or not we're going to see him in the big leagues anymore. He's 27.
He'll probably end up being a bullpen guy for somebody.
He can't do anything unless
you can't
he
be a
strike.
bullpen guy if you can't throw strikes.
sure.
Last thing you want to do is bring a guy in with 2 men on.
My guess is he'll be in the big leagues at some point for somebody again.
Chiefs wide receiver rankings are out
for Madden.
Yep,
we'll do that tomorrow maybe.
God, we only got about a half hour left in the show. I'm going to take a guess.
Played Madden last night. Once Hopkins got traded to the Titans, I was craving some Madden. I was like, all right.
Really?
Problem is, obviously, Hopkins was still on the Cardinals. But
you still play video games?
Occasionally, oh yeah.
Ugh.
Every once in a while, not as much as I used to. I've been playing MLB The Show a little bit. I told you, I got Ohtani on the Royals a long time ago. This thing's easy. 10 years, 550. Let's get done.
10 years, 550.
10 years, 550. At the beginning of the season, I told you, I traded away everybody.
You just
everybody
cleaned house.
He just Satchel Pages.
The only guy left. The only guy
nobody's on the field.
The only guy I left on the team was Bobby Witt Jr. That was it. Everybody else was gone.
What a trade! You got Ohtani, but got to keep Bobby.
Everybody else was gone.
Let's make a quick guess here because I don't want to. I will do it tomorrow on the show because we don't have enough time to really dive in.
Hell of a tease.
Let's make a quick guess right now on what you think the highest rating any wide receiver has on Madden for the Chiefs this year.
Well, I can't play because I'm looking at it.
Okay, I'll say 78 for Kadarius Toney.
I'll say 77.
Not even gonna get in the 80s.
It's Madden rating. So
do you want me to tell you, or you want me to wait?
Give us the top one, but the rest.
Just the one. Don't tell us the rest. We'll say for tomorrow. Yeah.
Don't say the name, but give the top rating.
Yeah.
Top rating is an 81 overall.
81.
So Tony's 81. So Tony's 81.
Okay. Maybe they got Richie James at 81.
Good.
They're big Richie.
That's good enough for those
who
who play Madden.
They're big MVS guys.
Kadarius Toney being 81 with probably 99 speed. That's fun.
Do you think he's got 99?
94.
Didn't Hester one year have 100 speed?
Yeah, you're right. They probably won't give him a 99. They really don't do 99s except for like 1 or 2 players. So
I
it's
think
probably more
Tyreek
like
has like
94 speed.
94 speed for Tony.
There was only 199 wide receivers, Justin Jefferson.
Do they list all the rankings or just the overall? Like
they have overalls, not
okay.
The
So we can't see like
catching.
what's his what do they have durability rating in there?
They just have Kadarius Toney's injury is a 99. I'm kidding. That's not.
I mean, honestly though,
like that is like a 70.
40.
This is the problem. It's like if you've got Kadarius Toney on your Madden team, it's like he's just gonna get dinged up. You're gonna have to alter that. You have to go in there and fix that.
Not when you're playing online against someone, nobody gets hurt.
But imagine if he is healthy all year, how quickly that ranking will skyrocket.
Yeah, because then he'll have 3 years as an NFL player, and one of those years will be healthy.
By the end of the year, there's a chance his Madden rating could be 87 or 88 if he has the type of year that I think he can have.
DK Metcalf is an 88, which I think is very disrespectful. But I mean, that just shows you where their ratings are.
That also just means Tony's way too high. You can't be giving Tony an 81 and DK an 88.
Why not?
Should be some bigger. There's a massive separation between those two players' production. What do you mean? Why?
7-point rate. That's a big number. That is a big gap.
Is it?
7 is a big gap. The difference between an 88 and 81 on a video game is a big gap.
I don't know, not big enough. I mean, one guy has had a massive amount of NFL production.
That's why he's 88 and the other guy's 81. That's why. Now, look, you and I both thought he'd be 77 and 78, so obviously we are both surprised still.
Yeah. At least until he plays and is healthy for an entire year, you know.
All right, coming up next, we'll get to what's trending. We won't spoil any more Madden ratings. We'll do that tomorrow. And one thing that CBS Sports said about free agents in Chiefs history, and I think there's one clear answer as the top of the list next.
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
We've made it to training camp in St. Joe, and with that means a little bit earlier in the morning I got to get my day started. We got to drive up to St. Joe. That means the eyes might not have been cooperating in the past if I had to put contacts in my eyes. Not a problem anymore, thanks to DuraVision. You guys know about 2 years ago, I underwent SBK Advanced LASIK, and now I wake up in the morning, I cut a few minutes out of my routine, and I just see with my own two eyes. No needed assistance from contacts, from glasses. It is simple. It's amazing. It's the best decision I ever made. Making that phone call, scheduling that free consultation, which, by the way, is even easier now because you can conduct that consultation virtually over Zoom. So there's no more excuse making. Stop putting it off. You've heard me tell you about them for quite some time. They're the best in Kansas City when it comes to your vision needs. So give them a call, 913-491-3330, or just go online again to DuraVision.com. And when you do that, be sure to tell them you heard it from Gold on 610 Sports Radio.
Enjoy Medium Mondays at Old Shawnee Pizza and get any single topping medium pizza for only $10.99. It's too hot to cook. Call or go to ShawneePizza.com today. Any single topping medium pizza for only $10.99. Only at Old Shawnee Pizza. 2 locations.
What does it mean to be the official information technology provider for the Chiefs? Everything. Technology Group Solutions makes sure everything runs flawlessly for the millions of fans that attend games and the hundreds of millions of fans that comprise Chiefs Kingdom around the world. Technology Group Solutions can deploy that same dedication, problem solving, and incredible service to ensure your business runs smoothly. All day, every day, just like your Chiefs. Technology Group Solutions, powering Chiefs Kingdom and ready to do the same for you.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Well, that was fun. And who says we don't get hurricanes in KC? That storm that blew through last week had Category 1 hurricane winds. And now, here come all the hail-chasing roofers. But there was no hail. And inspecting a roof for wind damage is a lot different than inspecting for hail damage. Unlike hail's dings and dents, wind damage likes to hide until the next storm when your roof leaks. That is exactly why you need to call JR & Company. With years of hurricane experience in Florida, locally owned JR & Company knows how to find the wind damage that others might miss. And they know how to deal with insurance adjusters on wind claims. As always, our inspection and your peace of mind are free at jrroofcheck.com.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Visit jrroofcheck.com.
Don't miss Black Friday, now at Mattress Firm. Save up to $600 and get a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. Visit your local Mattress Firm today.
Diamonds Direct's Midsummer Savings Event is happening right now with an extra 20% savings, an expanded selection, and in-store designer appearances. Take an extraordinary 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and thousands of engagement ring mountings. Meet the designers who've flown in with all new collections for the summer. The best savings, the best selection, the best value. Don't miss this once-a-year jewelry shopping event. Get details, showroom hours, directions, and more at DiamondsDirect.com.
Shop end-of-season deals during the Truckload event at Lowe's. Right now, save on major appliances and get an additional 10% off in-store clearance appliances. Plus, take up to 70% off select vanities, like the Allen & Roth Vanity Combo. Was $1,399, now $409. Get great deals now. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/19. Exclusions apply. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
Hurry up!
Go away. I'm enjoying my hot shower.
Yeah, we'd all like to. Hot water hug.
That's it. Family meeting. We can all enjoy long, steaming, hot showers. Even the last in line, which it seems is always me. But go ahead. Have that imaginary argument of what you should have said. Take your time. With our new high-efficiency Navien tankless water heater, I'll never take a cold shower again. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com to learn more.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
This report is brought to you by KC Customs. We put the customs in KC. KC-Customs.com.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit GetJim.com.
Want a new truck, Jeep, or SUV, but don't want a new payment? Then come by KC Customs. We'll turn your boring ride into one that turns heads and breaks necks. Set yourself apart from the crowd. Go to KC Customs. We put the customs in KC.
What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on what's trending, the Royals in action tonight. A little after 7 o'clock out at Kauffman Stadium. Vern's on deck show at 6 o'clock. The Royals taking on the Tigers. Jordan Lyles
Our guy.
on the bump. I'm going out there to support him tonight. I will be there watching the Royals take on the Tigers. Also, Bo Jackson bobblehead night. Going with some friends out to the game this evening. Hopefully get one of those Bo Jackson bobbleheads and watch the Royals get a win.
How many people are getting them?
Who am I going? How many people I'm going with?
No, how many people are they giving the bobblehead?
I'm guessing first 10,000 or something like they normally do, right? Something like that.
Bobbleheads are usually a little harder to come by.
Yeah, I'm guessing I won't have a problem based off of attendance this year. I'm guessing that shouldn't be too problematic.
Royals attendance is up this year.
2%. It is. It is up. You're correct. 2%, Cody.
So you're dismissing them.
The bobblehead though, nice little perk.
Very cool. Obviously, one of the most iconic moments in Royals history is Bo Jackson running up the fence.
Hot dog sounds really good right now.
Well, you'll be at the ballpark, I imagine, in just a few hours. Next up on What's Trending, deadline for franchise tag deals is at 3 o'clock today, so just 90 minutes away. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, and Tony Pollard, all the names people are finding out whether or not they'll get long-term extensions done with their deal. If you needed a reminder, the way this works is you have a deadline to work out a long-term deal, and the negotiating time is done. As in, you cannot sign them to a long-term contract extension for the upcoming year, which means they just have to either wait to sign that franchise tag or not play at all. We've told you before that you can be fined a lot for missing practices, way more than at any other point in NFL history. Little different with the franchise tag, because until you sign that, you are technically not under contract, which means if you're not technically under contract, they can't fine you for missing time. So it's the only advantage in the franchise tag thing that players have, is that you can still technically avoid the fines because you're not technically under contract.
Next up on What's Trending, Hard Knocks. We know it's going to feature the Jets this year. Now we know it's going to debut on August the 8th. That'll be on Max, HBO Max. And the first 4 practices for the Jets at training camp are already sold out. No surprise. The hype, the optimism, excitement around the Jets is at an all-time high right now, considering where they've been over the last 15 years or so. Aaron Rodgers, of course, signed. So, yeah, I'm sure they're going to have plenty of sellout practices throughout camp. I don't know how the Jets do their camp. Again, the Chiefs are one of the few teams that go away for camp. I'm assuming the Jets just stay in their backyard, in the Meadowlands or something.
I would assume so. I mean, it's going to be interesting if they let some of this stuff show. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers had an interesting year and a half.
He definitely did. He definitely did.
2 years, really. So if they show any part of his regular life, it's going to be fascinating. But Sauce Gardner seems to be a real personality. They got interesting young players in Garrett Wilson and others. So if they decide to show a little bit, I could be drugged back into Hard Knocks, but for now, I've been avoiding it the last couple of years because I just don't feel like they've shown very much. Next up on What's Trending, ESPN insider and local man, Jeff Passan, has announced that he has a broken back after the KC storm.
You put that in What's Trending?
I sure did. You know, he's our guy. But so here's the thing. It's like I was cleaning up sticks in my backyard, then a branch just broke your back. God, that is just
it's more than a branch. It's more than just a small branch.
That's horrible bad luck.
Branch to...
Just trying to clean up a few branches around your yard after a storm and then get a broken back. That is just horrible luck. Hopefully he's okay.
Very, very lucky at this point. That is only that.
Yeah. I mean, he did say that he has, movement everywhere you want movement, but still, God, having a broken back is horrible.
That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. By the way, first 15,000.
Oh, so you should be good.
Yeah, no problem.
If you get a second one, maybe it can be in the Cody and Gold garage.
Good money off that. I only have one ticket, Cody. That'd be against the rules. I can only get one bobblehead. Okay.
You have a press credential.
Oh, you want me to cheat the system, huh? Just for you.
I said for the Cody and Gold garage sale. I didn't say for me.
Typical.
I only own 2 bobbleheads. Okay?
I have 2 right now, but I have them in the backdrop for my background for my video stuff I do for the betting show. And I have the Melendez one and the Bobby Witt one from this year. So I need to add a Bo Jackson one. I need stuff like that I can rotate through. I got to be able to rotate new stuff behind me on set.
Nah, nobody cares about that.
I had to move them. I had Miami Heat basketball up there for a while. Now I got to move the Chiefs helmet back up so it's visible. It's now football season. Yeah.
Why'd you have a Miami Heat basketball?
It's signed by Mario Chalmers. I got it as a gift many years ago, and I'm like, well, this is a perfect year to have it. The Heat are making a run of the finals. Why not? But it's not a Dwayne Wade or Shaq or LeBron. It's a Mario Chalmers signed Miami Heat basketball.
I'm not rotating.
I got it as a gift, man.
Video background.
I just because I do it every Saturday morning, so I just have it. It rotates. Otherwise, it looks the same every single time. Clips get tweeted out, and
I mean, it kind of looks. It's just like stuff behind you, right?
Yeah, but it's just different. It's different. Can be.
I own 2 bobbleheads. I used to own 3, but my kids broke my Bo Jackson cracking his bat over his head bobblehead.
That's good. That's good.
But they broke it, just like the bat was broken. So now it's just Dennis Leonard, which I don't remember who gave me or why it exists, and the Rusty Kuntz talking bobblehead. That's it.
The talking bobblehead. That's next level.
That's my entire collection of bobbleheads. Rusty Kuntz, Dennis Leonard, and all the other ones I've just put into the Cody and Gold garage sale over the years.
Yeah, we had a lot of items like that in the garage sale. Someone said, "Are you guys gonna be at Kauffman Stadium on Thursday?" Yes, we will.
Yes.
We will be out there Thursday. It's a day game, so we're off a little early, but we'll be outside Gate D talking some football and baseball, I'm sure, on that Thursday, but also hoping that you come by with new or gently used sports equipment. The Let's Play Sports Equipment Drive presented by Pinnacle Bank, benefiting the Urban Youth Academy here in Kansas City, and it's pretty simple. You stop on by, drop off some of those items on the way to the game, and you'll also be able to pick up a voucher for some future tickets to a Royals game if you donate those items. So, yeah, Thursday, come on out, say hello to us, or come on out to training camp starting next week. We'll be up there this week, but training camp open to the public won't be till next week. So we hope to see a lot of you up at a camp. Another year of camp, man. Here we go again. See if you sneak on the field and try to kick a field goal this time again. Steal a football or two.
We need a tee if I'm going to try to kick a field goal.
Yeah, I'm sure as hell not putting my finger there.
I still think you are way underestimating how far my punt went.
No, but I'm just telling you, it's field goal. There's no way I'm just holding my finger there for you to kick the football. There's no chance I'm trusting you. No
What's
way.
the distance in which you are 100% confident I have no chance?
Well,
What's the shortest distance you're 100% confident I can't make a kick in 2 attempts?
I don't know. You and I have both actually did a nice job in the field goal kicking competition at the Super Bowl back in 2020.
What were those, like 30 yards?
Yeah,
How far were those?
30. It was about 30. So my answer is, I'll stick with 30.
You don't think I can make one from 40 in 2 attempts?
No. You're not making a 40-yard field goal, man.
I can make a 40-yard field goal? Not once? Dusty, can I make a 40-yard field goal?
No, you're not hitting a 40-yard.
You're not making a 40-yard field goal, man.
Off a tee?
Don't you have like a club foot?
Yeah, that's the other foot. I'm a lefty. I kick lefty.
Well, I have a source that tells me that Harrison Butker uses a smaller cleat for his kicking foot, so he gets more power behind it.
Like it tighter, so it fits tighter?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That source is Jay Binkley.
Dude, I should be able to get. I should be able to get better distance.
How he knows too, by the way.
I should be able to get better distance off a tee too. I think I can make a 40-yarder off a tee.
I'll give you.
That's the new goal for training.
The tee definitely helps, no doubt.
Okay, can you get that down at camp?
Get what down?
You think they'll give you an opportunity to go out there and kick?
Here's the thing. They're not going to give us.
Everyone leaves. No one's going to stop me from getting on the field.
There's no way they're going to set it up. This will be like the last day of camp.
That's what I'm saying. So we could probably talk to some of their lovely people.
I'll just walk on the field.
There's no talking to anybody. It just has to happen. It just has to happen.
Then do it.
Once the show ends and people are gone, there aren't people like There's no security stopping me from getting on the field.
So what, a 40-yarder, they're putting that at the 32?
You're not making it.
Because the end zone's 10 yards. End zone's 10 yards.
Right.
So then you put it at the 30. And you're getting to put it on a tee?
The tee helps big time here, but
do you know
still.
how far 30 yards is?
That's a lot.
I am aware.
When I was at the Chiefs, what was that media day last year when they had the draftees come to Arrowhead? I was standing on like the 20-yard line. I was like, "This is the red zone. Like this is massive."
Yeah, I don't think. Even if you have the distance, I don't think the accuracy will be there. You'll either have one or the other. And it's also be too low. I don't think you'll get enough.
I'm also rooting for you not to make it.
3 tries to make it. Why? Why are you rooting for me not to make it?
Humble. You're a little too arrogant here, man.
Yeah, I definitely
You're also
hope
the same guy
it.
that thinks you could throw it at 60 miles per hour, and we all blew our arms out throwing a baseball against a brick wall.
Yeah, and I only hit like 58 on that. Although it was a cop's radar gun.
Didn't matter. It was his best technology.
You don't think that's accurate?
Man.
You don't think that's accurate?
For throwing a baseball? Not really. No.
You get nervous around law enforcement? Is that what happened? You get a little nervous?
Had some snake oil in your pocket?
Nothing was more embarrassing than Nick's throw.
Oh, he bounced it.
Someone says, man, Cody can't go 2 weeks without pain from that club foot dragging across the carpet. He thinks he can bang a pro kick.
It's 1 40-yarder in 3 attempts. I think I could get one between the uprights.
Oh, you only get 3
Oh,
attempts?
now it's up to 3. I thought it was. By the way, you could roll it back. We went from 2 attempts to now he's trying to sneak in a third.
That's like a third. Cody.
I'm not asking for 10. Let's not be unreasonable. 3. 3 is the number of attempts everyone gives themselves.
I think if I was being fair, I would give you 5.
I think 3's okay.
5 because you got to think, man. The first one is going to be pure shock. Like you're going to kick it and you're going to go, "Oh boy," and then
you're going to really try to lean into one,
and then you're going to start putting pressure on yourself.
By the 5th kick, he's going to be tired. Like he'll be tired. Like
what do you think is
after
more?
4 kicks?
What do you think is more possible? You hitting a 40-yard field goal?
40-yard field goal,
or Gold hitting a golf ball 200 yards?
Him making a 40-yard field goal.
Yeah, that's
okay. Come on now.
Even a driver? I actually played golf with Gold one time.
We're at a tee shot.
Oh no, you didn't have gone.
Yeah.
You could probably 200 yards.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it wouldn't be straight.
Golf. I mean, I don't golf.
200 yards and it has to be in the fairway, or 200 yards and a slice to the right, like 150 yards straight and 70 yards to the right.
Yeah, it would take me forever just to rope one 200 yards dead fairway.
You might get lucky.
I don't know.
You ever see Mike Trout hit a golf ball? Dear
have not.
God. You never saw that video at Top Golf that he had?
It just looks like it disappears. It like obliterates.
It goes into the moon's gravitational pull, and he just ropes it. I mean, he's Mike Trout, so let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still like he doesn't play golf.
Yeah, but professional athlete, if you're a professional baseball player, you're gonna be good at golf too.
I don't know. Do you ever watch Derrick Rose try to hit a golf ball?
I haven't.
It's one of the not Derrick Rose. Yeah, no, not Derrick Rose. Jalen Rose.
Oh, Jalen.
He tried to hit a golf ball at a celebrity tournament and couldn't hit it. Even brought Jack Nicholson out to try to get him to hit. He still couldn't hit it.
Like just could not touch the golf ball.
Google or search it. Like if you type in Twitter like Jalen Rose golf, it's insane.
Someone says, "Why'd you guys get rid of show bets and wheel spits?" Well, show bets in football season. Show bets come back in the football season. Yeah,
We'll
show
find some reason.
Show bets in football season.
Since you don't think I'll make it, we can make it 3 attempts, and we will find something to wager between the two of us if I make one.
We'll figure it out.
Loser has to take a Brett Favre picture to prove they don't have a mole.
No.
And send it to who?
Yeah. Who's going to actually
Who's confirming this?
Nick. How's Colorado, bud?
Hey, sorry you quit the job. You have to get a picture of one of the 2 of our penises. Not both, just one.
Jeez.
And don't talk crap on Charles Barkley. His swing is fixed.
He does look a lot better as a golfer.
No, he played pretty well in this tournament in Tahoe this weekend.
I can't, by the way, Steph Curry, what a ridiculous
Hit an
athlete.
eagle to win the American Century Championship in Tahoe.
Also had a hole-in-one.
Yeah, the day before.
Also is just like a below,
He's a scratch golfer.
Scratch golfer. He's the first current athlete, like actually still playing the sport that he plays to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Because it's usually just like former major league pitchers who have nothing but damn time to play golf 15 times a week to get better. This guy still has to train to be an NBA player. He's out here winning a tournament and hitting holes in one and hitting eagles to win the tournament.
Which is an interesting question,
ridiculous.
fellas, as we wrap this show closely to the end. Steph Curry's GHIN, which is the golf handicap, how you calculate yours. Like I have one. Steph Curry has one. Like most golfers that play all the time do.
Sure.
And Steph Curry's is a negative 0.6. So like he's basically kind of a below scratch golfer. He just didn't bring that game in
Which
the match.
means, which probably means his range is like shooting a 78 to shooting like a 65.
Yeah, more like his range is like probably like 74 to like 69. Like he's in that field, which I thought Gronkowski had actually some good content on Twitter last night because he was like, Steph Curry's really good at golf. Like, could he consider maybe just like going to get his tour card and just stop playing in the NBA?
Here's the thing. Dusty, the difference between a scratch golfer and the worst PGA player is a mountain top.
Oh, no, it's crazy.
It is a massive difference.
Like Tony Romo
talent.
has it. He had his tour card and he never did anything with it.
It's just a huge swing. Like you have to be borderline a scratch golfer just to play like D1 golf, not play on the PGA. Just go play for like the University of Kansas for golf. You got to be scratch.
I really want to see Gold play 18 holes.
We can all go together.
We can.
I'll bring noons.
I'm not good either.
Stuff.
I
but
mean,
I'll play.
we can. I definitely.
I'm better than Gold. That's the only thing I know, but that's really a low bar. He's pretty much admitted he's terrible.
Well, we can. I'm down to go if you guys want. It's not gonna be great. It's not gonna be great.
Somebody says they'll bet $100 that Cody won't make one of any out of 5. That could go towards the show fund so we can interview the Wolf.
So I got to put in my own 100, or this guy will just give me $100 if I can make one.
I think he's just flat out saying, I don't think he's hoping to win the money.
He's just saying he will give me $100
We also
if
don't know if it's a he.
He or she will give me $100 if I hit one of 5. Okay. All
Browns.
right. At some point during training camp, when the least amount of security is there, I will attempt one 40-yard field goal.
Attempt or
no,
make?
I will. Well, I can't promise that I'll make them. I haven't kicked a field goal in.
Are you going to be in radio here?
He's going to practice. Here's the problem now. You know what the problem is? Now he's going to practice. He's going to go to a random
practicing is going to help me?
Though?
I don't think he's allowed to practice.
Allowed to practice.
I don't think he's allowed to practice.
I mean, how big of a difference do you think me just going to a football field trying to kick 40-yarders is going to make?
Because you'll know that if you make one, then you're good. Like if you know going in, if right now you're not
it's better
for sure
now
you can
because
make
but.
Whereas if you go practice and you drill one, you're like, oh, well, now I know I can do it. Then it's too easy at that point. You need to even have doubt that you can do it.
I have doubt. I wouldn't worry about that.
What's
I have
the
plenty
bet?
of doubt. I don't know. Gold and I've got to figure out our end.
Somebody says you can't even kick a soccer ball 40 yards with carry.
I don't know.
Were you in that celebrity soccer game?
We were playing at halftime. It was not a good showing. We're no longer undefeated. We got beat up pretty good. No longer undefeated for media games at halftime. But yeah, we did. It was a lot of fun. Sporting KC invited us out there, and yeah, we had a good time.
No, there was a little confusion. I almost took a corner, but then I thought a guy was calling me off, and he was just telling me to pass it to him. Like I ran the ball out for a corner.
You kind of botched it because
I thought he was calling me off like he's a better soccer player. I thought he was like, I'll take the corner. But instead he meant I'll just kick me the ball out.
Yeah, he was taking the corner and he was just going to pass it to you instead of actually trying to cross the ball, and then you were looking in the wrong direction. And
it was a lot of confusing. It got bungled. Let's just put it that way. It got bungled because I got confused from the beginning because I was just going to take the corner and then just try to kick it somewhere down near the goal, hoping we'd get lucky.
Yeah. Did you see real quick that because of the free agency signing of Hopkins, CBS Sports was going through like the all-time free agent signings for every team? What's the first name that comes to mind for you? I can tell you what CBS said in a second, but they said the best free agent signing ever. Because I think there's
all time.
I think there's 2 names for the Chiefs, 2 names that are very much in play for me.
Mitchell Schwartz is one,
absolutely, and the other one is Tyrann Mathieu. I think Tyrann Mathieu, consider where the defense was, changing the culture, help win a ring, where he was, what he was able to do playing wise at that time. I think Tyrann Mathieu and Mitchell Schwartz are the 2 that come to mind.
Because it ended weird, so you kind of want to ding it, but there's no reason to do so. Priest Holmes
is very good as well. I think Mitchell Schwartz and Mathieu are the first 2 names for me. It's
hard. They helped you win a Super Bowl,
exactly.
So like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of it. I mean, I think
wasn't one of those great offensive linemen like Will Shields? One of those
Willie
guys.
Roaf was a free agent.
Willie Roaf. I was like, one of the great grouping of that.
Shields was homegrown, drafted out of Nebraska, but Willie
Roaf's a Hall of Famer, dude. He's a free agent signing. Hall of Famer for you. Not anybody. Hall of Famer for you.
No doubt. The one they listed at CBS was Lynn Dawson. I'm like, well, that's going way back, and that's I
get a free agent in the non-traditional sense, isn't like he wasn't drafted.
Well, teams have given up on him basically at the time.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd make more field goals from 40 yards now than Lynn Elliott at his age?
I saw Lynn Elliott not that long ago. He looked like he's still pretty decent shape.
Fair enough.
That.
What about Morton Anderson? Is he 70?
Oh, he would still be crushing them.
Oh yeah, with
Morton
the
Anderson.
bar.
How old is he, dude?
72. I don't know.
Morton Anderson's making a 40-yarder still. Absolutely, he's 62. He'll make
it. I thought if you were going to say like 82.
Morton Anderson could go and make a 40-yarder today. I have no doubt. Lynn Elliott absolutely could. He's only 54.
Yeah, no. Lynn Elliott crushed me. How about Jan Stenerud? Can I get him? He's 80.
No. I mean, no, he's not making a 40-yarder now.
He's 80. Maybe I can get Jan.
I don't know, man. Jack's still hitting it 200
But I just
yards.
know. Someone said, by the way, Joe Montana or Marcus Allen would be their answer for best free agent signings in Chiefs history. I'm not saying best player, but like what all the way around is the best player combo with the success they had. Not what they're supposed to be and all that, but.
Chiefs have done pretty well in free agency, is what this sounds like.
Yeah.
Who's the best Royals free agent signing of all time? Most
Not
of the ones we mock.
Gonzalez.
Gilmesh, give that money back, you know? What a
Jose
dude.
Guillen.
Jose Guillen.
Jose Guillen. Man, oh, man.
Jeff King.
I was so excited when Juan Gonzalez came here.
Dean Palmer.
Yeah.
Those are my three.
We're back at it tomorrow from 10 to 2. The Drive.